Chapter 678. On the flying boat, Gu Hai could no longer see Mosquito Daoran and Luya. They had safely evacuated. However, for some reason, Gu Hai had a bad feeling. Leader, that Mosquito Daoran helped us to stop Luya. However, it will only be for a while. What if they come back later? Ao Shun asked worriedly. You can't run away. Luya will be here soon. Yihua glared at them. Gu Hai suddenly took out a blue pearl. This is... Ao Shun exclaimed. Concealment pearl? How is that possible? Didn't you return it to Mosquito Daoran? Why did you steal it back? Yihua exclaimed. Previously, Gu Hai had indeed crushed the concealment pearl when he hid it in his sleeve. However, he used the heaven-mending power to repair the broken pieces. One concealment pearl instantly turned into several. Gu Hai gave Ao Shun one, and asked him to guard Yihua, Yanhua, and the chameleon monster. He asked them to stay within 10 feet of the concealment pearl. Leader, why do you have? Ao Shun exclaimed. I have many treasures. I just didn't know how to use them before. Gu Hai said calmly. Ao Shun paused. Could it be that the leader had a concealment pearl before, but didn't know how to use it? But that shouldn't be the case. Ao Shun couldn't figure it out. However, Gu Hai had already walked to the other side of the deck. Ao Shun knew that Gu Hai wouldn't tell him. The flying boat quickly flew towards the direction the chameleon monster pointed at. On the other side, Mosquito Daoran versus Luya. Although Luya could not kill Mosquito Daoran, Luya's methods were not limited to the immortal slaying flying saber. The two of them were in a stalemate for a day and a night. Alright, it's about time. Ha, Crown Prince Luya, I really have to thank you. Once you came, you made Gu Hai capricious for once. Ha. Mosquito Daoran laughed loudly. Laughing loudly, he enveloped himself in millions of mosquitoes and flew into the distance. At this moment, Luya did not give chase. Mosquito Daoran? Luya watched coldly as Mosquito Daoran left. The two of them parted ways. However, Luya's face darkened. Gu Hai's aura is gone? The Mosquito Daoran flew quickly and left Luya's line of sight, escaping into the forest. In the forest, Mosquito Daoran sniffed. Gu Hai doesn't know how to hide. Where's the smell of his blood? It's gone? Mosquito Daoran exclaimed in surprise. Mosquito Daoran picked up his concealment bead and checked it. That's not right. The concealment bead was not swapped by Gu Hai. Why is Gu Hai's aura gone? Even the smell of Ao Shun and the rest's blood is gone? Strange. Mosquito Daoran's expression changed. After thinking for a long time, Mosquito Daoran came to a conclusion. Perhaps Gu Hai is powerful and has the ability to conceal himself? Damn, if you have the ability to conceal yourself, why are you pretending to be a delicate girl and tricking Luya again? Is this trick always effective? Mosquito Daoran looked depressed. Indeed, with strength, one can be capricious. I'd better think of a way to get the Chaos Essence bead first. After the first thing is done, I still have to promise Gu Hai 2 things. I hope it's the same as this time. It's a trivial matter. Mosquito Daoran was in a good mood. Gu Hai's matter was indeed simple. After 3 times, Gu Hai would help him obtain the 15th Dharma treasure and exchange it for the 16th Chaos Essence bead. Even if he could not find the 15th Dharma treasure, brother-in-law still give him the Chaos Essence bead. Is it as pretty as sister? 56 years. One by one. That's great. Long Wanyu's voice rang in Gu Hai's head and flew towards the north. Gu Hai immediately clenched his fist. Gu Hai said to meet at the place where they first met. You're courting death. He just had to wait for his voice at the limitless celestial capital. However, Mosquito Daoran flew away excitedly. Luya searched for a long time, and the unborn man brought Long Wanyu to the Lady of Earth. His expression was gloomy. Gu Hai calmed down a little. On a mountain peak. After all, Long Zhangguo was so sure that the Lady of Earth could save Long Wanyu. The mountain peak was cut off, revealing a huge balcony. He was still a little anxious. His hand after the took out a bunch of flags that were narrating everything. They filled the balcony down and seemed to form a camp. In the middle of the camp, there was an altar. I'll return immediately. Gu Hai said in a deep voice. The Guqin figurine he erected the straw figurine in the middle of the altar. There was a piece of yellow paper pasted on the straw figurine's voice was exactly the same as Gu Hai's voice. Luya used cinnabar to write the transmitted back. Instead, the straw figurine represented Gu Hai and put away the Guqin figurine. There was a green lamp above the straw figurine's head, Gu Hai and another at Zhang Yulian. The burning of the green lamp was rather strange. I heard Ho mention that you came to Shinong City to look for me on it. How did you know I was here? Smile. Gu Hai said in a deep voice. I'll see how you run. Zhang Yulian looked at Gu Hai with a complicated expression. Do you think I can't deal with you just because you hid your aura, and I can't find you? Go. I've said it before. Said in a deep voice. If you don't come looking for me, nodded you will definitely die. Gu Hai's flying boat as he with spoke, a trace of coldness. Luya took out a talisman book and burned it. Gu Hai ordered solemnly. Yes. Luya suddenly steered the flying straw figurine and quickly flew into the distance. 1 kowtows, 2 kowtows, 3 kowtows on the flying boat. After kowtowing to the straw figurine 3 times. Then she walked at the side and revealed a cold smile. Gu Hai looked to the north with his hands behind his back. 3 times a day. He seemed to be a little anxious. After 21 days, when Zhang Yulian walked over, your soul will be scattered by my kowtows, and turned his head. Let's see how long your was wearing an azure gauze dress can last. Coupled with her slender figure, light flashed in Luya's eyes. Her neck was white and flawless at the side. 2 strands of hair trailed to her neck. Using the demonic art, unconsciously he wanted to scatter her for a moment. 3 souls her delicate face had a trace of fatigue. A few days later, but it revealed a mature charm. Outside Shinong City, in a small town nearby, too many storms. At this moment, in the small town, captivated by Zhang Yulian's beauty, isolating the inside from the outside. Or is it because I broke your down the main street of the small town? Although it was an accident in the past, a woman covered in blood was playing something nonstop. If you still want to pursue the matter, countless civilians had already fainted to make up for it. At the other end of the main street, including the top of the Gu Hai coldly. There were close to 100 white really wanted to kill Gu Hai. Among them, however, after there were quite a few. For some reason, had a Tai Chi symbol embroidered on their chest seemed to have lessened a lot. At this moment, in fact, they were looking coldly at the white-robed woman. Zhang Yulian seemed to have seen a white light on the surface of Gu Hai's of the Taishang sect. That white light was like a warm flood. He was looking coldly at the woman whose legs had been pierced. Looking at Gu Hai, you are really naive. Zhang Yulian bit her lip. I didn't expect you to walk right into the trap. I'm not looking for you for revenge. Xuanan looked coldly at the woman who was covered in blood. Gu Hai was not an outsider. I want to know what's going on with Taishang Sound of Longevity. Taishang. Zhang Yulian stared at Gu Hai and asked solemnly. She was forced into such a Sound of Longevity by a group of Taishang Gu Hai narrowed his eyes. Taishang's Sound of Longevity was the song that Zhang Yulian played at the Thousand Sage Conference of the Taishang sect. Originally, this song was just to make Gu Hai sleep for 10 days. Chapter 678. In those 10 days, on the flying boat, Gu Hai returned to Earth in his dream. Gu Hai could no longer see Mosquito Darren, he was just a child in the dream. They had safely evacuated. He even met Laozi on Earth for some reason and learned Gu Hai had a bad from him. Later, in the past, the first Taishang was in charge of the Wanshou Taoism. However, it will only be for a while. Taishang was the real Taishang. Later? His strength suppressed everything about the Wanshou Taoism. He can't run away. In order to create this Taishang's Sound of Longevity, Yi glared at them. He finally died of exhaustion took out a blue pearl and has not been reincarnated until now. There must be a big secret hidden concealment pearl? How is that possible? Didn't you return it to Mosquito Darren? Chapter 681. Why did you steal it back? The first Taishang created the Taishang Sound of Longevity and died of exhaustion. Crushed the concealment pearl when he hid it in his sleeve and looked at Zhang Yulian. However, he used the heaven-mending power to repair the broken pieces. One concealment pearl instantly turned into the battle of the Immortal of 6 paths. Gu Hai's expression changed. Zhang Yulian nodded, and the Gu Hai's eyes flashed with surprise. He asked them to stay within 10 feet of the concealment pearl. Why did he create the Taishang Sound of Longevity? In order to connect to the other immortal dome. I have many treasures. He did not hesitate. I just didn't know how to use them before. Did he want to challenge the Immortal of 6 paths? But didn't the 3 holy lands support the leader had a concealment pearl before? Why would he want to go against the Immortal of 6 paths? But that shouldn't be the case. You know what the Taishang Sound of Longevity means, right? However, that day I felt Gu Hai had already walked to the other side of the deck. You heard it. Aoshan knew that Gu Hai wouldn't tell him. Sound of Longevity. The flying boat quickly flew towards the direction the chameleon monster pointed at, looking at Zhang Yulian's anxious eyes. Mosquito Darren versus Luya breath and shook his head. Although Luya could not kill Mosquito Darren. Luya's methods were not limited to the immortal slaying flying saber. Gu Hai shook his head. The 2 of them were in a stalemate for a day and a night. Gu Hai did not want to say, all right, it's about time. But that he could not. Crown Prince his biggest secret. I really have to thank you. And perhaps his biggest asset in the future. You made Gu Hai capricious. He could not tell anyone about Earth. You must know, Mosquito right? Darren laughed Zhang loudly. Yulian said impatiently, laughing loudly. I really don't know. He enveloped himself in millions of mosquitoes. How about you give me the Taishang Sound of Longevity? At this moment, Luya did not give chase and tell you what's inside. Mosquito Darren? Gu Hai said Luya solemnly. Watched coldly as Zhang Yulian wanted to know the secret of the Taishang Longevity sound. However, Gu Hai also wanted to know the Taishang Longevity sound. Gu Hai's aura is gone because Gu Hai wanted to go back to Earth quickly and ask Laozi about it. Luya's line of sight. In fact, escaping into the forest. Taishang's sound of longevity mosquito more than once over the years. Guhai doesn't know how to hide. It was a song that reminded Gaochen of Zhang Yulian's playing in the past. Mosquito Darren exclaimed in surprise many times. Mosquito Darren picked up his concealment bead and secret hidden in it. That's not right. Zhang Yulian was initially furious, was not swapped but in the next moment. Why is Guhai's expression changed? Even the smell of She looked at Guhai and the rest's blood is gone. No. If you were just sleeping, you wouldn't ask me for the expression longevity sound. After thinking for a long time, I told you that I guessed Darren came to a conclusion. Are you trying to trick me? Perhaps. Guhai is powerful and has the ability to conceal himself. Ao Shan and the other two also turned their heads curiously. Just as Ao pretending to be a delicate girl and Yanhua looked tricking Luya again. Guhai's expression suddenly changed. Mosquito Darren looked depressed. A mouthful of blood was spat out from Guhai's mouth. One can be capricious. Leader, I'd better think of a way to get the chaos essence. He immediately rushed forward. After the first thing is done, I still have to promise Guhai two things. This has nothing to do with her. This time. Guhai shouted. It's a trivial matter. Ao Shan's Darren was in a good front of Zhang Yulian. Guhai's matter was indeed simple. Blood? After Zhang Yulian looked at Guhai in surprise. Guhai would help him obtain the 15th Dharma treasure. Why did he vomit blood all of a sudden? For the 16th chaos Guhai's expression also changed. Even if he could not find trace of surprise Dharma flashed treasure across his eyes, he would still give him the chaos essence bead. He didn't have any internal injuries. That's great. Shan, protect me. Mosquito Darren Guhai shouted anxiously and flew towards the north. Guhai sat down with his legs crossed. At the place where they first met. He sank his consciousness into his body and started to check. At the limitless celestial capital. Looked anxious. Mosquito Darren flew away excitedly. Guhai behind him. Luya searched for a long time, but could not find Guhai's aura. Looked at each other in surprise. His expression was gloomy. Why did Guhai landed on a mountain peak? After checking for a while, he raised his hand slowly opened and a saber light appeared. He was shocked. The mountain peak was cut off. I didn't have any internal revealing injuries. A huge balcony. Why did I vomit blood just extended now? His hand. If you didn't have any injuries, then why did Hall were drawn with runes? Ao Shun was also confused and seemed to form a camp. Zhang Yulian, in the middle of the camp, beside him, there was an altar. Touched Guhai's on the blood altar with her finger. Luya used her finger trembled to form a straw figurine. Buzz. He erected the straw figurine light in the middle of the altar. Did you hurt your soul? There was a piece of yellow paper pasted on the straw figurine. No, on the yellow paper. I haven't been hurt in a long time. Used cinnabar to write the words Guhai. But your blood contains the power of the straw figurine represented the power of all souls. There was a green lamp above the straw figurine's what happened to you recently? And another at its feet. Zhang Yulian asked burning of the green lamp was Guhai immediately thought of two people. Luya looked at the straw figurine with Guhai's name on it and revealed a cold smile. Although this person was also very demonic, let's see how you eliminated the conflict between him and him. Do you think I can't deal with you just because you hid your aura? It could only be, and I can't find you? I've said it before. Expression changed. If you don't come looking for me, you will definitely die. Darkened. As he spoke, Ao Shun took out a talisman book and burned it. Before Luya left, solemnly, he said that I would definitely return to Guhai's straw figurine. I didn't understand then. One kowtow, two kowtows, three kowtows. Guhai's face darkened. After kowtowing to the battle between Hall Leader and Luya stood at the side and revealed a cold smile. How could he hurt Hall Leader? With this demonic art of mine, it's not the immortal flying dagger. 3 times a day. Ao Shun was confused. After 21 days. No, if you don't return, Guhai's hair. Your soul will be scattered by my kowtows. Zhang Yulian said with a frown. Let's see how long your 3 souls and 7 spirits can last. If I'm not wrong, light flashed it should be the demonic art, but he sat cross-legged at the side. Zhang Yulian for the next flash with shock. Using the demonic arrow book, he wanted to scatter Guhai's 3 souls and 7 spirits. The nail had 7 arrow book. A few days later, he tied your hair to a scarecrow and wrote your name. And the scarecrow had a lamp on its head and feet. At this moment, in the small town, he followed the demonic art. Thick fog was rolling 3 times a day, isolating the inside from the outside. After 21 days, your soul would scatter. At the end of the main street of the small town, he would shoot the scarecrow with arrows. A woman covered in blood was playing something nonstop. He would spurt out blood and die. In the small town, explained, countless civilians had already fainted. Ao Shun's expression at the other end of the main street, demonic including the top Nail of the shops, had 7 arrow book. There were close to 100 white-robed men standing. Guhai had read about this demonic art in a novel on Tai Chi symbol. It was also the same demonic art as Luya. At this moment, what should we do? They were looking coldly at the white-robed woman sitting at the end of the street. Destroy the altar in the camp. The leader was Schwanen who performed the demonic art. At this moment, Zhang Yulian explained, he was looking coldly at the woman whose legs had been pierced. Ao Shun's expression changed. You are really naive. Guhai's expression also darkened. To walk right into Luya the trap. Was definitely waiting for him there. Schwanen smiled bitterly at the woman who was covered in blood. Did that mean the woman was not an outsider? Hall Leader. She was the former leader of the Taishang sect. Ao Shun asked anxiously. However, Guhai fell into deep thought. She was forced into such a sorry state by a group of Taishang sect disciples. From now on, Zhang Yulian looked coldly at Schwanen. He would be courting death. Schwanen, Guhai dared to violate the rules of the Taishang sect. Ha 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 ha. Violate what? Let's see how you're going to escape this time. The Taishang sect's distress signal is not allowed to be released unless it is a major disaster. Who was pacing back and forth, released the distress signal to look at and lured me here. His eyes were filled with murderous intent. At him. Ha 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 ha. That's why I said you were stupid. Gu Hai wouldn't already kill him to silence him, right? Why are you still thinking about saving the Taishang sect disciples? If you piss me off, I'll kill one of you. I thought I would find you when Gu Hai left. I only need one of you alive to restrain deliver yourself to me. The rarer you are, don't blame me. The more precious you are. Come back with me immediately. Gu Hai said coldly. Xuanan said coldly. Expression froze. Xuandu can't wait. He did not dare to offend Gu Hai on my position again. Gu Hai was silent for a while. He took a deep breath. Returns. Then he looked at Zhang Yulian. It will be time for him to admit his guilt. I'm not Taishang anymore. Said coldly. Zhang Yulian corrected Soul Realm? Not bad. Your cultivation is increasing. Unfortunately, it is too late. You are still far from it. Xuandu eldest senior brother deserves to be the Taishang sect. You are not qualified. Xuanan said coldly. Ding 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 ding. Zhang Yulian sat on the ground and played following the birth of the Qin Taishang sect's sound of longevity began to look for the most reliable people, just like the people in this small town. He spread the Qin figurines all over the world. We are all disciples so that they could transmit information quickly. How can we not know about the Taishang sect's sound of longevity? There were Qin figurines stationed at the end of the road that Gu Hai could use. Don't bother. Did Qian if you want to blame someone, blame Gu Hai. Heavenly Court City. He broke your Taoist heart. As Gu Hai achieved great results again and again. No, I understand. Gu Hai didn't break my Taoist heart. Even specially arranged a residence for Taishang sect in the past at the entrance of the palace. I am the most correct one. Residence as long as I have time. As long as I have stood in front of Mo, I will let the Taishang sect figurine transmitted Gu Hai's voice from afar and reclaim the Wuxia Taoism. You bastards! I am about to face a great crisis long ago and need to take risks. Zhang Yulian said with grief. Stay in Heavenly Court City and wait for my orders. Do you think I will believe you? If I am in mortal danger, coldly, I will surrounding disciples of the Taishang sect all along Zhanghua for help immediately. But Zhang Yulian, you have a good tripod body. The Earth's tripod body transmitted its voice. You are a good tripod body. Expression when changed. I take you back, the Emperor was about to face a great crisis. The Taishang sect. Your Majesty, I will ask you are about to face a great crisis to let you be my tripod body. You better go find Daiqianqing immediately. It is because Daiqianqing will not be able to leave in the past was pleasuring me under my crotch. What a wonderful thing! Quickly transmitted its voice with a lecherous expression. Oh, presumptuous. Gu Hai was slightly glared at Xuanan. Yes, presumptuous. Set the time 5 days later. I am presumptuous. We will send troops to Solar Divine Palace. No one can save you today. If you don't want to suffer physical pain, send troops to Solar Divine Palace. Xuanan sneered. Gu Hai was slightly taken aback. Even if I die, yes, I will not let you succeed. I've been collecting news in the Heavenly Court. I was wrong about years. I should not have saved you back then. That the experts of Yulian said with have all gathered in the 33 cities of the Heavenly Court. Do I need you to save me? And the main forces have all arrived as well. Shouted. Something big seems to have happened. The disciples of the Taishang sect immediately rushed towards Zhang Yulian that he is going to attack Solar God's with her fingers. In an instant, solemnly, a large amount has been planned for a long time. From the strings. I have studied the history of the surrounding all these years. Taishang the relationship between the Deqian is useless, and the Solar Divine Hall has been too peaceful. And you are only in the 5 days when they would explode. How long can Solar Divine Palace had a transcendent status among the 3 great holy lands. The disciples of the Taishang sect immediately pondered through the sword chi with their swords that the Eastern Emperor Tai is in charge of guarding the heaven realm. Xuanan took the lead and reached the front. Therefore, looking at Zhang Yulian's all the forces in the world stay at a respectful distance. A lecherous smile. Heavenly realm. Zhang Yulian, Gu Hai was puzzled. I will make you wish you were dead. The so-called heaven realm is actually a small rushing towards her. It is the world where the heavens stored the body. For a moment, she was disheartened. Every part of the Immortal of 6 nascent body is sleeping in it. I will not let you succeed. The Immortal of 6 Zhang Yulian said with a glare. His right arm has awakened. Xuanan's expression body is still sleeping in the heaven aura erupted as though she was about to self-destruct. Could this heaven realm be the world formed by the Immortal of 6 body? For some reason, Emoyek asked curiously, Zhang Yulian suddenly the Eastern Emperor Tai is actually protecting the Immortal of 6 Tao mystic realm. After Long Zhanghua destroyed the Eastern Emperor Tai, Zhang Yulian revealed a sad and bitter smile. Without waiting for the Immortal of 6 to wake up, he can completely destroy him. A flying boat suddenly rushed into the street. I think so too. And sank countless disciples of the Taishang sect flying. 5 days later, who is it? The Deqian Celestial Empire's army as he turned his head. To attack Solar God Palace. What greeted him was a huge palm. Gu Hai confirmed again. When the 2 palms collided, not only the Deqian Celestial Empire's army, Poof.
But the 33
Chuan
cities
spat
of
out
the
a
heavenly
mouthful
court
of
will
blood
all
as he
fly
crashed
to
into
the
the
God
ground,
Palace,
creating a
Emoyek
huge crater.
said solemnly.
The disciples of the Taishang
33
sect
cities
were
will go
also
south.
sent flying
The
towards
place
the
with the
surrounding
heavenly
buildings
court
is the
by the
Dacian
sudden large
celestial
number of
empire.
fists.
Long
Rumble
Zhangguo is really
countless
well prepared.
restaurants on the street
Gu Hai
collapsed
said solemnly.
instantly.
Yes,
The flying
Your
boat
Majesty.
slowly stopped
What should
not
we do
far
now?
from Zhang Yulian.
Emoyek said
Zhang
worriedly.
Yulian's crisis
Don't
was
worry.
resolved.
I shouldn't
the
be in any
self-destruction of her
danger.
nascent soul
Long
also
Zhangguo
stopped.
is going to
She
attack
opened
Solar
her
God
mouth
Palace.
and stared at the deck
That's
of the
good.
flying boat in
I'm
shock.
also going to Solar
The only
God
man
Palace
who had
this
jumped
time.
out of her mind before
Yes,
she
Solar
died
God
was
Palace.
standing there.
Looks like
Gu
it's
Hai.
going to be interesting
Chuan
this time.
suddenly exclaimed
Gu
as he
Hai's
crawled
eyes
out of
flashed
the
with a
crater
solemn look,
while spitting out
Right,
blood.
Your Majesty.
Daiqianxing has
Chapter
issued an imperial
679.
edict
In the nick
granting
of time,
the former
Gu
Daewon
Hai's flying
imperial
boat
empire's
arrived.
territory
Gu
to the
Hai,
Han dynasty to show
Chuanan,
Your
who
Majesty's
was vomiting
merit.
blood,
Emoyek
crawled
said
out of the hole
solemnly
and suddenly
Daiqianxing
exclaimed,
is indeed a
"On
man
the
of his
deck."
word.
Gu Hai stared
Gu Hai
at Chuanan.
said,
Since
the
the
imperial
why are
edict
you
has
here?
been issued,
Why are you
the
here?
Dacian army
Chuanan
should be
exclaimed.
withdrawing from the
The
former
last time
Daewon
he was
imperial
almost killed by
empire's
Gu Hai
territory
was
still
soon.
vivid in his
Emoyek
mind.
said.
Chuanan
Emoyek
feared and hated Gu
Gu
Hai.
Hai said.
Every time
This
he met
subject
Gu
is
Hai,
here.
nothing
I
good
bestow
would
upon
come
you
out
the
of it.
title of Daewon
Why was
Marshal.
he here?
You will
Suddenly,
be in charge of
Chuanan
taking
saw
back
the chameleon
all the
monster
cities in the
beside Gu
Daewon
Hai.
Imperial Empire's
Evil creature,
territory.
it's you.
Get
Chuanan
ready to move
exclaimed.
immediately.
Elder,
Gu
I'm
Hai
innocent.
ordered.
The chameleon
Your
monster
Majesty,
said in horror.
you are in danger.
Gu Hai, however,
Emoyek said
lowered
worriedly.
his head and looked
Don't
at
worry
Zhang
about
Yulian.
me.
I will turn the danger
cross-legged.
into safety.
Taishang,
Although
Long
Long Zhangguo
Zhangguo
has given the Daewon
seems that
Imperial
you didn't
Empire
make them
to me.
feel grateful
It is
when you
not that
kindly
easy to
saved
take
them.
back.
Gu Hai
The
looked
three
at
princes,
Zhang Yulian
the
and
Dacian
said,
officials,
Zhang Yulian's
and all the
eyes
other
were cold
major
again.
powers are jealous.
Humph, Gu Hai.
Right now,
You still
the
dare to
Dacian
appear in
Celestial
front of me.
Empire is
You
attacking
have a
Apollo
grudge.
Palace.
But let's talk
You were
about it
once
later.
in charge of the
Let me
Daewon
deal with
Imperial
this group of
Empire's
ungrateful
territory.
people first.
How can you let go
Gu
of
Hai
such a
said
good
indifferently.
opportunity?
While
I will
speaking,
return to
Gu
the
Hai
infinite
waved his hand
celestial
lightly.
capital.
Yes.
You will be the Marshal
Ao
Daewon
Shun
Marshal.
answered.
And
Boom.
Gao Xianji will
Ao
be the
Shun
Deputy
rushed out
Marshal
and rushed
You
toward
will
the
lead
group
my
of Taishang
celestial demon
disciples.
army and
Not
take
good
back
run.
all the cities as
Help.
quickly as
No.
possible. The expressions
said
of the
solemnly.
Taishang disciples
Yes.
changed.
Emoyek
They hurriedly
replied,
fled in all
Send a
directions.
reliable person
the
to
moment
Long
they saw
Zhangguo,
Gu Hai,
so that I
they
can
knew
contact
that they were in
Long
trouble.
Zhangguo. Last
Prepared
time,
to return
Gu Hai
immediately.
almost killed them.
Gu Hai said.
Now he was here
Yes.
again.
Everyone
Emoyek
knew
was
that there was no
invisible.
turning back.
5 days later,
They immediately
Sky
fled.
Palace's
However,
Lingsha Palace
Ao Shun
entrance
ultimately
all
went
the
to the
officials
heavenly
stood
palace.
respectfully in the
Even
square.
if he was not as good
Above
as
the
Luya
33
and
cities,
Mosquito Daoran,
there were
he
countless
was still
soldiers
in the
standing
heavenly
there.
palace.
Long
Under
Zhangguo
Gu
wore a
Hai's
flat
order,
imperial crown
he immediately
and a
turned
white
into a
dragon
stream
robe
of
with light
golden threads
and appeared in
he
front
stood
of
at
a
the entrance of the
Taishang
Lingsha
disciple
Palace and
Ching.
looked up at the sky. The sword
Greetings
slashed
to His
down,
Holiness.
and the
Long
disciple
live
of the
His
Taishang
Holiness.
sect was
Countless
immediately cut in
officials
half.
bowed respectfully.
His limbs were
Long
shattered,
Zhangguo
and
took
he
a
fell
deep
from the
breath.
sky.
No,
The
it
Long
wasn't just
Zhangguo
one
have
Taishang
the
Dao
heart to tell the
disciple,
world,
but 8
Rumble,
Taishang Dao
in the
disciples
sky
in the
above the
blink of
sky
an eye.
palaces.
Immediately,
The sea of destiny
the sky was
clouds churned.
filled with limbs and
As
blood.
it churned, the
Long
expressions of
Zhangguo's
those
God
who were
form
fleeing
suddenly
immediately
transformed
changed.
into a huge dragon
Heavenly
head.
Palace.
The dragon
It
head
really
was
is the heavenly
ferocious.
palace.
Tens of thousands
Run.
of zhang
The
long.
surrounding
The
disciples
dragon
of the
body was
Taishang
hidden in the
sect
sea
cried
of
out in
destiny
alarm.
clouds,
Chuanan
churning
couldn't
violently.
care less about the
Long
injuries he
Zhangguo
had
opened
suffered
his mouth.
from Ao Shun's
The golden
palm
dragon
strike.
of destiny
He quickly
roared.
got up
Instantly,
and fled into the distance.
Long Zhangguo's voice was transmitted to all parts of the
Dacian Empire.
Without the rumbling
Not only
sky
that,
camp,
but his
Ao
voice
Shun
was also
still had
transmitted to
destructive
all
combat
parts
power.
of the divine continent.
Kill.
I, the Long
In the
Zhangguo,
blink of an
have
eye,
the heart to tell
nearly
the world.
100 disciples
His voice
of the Taishang
reverberated,
sect were
shaking
all
the world.
killed.
Only
Shenong
8
City,
elders of the
Jiang
Taishang sect
Lianshan
were fleeing
out
in
of the
8
infernal
directions.
divine hall.
When they were
He
far
led
away,
all the officials
they
and looked
instantly
to the
rushed
north.
into the forest.
Wanshou Taoism.
Escape? Do you think you can escape? Gu Hai snorted coldly. Whoosh. In an instant, vines that blotted out the sky and covered the earth rushed straight into the forest, entangling the Grand Supreme Path elders one by one. Oh no! No! Amid the screams, the 8 elders of the Taishang sect were immediately pulled out. SSSS. Ao Shun flew past and instantly killed another one. There were 7 more to go. Wait. Zhang Yulian frowned as if she couldn't bear to see this happen. Help Jizzy. We were wrong. We were wrong. Jizzy, I was forced to do this. Don't kill me. Please Jizzy, spare my life. Jizzy. The 7 elders of the Middle Celestial Palace were begging for mercy and fear. Zhang Yulian wanted to speak, but Gu Hai sneered. Taishang, don't tell me you still want to save them? Saving them is harming others. Today's humiliation will only bring more humiliation to others in the future. Zhang Yulian's face stiffened, but she sighed slightly. Kill. Ao Shun's body swayed.
In the south,
in an instant,
a man in
another
a black brocade robe
stepped out of a
Gu
grand
Hai,
hall in a
Xuandu's
purple black
eldest
aura.
senior brother will not let you go.
Is that Long Zhongguo's
Xuanan
voice?
screamed in fear as
His
he stood around the
subordinates looked
countless
at the black-robed man in surprise.
You're saying that as long
in
as
the
I don't kill you,
southwest, there
you
was
will
a
let
place
bygones
filled with
be
destiny.
bygones. It was
Gu Hai
the great
sneered.
yellow dynasty.
Xuanan's face changed
At the entrance of the
but he
court,
didn't know what to say.
A burly man
On
stepped
the other
out of the
side,
hall and
Ao
looked to the
Shun
north.
killed another 2
Emperor
disciples
Kong
of
was
the
standing
Taishang
beside
sect.
him. In the
He
blink
said
of
in
an eye,
shock, there were
His
only
Holiness,
4 left.
Is Long
Ao
Zhongguo
Shun's
really
eyes
going to
turned
start as
cold.
you predicted?
He twisted his body and
spiritual
slashed at
mountain
Xuanan.
sacred ground.
I
will
countless
not let
monks
you go
walked
even
out of
if
a
I
hall
become a ghost.
and looked to the north.
Xuanan roared in
Buddha,
fear.
it's Long Zhongguo's
Become a
voice.
ghost.
All
we
over
are
the
not
world,
afraid of you as
Long
a human.
Zhongguo's voice was
So
heard.
why should we be
All
afraid
the
of you as a
experts
ghost?
looked in the direction of the
Ao Shun
heavenly
said
courts
coldly.
in shock.
He slashed
Long
at
Zhongguo's
Xuanan,
voice
as if
reverberated
he wanted to
throughout
kill
the
him
world.
instantly.
He continued.
Buzz.
The heavens
Suddenly
are
a breeze
destroyed,
blew,
and the 6
the
paths
breeze,
are in chaos.
there seemed to be a long
All
sword.
living things are
It
slaves,
instantly
unable
arrived
to
in
leave
front
their
of Ao
cages.
Shun.
They live as slaves of the
Shun's
immortal
face
dome,
darkened,
and die
Clang.
as food for
Ao
the 6
Shun's
paths.
long sword collided
the
with
long
the long
Zhongguo.
sword.
Ao
Unwilling
Shun
to
took a
accept
step
this,
back
Sun
and
God
looked at the
Palace,
long sword
Eastern
in
Emperor
surprise.
Tai.
Did someone
the
save
6
Xuanan?
paths in their
A
evil
man in a
deeds.
green robe
He
suddenly
subjugates
appeared
all
in front
demons
of
and
Xuanan.
spirits.
You have
Protects
killed so
the
many
6 paths
disciples
body
of the Taishang
and
sect.
eats the hearts of
It
all
should be
living
enough.
things. The man in the green robe said calmly,
wished to open the cage
Heavenly
and see the
Palace?
heavens.
Who are you?
I will first destroy
Ao Shun's face darkened.
then kill the 6
Gu Hai
paths.
narrowed his eyes.
All living things
This man
will
in the
regain
green
their
robe
freedom.
seemed familiar.
Today, the
I
man in the
declare
green
that I will
robe
fight to
saved
the death
Xuanan.
tomorrow.
Xuanan's
I will
eyes lit
attack
up.
Sun God Palace.
He was overjoyed.
Yes,
Sword Envoy
in the
Qingfeng,
33 levels
Sword
of
Envoy
heaven,
Qingfeng,
everyone
help.
shouted
Help
in
me.
unison.
Help me.
Rumble.
Sword
The
Envoy
33
Qingfeng
cities,
is here,
with
Sword
heavenly
Envoy
courts at the
Qingfeng
center,
is here.
suddenly trembled.
Help.
As they trembled,
The other 3
they
elders of
slowly
the
moved to
Taishang
the
sect
south,
who were still
toward Sun
alive
God
shouted
Palace.
in joy.
Sword
Rumble.
Envoy
The
Qingfeng
33
looked
levels
coldly
of
at
heaven
Xuanan,
moved faster
but he
and
didn't
faster.
care.
The
Instead,
protective
he
arrays
looked at a
above the
mountain
city
peak not
had
far
been
away.
activated
A
to
young
prevent
man
the
in
wind
white
from
stood at the
attacking.
peak of the mountain.
All the soldiers
He
were
carried a bronze
inexplicably
long
excited.
sword on his back.
All the officials
was
clenched
young,
their fists,
but his eyes were
Destroy
cold and
Sun
sharp.
God Palace.
There was an
The heavenly
azure-colored
lotus
lotus
flower
flower
on
on
this young
and the
man's
world
forehead.
fought.
It
The
looked very
golden dragon
strange.
of destiny
Young
announced
master,
Long Zhongguo's
Sword Envoy
declaration to the
Qingfeng
world.
looked
In an
respectfully at
instant,
the young man in
the
white.
world was in an
The
uproar.
young man in white
A
coldly
battle
looked
between
down.
the heavenly courts
Young
and the
master
sacred
Azure
grounds?
Lotus? This was
Zhang
a
Yulian's
world-class
expression
battle.
changed.
The great yellow
Taishang,
dynasty.
how have you been?
Emperor Kong
The
looked
young
at
man
His
in white
Holiness
replied,
and said anxiously,
after replying,
His Holiness,
the young man
Long
in white
Zhongguo has
suddenly
really
looked at
made a
Gu Hai.
move. What
Gu
should
Hai,
we do?
long time no see.
The sacred
In
ground
just
of
10 short
spiritual
years,
mountain.
You have already
Buddha,
reached the heavenly
Long
palace.
Zhongguo is arrogant
Congratulations.
and wants to bring chaos
The
to
young
the world.
man in white said
He
with
wants
a
to
faint
start
smile.
a world war.
Ho, please help
Gu Hai
us.
narrowed his eyes.
The future Buddha
Ho was a
solemnly
young
said,
expert who
"One
wandered
should
the world.
Taoism.
In order
Sect
to seek
master,
the strongest
Long
sword
Zhongguo
Dao,
is attacking
he challenged
Tai.
everywhere.
What should we do?"
Back then, the
Gu Hai
black-robed
had
Tongqian
exchanged
sect
pointers
master
with him
said,
in Dragon Vein
"Wait for
City."
Tai's response.
He was an expert
Yes.
of the 10,000
Dayan
longevity
Dynasty.
sect
Jiang
master
Lianshan looked to
Tongqian's
the
lineage
north
and narrowed his
It looks
eyes.
like you have not
Long
forgotten me.
Zhongguo.
Ho
So
said
you've already
indifferently,
prepared?
Why are
Just
you
waiting
here?
for me to
Gu
agree.
Hai asked with a frown.
Forget it. Me.
Morong Yin
I have
didn't
been
choose
standing
me in
here
the
for
past.
quite some time.
It seems that I'm
It's
not
just that
qualified.
their eyes were filled
Go.
with desire.
I hope you succeed.
So they did not see
Where
me.
Gu Hai was.
Ho said
At
indifferently.
this moment, you have
Gu
been
Hai's
here for a long
cultivation
time.
was sealed by Luya.
Chapter
And he landed on the
679.
flying boat.
In the nick of time,
The two of them
Gu
flew
Hai's
towards
flying
Sun
boat
God
arrived.
Palace.
Gu
During
Hai,
the flight,
Xuanan,
Long
who
Zhongguo's
was vomiting
voice
blood,
sounded,
crawled out of
Gu
the
Hai
hole
narrowed
and
his
suddenly
eyes.
exclaimed,
5 days
on
ago,
the deck,
Gu Hai
already
already
knew what Long
Zhongguo
You
was
know
going
me.
to do.
Why are you
But
here?
Luya didn't know.
Why are you here?
Gu Hai turned to
Xuanan
look at Luya's
exclaimed,
expression.
The last time
When
he was
Luya
almost
heard Long
killed by
Zhongguo's
Gu Hai
words,
was still
he
vivid
also
in his
narrowed his
mind.
eyes and sneered.
Xuanan feared and hated
Long
Gu Hai.
Zhongguo?
Every
He
time
destroyed
he met
one of
Gu
the
Hai,
eyes of the deity
nothing
of
good
6
would come out
paths.
of it.
Does he
Why
really
was he
think he's
here?
invincible?
Suddenly,
Luya
Xuanan
sneered
saw
with
the
disdain.
chameleon monster
Oh,
beside Gu Hai.
Crown Prince Luya.
Evil creature,
Do you
it's
think
you.
that Long Zhongguo
Xuanan
is arrogant
exclaimed,
and ignorant?
Elder,
and
I'm
is not a
innocent.
match for Sun
The
God
chameleon
Palace?
monster said in
Gu Hai
horror.
looked at Luya
Gu
in
Hai,
however, lowered his head and looked at Zhang Yulian. What do you know? Who was sitting cross-legged.
Long Zhangguo was just lucky.
Taishang, long time no
God
see.
Palace has a
It
heritage
seems that
of
you didn't make them feel grateful
years.
when you kindly saved them.
Gu Hai
How
looked
can
at
Long
Zhang
Yulian
Yulian
and said,
who is only a
Zhang
few thousand
Yulian's
years
eyes were
old
cold
compared
again.
to us.
Humph,
Is that
Gu Hai.
so?
You still
Gu Hai
dare
was
to appear in
confused.
front of me.
Luya
You have
ignored
a
Gu Hai
grudge,
and steered
but
the
let's talk
flying
about
boat
it later.
slowly towards
Let
Sun
me
God
deal with
Palace.
this group of
The
ungrateful
flying boat
people
was not
first.
fast.
Gu Hai
Luya
said
didn't seem
indifferently.
to be in a hurry.
While speaking,
Every
Gu
noon,
Hai waved his
Luya
hand
would
lightly.
cultivate for 30
Yes.
minutes.
At
Aoshan
this
answered.
moment, Boom.
Luya's body
Ao
seemed to have
rushed
become
out
a black
and
hole.
rushed toward the
All
group
the
of
sunlight
Taishang
within
disciples.
1,000 miles was
Not good
strangely
run.
sucked into the
Help.
black hole
No.
on the surface of
The
Luya's
expressions
body.
of the Taishang
It was
disciples
dark within
changed.
1,000 miles.
They hurriedly fled in all
Guhai's eyes
directions.
flashed with surprise.
The moment they saw
After
Guhai,
3 months, they knew
the
that they
two's
were in
flying
trouble.
boat slowly
Last
flew
time,
to the boundary
Guhai
of Solar
almost
God
killed
Palace.
them.
Now he was
We're
here
back.
again.
Luya's
Everyone
eyes
knew that
flashed
there was
with
no turning
anticipation.
back.
They immediately fled. However,
Chapter
Shun ultimately
683.
went to the heavenly
At the
palace.
infinite celestial
Even
capital,
if he was not as
at the
good
crown
as
prince's
Luya and
residence,
Mosquito Daoran,
Guqin summoned
he was still in the
Emo
heavenly
Montez,
palace.
Chen
Under
Tianshan and
Guhai's
Gao
order,
Xianji.
he immediately
Emo
turned into a
Imperial
stream of
Father
light
is in danger.
and appeared in front
Is
of
he
a
involved in the
Taishang sect
dispute at
disciple.
Solar Divine Hall?
Qing, are you
Boom.
sure that Imperial
The sword
Father
slashed
said that
down,
he is in danger?
and the disciple of the
Guqin
Taishang
asked with
sect
a
was
sullen
immediately
expression.
cut in half.
Yes,
His
His
limbs
Majesty
were shattered,
did not want me
and
to
he
worry.
fell from the sky.
However,
No, it
I
wasn't
feel
just
that His
one
Majesty
Taishang
is
Dao
comforting
disciple,
me,
but
he
she'd
should
be
be
in
in
great
great
danger.
disciples in the blink of an
Emo
eye.
nodded.
Immediately,
Then why are we
the
still
sky was
taking
filled
in day
with
one?
limbs and blood.
We should go to
The
Solar Divine
expressions of
Hall
those who were
immediately.
fleeing immediately
Saving His
changed.
Majesty is our top
Heavenly
priority.
Palace.
Gao
It really
Xianji
is the
said
heavenly
anxiously.
palace. But His
Run.
Majesty already
The
gave us
surrounding
an order.
disciples of the
Emo
Taishang
Yike
sect
said with a
cried
bitter
out in
smile.
alarm.
When a
Chuanan
general
couldn't
is
care less
outside,
about the
he
injuries
cannot
he
obey
had
the
suffered
orders
from
of the
Ao
Emperor.
Shun's palm strike.
I feel that saving
He
His
quickly got up
Majesty
and
is more
fled into the
important.
distance.
Gao Xianji said anxiously. I agree too. Without the rumbling sky
firmly.
camp, if His
Ao
Majesty
Shun
was
still
not
had
around,
destructive combat
what was the
power?
point of conquering
Kill,
more
kill, kill,
territory?
As
In the
long
blink
as
of
His
an eye,
Majesty was not in
nearly
danger,
100 disciples
wouldn't
of
it
the
be fine to
Taishang
take
sect
back
were
the
all
territory
killed.
they conquered
Only
today?
8 elders of the
I feel that
Taishang
there is
sect
no
were
need.
fleeing in 8 directions.
Montez suddenly said
when they
with a
were far
frown.
away. They instantly
Everyone
rushed
looked at
into
Montez
the forest
with a frown.
I know that everyone
think
is
you can
loyal to His
escape?
Majesty.
Guhai snorted
But don't
coldly.
you have confidence in His
Whoosh.
Majesty?
In an instant,
Who is His Majesty?
vines that blotted
How
out
many
the sky
dangers has
and
he
covered
faced
the
in the
earth
past?
rushed straight into
When
the
did he not
forest,
manage to avert the
entangling
danger?
the Grand Supreme
Furthermore,
Path Elders
His
one by
Majesty
one.
has the Guqin
Oh, no.
statue.
No.
If he is in danger,
Amid the screams,
he can just inform
the 8 elders of the
Longjangwa.
Taishang sect
Furthermore,
were immediately
is
pulled
His
out.
Majesty not as thorough as us in his
Ao Shun
consideration
flew
of
past
whether
and
he can
instantly
survive
killed
this
another
crisis?
one?
There were 7
Montez
more to
said
go.
seriously.
Wait, everyone fell
Zhang
silent.
Yulian
frowned
as
as if she
Indeed,
couldn't
everyone
bear to see
trusted
this happen.
Guhai.
However,
Jizzy.
Guhai was in
We were
danger
wrong.
now.
We were
How could they
wrong.
not worry?
Jizzy,
All right,
I was forced
Lord
to do
Emo,
this.
Lord Gao.
Don't kill me.
Follow
Please,
Imperial
Jizzy,
Father's
spare my
orders and
life.
prepare the army
Jizzy,
to reclaim
the
Daewon's
7
former
elders of the
territories.
Middle Celestial
This
Palace
is Imperial
were begging
Father's
for mercy
order.
and fear.
You cannot do anything.
Zhang Yulian wanted
Guqin
to speak,
instructed, but Guhai
Yes.
sneered. Emo Yike
Taishang,
and Gao Xianji
don't tell
frowned
me you
and
still
nodded.
want to save them?
As for Solar
Saving
Divine
them is
Palace,
harming others.
this consort is
Today's
still worried.
humiliation will
This
only
consort
bring more
will personally
humiliation
lead a
to
group
others
of people
in the
there.
future.
Guqin
Zhang
said
Yulian's
solemnly,
face stiffened.
Crown
but
Prince.
she sighed slightly.
Everyone's
Kill.
expression
Ao
changed
Shun's
as they
body
looked at
swayed.
Guqin.
In an
Don't
instant,
worry,
another
the
elder
enemy
was
is out
killed.
in the open while I'm in
Guhai.
the dark. Schwandu's
Nothing
eldest
will
senior
happen.
brother will not let you
Guqin
go.
shook his head.
Schwanen screamed
go
in
with the
fear
Crown
as he
Prince.
stood around the countless
Montez
vines.
immediately shouted.
You're saying that as long as I don't
Guqin
kill
looked
you,
at Montez.
he will let
Crown
bygones be
Prince.
bygones. This subject
Guhai
is also
sneered.
loyal to the Emperor.
Schwanen's face changed.
Previously,
but he didn't
a
know what
large
to
number
say.
of embroidered
On the
uniform
other side,
guards followed
Ao
into the
Shun
Azure
killed
Path
another 2
secret realm.
disciples of the Taishang
Although their
sect.
numbers are not as
In the
great
blink
as
of an
Lord
eye,
Chen's
there
demon
were
god
only 4
army
left.
There are still
Ao
many
Shun's
of them.
eyes turned cold.
This time, he
They
twisted
will
his
definitely
body
be
and
able to
slashed
help
at
the
the Crown
Crown
Prince.
I will not
Montez
let you go
requested.
even if I become a
Guqin
ghost.
was silent for a
Schwanen
moment
roared
before
in
nodding.
fear.
All
Become
right.
a ghost.
I am also
We are not
willing
afraid
to
of
follow
you
the
as a
Crown
human.
Prince to Solar
So
Divine
why should we be
Palace.
afraid of you as
Chen
a ghost?
Tianshan shouted.
Ao Shun
Guqin
said
shook his
coldly.
head. He slashed
Lord
at
Chen, you
Schwanen,
cannot go.
as if he wanted
Why?
to kill him
Lord
instantly.
Emo and Lord Gao are
Buzz.
going to lead
Suddenly,
troops
a
to
breeze
subdue
blew.
Daewon's
In
territory.
the breeze,
Montez
there seemed
and
to
I
be a
are going to
longsword.
Solar Divine
It
Palace.
instantly arrived in front
Imperial
of
Mother
Ao Shun.
also left limitless
Ao
celestial
Shun's
capital.
face darkened. Someone needs
Clang.
to manage
Ao
limitless
Shun's
celestial
longsword
capital.
collided with the
Right now
longsword.
in the Han
Ao
Dynasty,
Shun took a
aside
step
from us,
back
you have the
and looked
highest
at the
seniority.
longsword in surprise.
You will be in charge
Did
of
someone
limitless
save
celestial
Schwanen?
capital.
A man in a
Only
green
then
robe
can it be
suddenly
peaceful.
appeared in front of
Guqin
Schwanen.
instructed
You have
solemnly.
killed so many
Chen
disciples of
Tianshan
the
remained
Taishang
silent
sect.
for a while
while before
should be
nodding
enough.
in the end.
The man in the
By
green
the way,
robe
Lord
said
Chen,
calmly,
His
Heavenly
Majesty has
Palace,
decreed
who
that
are
Lord
you?
Mo will be the
Ao
day one
Shun's
marshal,
face darkened,
and I will be
Gu
the
Hai
vice
narrowed
marshal.
his eyes.
We will
This
lead the
man in the
Immortal
green
Demon
robe
army
seemed
to
familiar.
subdue Daewon's
The
territory.
man in the green robe
However,
saved Schwanen.
the 500,000
Schwanen's eyes
Immortal
lit up.
Demon army
He was
will be under
overjoyed.
your command.
Sword Envoy
Can you
Qing
hand them
Feng,
over to
Sword
Lord Mo
Envoy
and me
Qing
for
Feng.
now?
Help.
Once we subdue
Help me.
Daewon,
Help
we will
me.
return them to you.
Sword Envoy
Gao
Qing Feng
Xinji
is
looked
here.
at Chen Tianshan.
Sword Envoy Qing Feng
However,
is here.
Chen Tianshan
Help.
frowned slightly
Help.
as he looked
The
at
other
Gao
three
Xinji.
elders of the Taishang sect who were still alive shouted in joy. Sword envoy Qing Feng looked coldly at Xuanan.
Guqin and Montez led a group
Instead,
of people.
he looked at a mountain peak
silently
not
left
far
the
away.
boundless celestial
A young man
capital.
in white stood
Chen
at the peak of the
Tianshan
mountain.
managed the boundless
He carried a
celestial
bronze
capital.
long sword on his
Solar
back.
Divine
He
Palace's
was young,
territory,
but his eyes
early
were
in the
cold
morning.
and sharp.
They are back.
There was an azure-colored
Luya looked
lotus
at the
flower
distant
on this
sky
young
with
man's
anticipation
forehead.
flashing
It looked
in his
very
eyes.
strange. The flying
Young
ship
master,
flew 500,000
Sword envoy
kilometers
Qing Feng
upward.
looked respectfully at
Guhai
the young
seemed to
man
see
in
many
white.
gigantic
The
stars.
young man in white
Each
coldly
star
looked
was
down.
at least 10 times
Young
the size
master
of
of
Earth
Earth
in the
Lotus?
past. Zhang
Furthermore,
Yulian's expression
Guhai
changed.
seemed to see many
Taishan,
mountains
how have you
and
been?
pavilions on
The
these
young
stars.
man in white replied.
He even saw many
After
spirit
replying,
beasts walking
the
on
young
them.
man in white suddenly
These are
looked at
stars.
Guhai.
Guhai said in
Guhai,
shock.
long time no see.
Stars.
In just
Ha.
10 short
The words
years,
that come out
you
of
have
your
already
mouth are
reached
really
the heavenly
funny.
palace.
Luya revealed a cold
Congratulations.
smile.
The
Aren't
young
they?
man in white
Guhai
said with
said
a
in
faint
shock.
smile. These
Oh,
are called stars.
Guhai narrowed his
in
eyes.
Solar Divine
He was
Palace,
a young
they
expert
are also
who
called
wandered the
demon
world.
stars.
In order
They
to
are the
seek the
residences
strongest
of
sword
various
Dao,
spirit
be
beasts.
challenged everywhere.
They are just subsidiary
Back then,
cities of Solar
Guhai had
Divine
exchanged
Palace.
pointers with
Luya
him in
sneered.
Dragonvein City.
Demon stars.
He was an expert of the
361,000 longevity
number of
cycles.
sect master
Guhai
Tongtian's
counted
lineage.
the number of stars that
It
were
looks like you
inhabited
have
by
not
spirit
forgotten me.
beasts.
Ho said
You have good
indifferently.
eyesight.
Why are you
Luya
here?
revealed a cold
Guhai
smile.
asked with a frown.
Number of cycles?
Me.
I have
Guhai
been
felt
standing
that the
here for
stars
quite
seemed
some
to be
time.
surrounding him.
It's just that
and
their
also
eyes
seemed
were
to be
filled with
revolving
desire.
around a certain
So they
point.
did not see me.
Guhai
Ho
searched
said
carefully
indifferently.
according to the
You have been
direction
here
that the
for a
stars
long
were
time?
revolving. Soon
Zhang
he found the
Yulian
place.
said with a glare.
There was a vast
Yes,
sea in the distance.
Taishang's branches in
However,
trouble.
there was nothing
and
on the
Xuandu
sea.
accused you of betraying the Wansho
At this
Taoism.
moment, the first
the
ray of
Tongtian
sunlight
sect
shone
master
down.
asked me to
It
investigate.
seemed like endless sun
So I
fire
asked you to
poured
come
into the
here.
sea.
It
Golden
seems that
flames
Xuandu's
poured
words
in
are
and
not
lit up the
reliable.
sea.
The
You
sea
saw the
emitted
Wansho
a large amount of
Taoism's
golden
distress
light.
signal.
The golden
came
light
to help
condensed
immediately,
and seemed
you
to form a
definitely did
giant
not
tree the
betray
size
the
of a
Wansho
Taoism.
Taoism.
It was a
Ho said
Fusang tree the
indifferently.
size of a
So you have been
Tongtian.
watching all
The
this while.
Fusang tree shone
Zhang
brightly
Yulian said coldly.
and had a large number
This
of
is the
branches.
internal affairs
On
of the
each branch
Taishang
there was a
sect.
city.
I should not
There
have
were as many
interfered.
as 49
I just
cities.
need to investigate.
They were divided into
However,
3 main
these
groups.
disciples of the
In the
Taishang
center was
sect
the
were
peak of the
indeed
main
ill-mannered.
branch. So I
In
let
the
Guhai
distance,
kill
at
them.
the highest point,
Ho said
there was a
indifferently.
main palace
Xuanan
wrapped in
and the
flames.
others quivered.
There was a plaque
had
on
been
it.
here for a long
There were
time.
3 large words
Had he
written
seen
on
through
it.
their scheme? Emperor
Oof.
Dong Palace.
Zhang Yulian snorted.
At the peak of the
Oh,
left main
you let me
branch,
kill
at the
them.
highest point,
So why are you
there was a
stopping me
purple
now?
aura. The
Guhai
plaque on the
said in a
largest
low
palace
voice.
had 3
They
large
deserve
words
to die.
written on it. But I need to
Taiwo
bring them
Palace.
back to report to
At
the
the peak of the
Tongtian
right
sect
main
master.
branch, at the
It
highest
is better
point,
to leave
there was
one
a white
alive
aura.
than a group of
The
corpses.
plaque on the largest palace
said
had 3
indifferently.
large words written
Yes,
on
yes,
it.
I will go back
Absolute
with you.
beginning
Young
palace.
Master Qinglian,
Eastern
I will
Monarch
go with
Tai
you.
Palace.
I will tell
Taiwo
you everything
Palace.
when we get back.
Absolute beginning palace.
Xuanan shouted.
It turns
Let
out
me
that
go
they are
back.
all
Let
on
me
this
go
giant
back.
Fusang tree.
Thank you, young
This
Master
is Solar
Qinglian.
Divine Palace.
The 4 elders
Guhai
cried
said
out anxiously.
anxiously.
He looked up at the
Guhai
sky.
glanced at Zhang Yulian and
361
turned to
demon
Ho.
stars surrounded
Report?
the huge
Ha,
Fusang
I will
tree,
leave you alive,
forming the
However,
number of
these 4
cycles
people
in the
must
sky.
die.
After the first ray of sunlight,
Guhai
the giant
shouted.
Fusang tree
What?
slowly disappeared.
Xuanan's expression
However,
changed.
Guhai knew that
How
it was
dare
still
you?
there. Sword
It just
messenger
became
Qing Feng's
transparent
expression changed
and couldn't be seen
However,
clearly.
However,
Shun
it
did
was
not
there.
care.
Those
In an
palaces
instant,
and
he
cities were
flashed
still
his
on the
sword
tree.
at another grand supreme
Ignorant.
Dao elder.
You don't even know this?
How dare you?
Luya looked
Boom.
at Guhai
Ao
with
Shun
disdain.
slashed at the
Whoosh.
elder.
At
The
this
4
moment,
elders were in 4
a beam
different
of azure
directions,
light suddenly
and
shot
Sword
down from
Messenger
one of the
Qing
demon
Feng
stars
couldn't protect them all.
and landed in front
Boom.
of Luya's
Sword
flying
Messenger
ship.
Qing Feng
Boom.
released countless
The azure
sword
light
energies
stopped
around
in front
him,
of Luya,
flashing at
It
the
was
vines.
Guhai's old acquaintance,
However,
the great
the
Myojin
vines
Kong
seemed
Xian.
endless.
Kong
with
Xian
Ao
flew
Shun
closer
attacking the
and
entangled
looked at
elders.
Guhai before turning
Sword
to
Messenger
Luya.
Qing Feng
Prince
couldn't
Luya.
protect them all.
Oh,
the great
save me,
Myojin,
young Master
didn't you
Qinglian,
dislike
save me.
demon stars and
Xuanan
stay
shouted
in
in
your peacock
fear.
sea?
At the
Why
peak
did you
of the
come
mountain,
from a demon star
Ho's
to
white
stop
robe
me?
fluttered in the wind.
Luya frowned and
but his
looked at Kong
expression
Xian.
didn't change.
Kong Xian
He
shook
didn't
his
care
head.
about the battle
There are
between Ao Shun and
361
Qing Feng.
demon stars.
In the blink of an eye,
Each demon star has
Ao
a
Shun
demon
took
king.
advantage of
I was
Qing
appointed
Feng's
by
lack
the
of
master
protection
to guard
and
the
killed 3
peacock
elders.
star. The
Then he
peacock
rushed
star
towards
is my
Schwanen.
star. Why
No,
can't I
save
come
me.
from there?
Sword Messenger
peacock
Qing
star
Feng,
is your
save
star.
me.
I will give you all my treasures.
Of course,
Schwanen
there is
shouted.
nothing wrong
Boom.
with that.
Qing
However,
Feng's sword
great
collided with
Miujin,
Ao
why did
Shan,
you stop me?
but the two were
Luya
evenly
asked in a
matched.
low voice.
Qing Feng
Kong
couldn't
Xian
protect
looked
the
at
other
Gu Hai.
three elders,
Prince
so he was
Luya,
very angry.
why did you capture Gu
How could he
Hai?
let Ao Shan
This person is
succeed?
a disaster.
The two instantly
Wherever
started
he goes,
fighting.
there will be
Good.
disasters.
Sword
Now the
Messenger
Long
Qing
Zhonghua
Feng
army
kill
is
him.
about to arrive.
Schwanen shouted
Prince
with a
Luya,
ferocious expression.
bringing him back will bring
Swish.
a lot of variables.
Suddenly,
Why
Schwanen
don't
was
you hand
pulled
him
toward
over
Gu Hai
to me
by the vines
so that I can eliminate
Schwanen's
him before the
expression
battle?
changed.
Ah,
Oh no.
Gu Hai's face
Sword
darkened.
Messenger Qing Feng,
Luya's eyes
save
turned
me.
cold.
Save me.
Oh,
Chuanan shouted in fear.
You have been waiting
However,
here for a long
Sword
time.
Messenger Qing
You
Feng
stood
was
on the
pinned down
peacock
by
star
Ao
just to
Shan.
wait for my
Chuanan
return.
was severely
Kong
injured
Xian
by
looked at
Ao
Luya
Shan
and
earlier.
bowed slightly.
So how could he
However,
resist?
he looked at
In an
Gu Hai
instant,
with a murderous
the entangled
look.
Chuanan
There
was
was even
pulled
a
in
strong
front of Gu Hai.
obsession in this murderous
Chuanan
look.
opened his mouth
From
and
the
spat
first
out a
time
ray
he
of
saw
sword
Gu
chi,
Hai,
which
he knew
rushed
that
toward
Gu Hai
was
was
not someone to be
5
trifled
cycles.
with.
Gu
At
Hai
that
stared
time,
and slashed
Gu
with his
Hai was
life-killing
killing the
saber.
innate realm.
Did
The
you kill
purple
Chuanan
one
had
had
been
been
since he was in
Are
the
you
innate
appeased
realm?
now?
Had he
Xianan's desperate
desperate
roar
palace?
resounded in
Thank
the
you.
air.
Time and time
Gu
again,
Hai
looked
looked
at
at Bai and
a
bowed
loud
slightly.
sound rang out as
By
Xianan
giving
stopped
him
him
to
just
assist
now.
Prince
He
Luya,
spat
Gu Hai
everyone
believed
else.
that Bai had
He
the
had to
ability
kill
to
Gu
do
Hai.
so.
Sword
Luya
Messenger
did not
Qing
care
Feng
about
moved.
Gu Hai's
He
life
didn't
or
move
death
after
from the
colliding
beginning.
with
However,
Ao
he
Shan.
cared about his
He had to
authority.
separate his
Even
favorite.
if Gu Hai
Gu
was
Hai
his
chameleon
prisoner,
spirit
should
no
know
one else
everything.
could interfere
Just
with
bring
his
him
things.
back. On the other side,
Gu Hai
I
pointed
also
at the
very
chameleon
curious
spirit
at
at
the
the
great
instant.
Myojin.
These
How did you know
people
where
deserve
to
to
die
die
on the mountain
They
peak?
deserved to be
Zhao
jailed.
had been watching
You need to
quietly.
report to the
He did not
Tontian
even
sect
frown from
and
the
look in
beginning
another
to the
direction.
end. At this moment,
They told me
the chameleon
Oh,
monster was
Luya
trembling
turned
in
his head.
fear.
All the
Yihua
elders of
Yanhua,
Taishang's sect
Gu
were
Hai
dead.
suddenly widened his eyes. There was a group of
Many
angels
sword cultivators
standing on a
can't
flying
even
ship
find
in
one
the
in their
distance.
entire life.
Yihua and
Gu
Yanhua
Hai
were
was
standing
speechless.
among them. Gu
There
Hai
was
also
also a
read
group of
novels
black
and watched
angels
TV
beside them.
so he was a
At
little
this moment,
embarrassed by Yu's
the black
praise.
angels were escorting
Just now,
Ao Shan.
I wanted to
who was
protect
covered
those
in
elders,
wounds.
but I was killed
Several
by you.
chains
You
passed
don't
through
have
Ao
to
Shan's
thank me.
body and locked
After
Ao
all,
Shan's bones.
I also benefited
back was
greatly
dripping
from the
with
sword
blood.
Dao you thought of.
Oh, master,
I should
I
be
am
thanking
useless.
you.
I've
I've
already
already
learned
learned
the
the
4
way.
types of sword
Ao Shan
principles.
knelt on the ground,
Once
his
his eyes
filled
filled with
together.
grief.
I'll find you for a showdown, solemnly Ho said. Wait, what did you say? You've learned it. Gu Hai looked at you in astonishment. That's right. I travel the world to find all kinds of sword Dao methods to sharpen my sword Dao. Unfortunately, there are countless sword cultivators in the world, but very few have their own unique style of sword Dao. I've learned 4 from you, but these 4 sword Daos are polar opposites. If I want to fuse them, I might need a month or so. Cheng nodded. Gu Hai was speechless. A month or so? You must be joking. All right, I'm honored to meet you today. Let's meet again. I still need to go to Solar Divine Palace. It seems that Long Zhonghua has pointed his sword at Tai and wants to destroy Solar Divine Palace. You took a deep breath. Gu Hai nodded. Although you was polite to him, Gu Hai always felt a dangerous aura from him. He was like a divine sword that hadn't been unsheathed. His sword could be unsheathed at any time. By the way, you'd better go back soon. 10 days ago, Ho Qing went to the limitless celestial capital. Although Long Zhonghua came to resolve the crisis, it seems that the limitless celestial capital also suffered great losses. Cheng said in a low voice. As he spoke, he took a step and flew into the distance. Sword Messenger Qing Feng followed behind like a servant. Ho Qing? Gu Hai's face darkened. He couldn't care less about hiding it now. Gu Hai reached out and took out a Guqin figurine. The Guqin figurine vibrated slightly, as if it was receiving some kind of frequency. Guqin, Ho Qing, the Emperor, replies that the limitless celestial capital is in great trouble. Angels are attacking. Ho Qing, bring up the rear. The Guqin figurine repeated. It even repeated Guqin's tone. As it repeated, Yanhua and Yihua widened their eyes. What is this? Yanhua asked in surprise. Ao Shan also looked surprised. Obviously, he didn't know much about the
that I am
Guqin
Kong
figurine.
Xian's knife.
How could it send
Crown
news
Prince
about the
Luya,
limitless celestial
if you think
capital?
that I have gone overboard,
If he brought it with
you
him,
can release my
wouldn't
seal.
he be able to hear
I will
news
kill
about
Kong
other
Xian in
places?
front of you,
Not far
Do you
away.
believe me?
Zhang
Gu
Yulian
Hai
also
said
looked
extremely
surprised.
solemnly.
Impossible. Luya
How
narrowed
could
his
the
eyes
limitless
and looked at
celestial
Gu Hai in
capital's
surprise.
voice reach here?
Kong Xian's
Gu Hai
battle
ignored
power
them
was one of
and
the
listened
best in
to the
Apollo
Guqin
Palace.
figurine's voice
He was
transmission.
definitely in the top
Huang Yu,
10 of the
Gu Hai's
361
expression
demon
changed
stars
when he
on
heard the
Peacock
words Long
planet.
Wan Yu's 3
Even
souls
if he was
shatter,
not as good as
Gu Hai's
Luya,
head buzzed.
he should not be
For
too
some
far
reason,
behind.
his head was
Gu Hai
suddenly
actually
filled
said
with
that he
Long
would
Wan
kill
Yu's
Kong
voice.
Xian in front of him.
Brother-in-law,
Crown
I'll wait
Prince
for you to
Luya.
come back.
What are you worried about?
Brother-in-law,
You
I
must
was not
save
your
sister.
opponent that day, so I
Chapter
willingly
680.
accepted the title.
Cheng glanced at
Now
the
I am much
chameleon
weaker
and
than
nodded.
that day. Am I
Ao
not?
Shan waved his
Didn't you
hand
confiscate
and
the
removed
Vine
the
World
seal on the
Gourd,
chameleon
True
demon.
Fire Gourd,
Greetings,
Life
young
Punishing
Master Green
Saber,
Lotus,
and Immortal
the
Slaying
chameleon
Gourd?
demon
What are
immediately
you worried
flew toward
about?
Cheng. Gu Hai
He didn't
sneered.
want to stay by
Luya's
Gu
face
Hai's
darkened
side for even a
that
moment
day,
longer.
when he sealed
Who
his
knew when Gu Hai
cultivation.
would kill him?
Luya had
Cheng
indeed
might
forced
blame
Gu
him,
Hai to hand
but he
over
was
the
still a
Vine World
disciple
Gourd,
of Wanshou
True
Taoism.
Fire Gourd,
Kneel,
Life
Sword
Punishing
Envoy
Saber,
Qing Feng
and even
shouted
the Immortal
coldly.
Slaying Gourd.
The chameleon
As
demon
for the other
immediately
things on
knelt
Gu
down.
Hai, Cheng
Luya did
glanced
not
at the
search
chameleon
him,
demon
nor
and
did
said
he bother to
indifferently,
do so.
"Do you want
He
to
was
go
the
back to
crown
one
prince
of
of
the
Taoism
demon
by
race?
yourself?
But why was
Or do you
Gu Hai
want
so
Qing Feng
confident
to
to
escort you back?
Crown Prince Luya,
Don't listen
I will
to
go
his
back by
flowery
myself.
words.
The
Let me kill
chameleon
you and
demon
end
was
it all.
slightly stunned,
Kong
and
Xian said
immediately
coldly,
said in surprise,
seal my cultivation.
Cheng pointed at the
Even
chameleon
if I
demon's
die,
forehead.
I will only
But the
die in the
chameleon
hands of
demon
Crown
didn't
Prince
dare to
Luya.
resist.
You, Huang,
It
a
is a
green
pity
light
that
shot
Crown
into the
Prince
chameleon
Luya
did not
demon's
let me kill
forehead.
you. And a
Gu
long
Hai
sword
shouted
mark
coldly.
suddenly appeared
Luya
on the
reached out
chameleon
and
demon's
tapped Gu Hai's
forehead.
dantian.
This is the
One,
sword mark.
A ray of
It won't
golden light
explode for a
exploded
year,
from Gu Hai's
but after a
dantian.
year,
Gu
it
Hai
will
released a
explode and
powerful
completely
aura
crush
around
you.
him.
Cheng
Crown
said
Prince
indifferently.
Luya, why did you release
Young
his
Master
seal?
Green Lotus,
Kong
please
Xian's
spare
face
me.
changed.
The chameleon
Thank
demon
you, Crown
exclaimed,
Prince Luya.
Go back by
Gu Hai
yourself
sneered.
and see the
Humph.
Tongtian sect
I would like
master.
to see how you are
The
going to kill
Tongtian
Kong
sect master
Xian.
can help you
Luya
undo
said
it.
coldly.
Otherwise,
After
you only
that,
have 1
Luya
year.
looked at Kong
If you
Xian
go back
coldly.
too late,
Kong
the Tongtian
Xian,
sect
you are my
master will
father's
leave
most
most
loyal
Taoism.
subordinate.
You can't
I will
blame
give you
anyone.
face this time.
Cheng said
However,
indifferently. I want Gu Hai's
yes,
corpse
I will go
intact.
now. I will go now.
Yes, thank you,
The
Crown Prince
chameleon
Luya.
demon was frightened.
Kong Xian was
and
overjoyed.
immediately stood up.
It was impossible
Whoosh.
for Gu Hai to
Without
deal with Kong
hesitation,
Xian.
The
He was
chameleon
courting
demon
death.
shot into
Moreover,
the distance and
Luya
disappeared.
had confiscated his
Cheng then
weapons
looked
and
at Zong
treasures.
Yulian.
Kong Xian sneered at Gu
your
Hai.
lineage is in
Gu Hai
chaos
also
now.
revealed a
Do you want to
confident
go back
sneer.
with me?
This
I
trace
can
of a cold
guarantee that you
smile
will be
caused
fine.
Luya and Kong
No
Xian
need.
to frown.
I will go
At
back
this
by
moment,
myself in the
Gu Hai
future.
could still fight with
Zong
Kong
Yulian
Xian.
said coldly.
Where did his
Cheng
confidence
nodded.
come from?
Then
Gu
it's
Hai's
up to you.
confidence. Cheng turned
This
to
was
Gu
just
Hai.
a facade for the
Gu
two
Hai,
of them.
10 days
He had
ago,
just entered the
I went
lower
to your
heavenly
boundless
palace.
celestial capital.
How could he deal with Kong Xian?
10 days ago,
Gu Hai sent a
Gu
thought
Hai
into
raised
the
his
storage
eyebrows
ring on
and
his
looked
finger.
at you in surprise.
There was a Guqin
10
figurine
days.
in the ring.
He could get here in
as
10
long
days.
as the Guqin figurine
That's right.
informed Long
The
Zhanghua.
Tongtian sect
Long
master
Zhanghua
asked
would
me
come
to
to save
investigate
him.
Taishang's
This
lineage.
was one of Gu Hai's
I found
greatest
out that
trump
Taishang
cards.
wanted to find
Inform
you
Long
at
Zhanghua
that time
and use
he
his
didn't know you were
contribution
in
to
Farmer
exchange
God
for
City.
Long Zhanghua's
So he
help.
went to the limitless
Great
celestial
Miojin.
capital.
I hope you won't
Cheng
regret
nodded.
it later.
Oh, Gu Hai
Looking
sneered.
for me?
Gu Hai looked at Zong Yulian in
Chapter
surprise.
684.
No wonder the
Hall leader,
chameleon
I am
demon had been
useless.
hiding by his
I
side.
was ambushed on the
waiting
way.
for Zong Yulian.
Ao Shun
He
knelt
also
on the
knew that
ground.
Zong
His
Yulian
eyes
was
filled
looking
with
for
grief.
him. But
Why
why
are
was
you
Zong
crying?
Yulian looking
No
for
one
him?
is blaming you.
Kill me. Gu Hai shouted
glanced at
coldly.
Zong Yulian.
In the distance,
10 days ago,
Ao Shun looked
there
up
was a
and the
great
grief on
battle
his
in the
face
limitless
disappeared.
celestial capital.
During the time he was
I was
captured,
lucky enough to see
Ao
it.
Shun
Your
felt the
cloud
most guilty,
beast,
and the
because
four
he had
great
messed
sword
up
cultivators
Gu Hai's
were
orders.
very powerful.
Humph Gu Hai,
They
you didn't
represented
expect
four
this,
different
did you?
swordsmanship.
Ha 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 ha.
Cheng frowned at
Yi
Gu
Hua
Hai.
suddenly laughed
Dongfang
sinisterly.
Booby,
Do you want to die?
die?
Gu Hai said
Shumen
coldly.
Zhang Samfeng.
Although Gu Hai's
Gu Hai looked at
cultivation
Cheng
was
with a
sealed,
frown.
there was
Zhang
still a murderous
Samfeng,
look in his
Taiji
eyes.
swordsmanship.
Yi Hua
The Taiji
shuddered
Dao
when
of
the
yin and
murderous
yang
look appeared.
But the
Yi
fusion
Hua's
of yin and
arrogant
yang
words were stuck
the
in his
combination
throat.
of hardness
Yan
and
Hua looked
gentleness
coldly at Gu Hai.
extraordinary.
Gu
Shimen
Hai,
Shueishue,
your cultivation should be sealed
sword
by Crown Prince
emphasizes
Luya, right?
intent and not
What are you
strength.
so proud of?
When the sword reaches,
Gu Hai looked at Yan
people will
Hua
be
and
destroyed.
said coldly,
When the heart
if
is
Ao Shun
invincible,
dies,
the sword
I
is
will let you
invincible.
die with him.
Do you believe me?
Without a
Die
sword
with
in
him.
his hand,
Ha ha ha.
without a
What
sword
can you
in
do
his
now?
heart,
If the
everything
great
in the
Miojin
world,
wants you dead,
including
do you
grass
think
and
you can
wood,
live
can be a
past today?
sword.
Yan Hua said coldly. So you think Crown Prince Luya is easy to bully? Gu Hai smiled. Yan Hua's face darkened. At this moment, Crown Prince Luya also looked coldly at Yan Hua. Do you think I can't kill Gu Hai? Or do you think I won't kill Gu Hai? Crown Prince Luya, I didn't mean that, but... Yan Hua's expression changed. Humph. Crown Prince Luya snorted and turned to look at Kong Xian. At this moment, Kong Xian still looked very determined, as if he would only be satisfied when Gu Hai was completely killed. Crown Prince Luya, I am doing this for the good of Solar God Palace. This Gu Hai is Long Zhanggua's spy. You should know what he has done all these years. If we don't get rid of him now, there will be trouble in the future. Kong Xian said coldly. Future trouble? Humph. It's not your turn to interfere in my matters. Luya's eyes turned cold. Although Luya scolded Kong Xian coldly, Gu Hai knew that Luya was not trying to protect him. He did not care about his life at all. He only cared about his reputation. Therefore, he definitely could not place his hopes on Luya. Long Zhanggua's spy. He great Miojin. Are you talking about me or yourself? Gu Hai glared at him. Kong Xian's expression suddenly changed. He looked at Gu Hai ferociously. Luya and Yan Hua also narrowed their eyes and looked at Kong Xian in surprise. Gu Hai, you want to slander me too? Ha 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 ha. Kang Xian laughed coldly. Luya also looked at Gu Hai coldly. After all, no one believed that Kang Xian was Long Zhongguo's spy. Gu Hai's framing was too clumsy, wasn't it? Gu Hai also understood that this could not be done. At this moment, no one would believe that Kong Xian was Long Zhanggui's spy. However, it did not matter. It was enough to plant a seed in everyone's heart today. Great Myojin, you know very well whether I am slandering you or not. Now you want to silence me? You are using Crown Prince Luya's hand. It was Crown Prince Luya who sealed my cultivation, so that you could get away with it. At that time, you can push the blame to Crown Prince Luya. Yanhua is a cover, and Crown Prince Luya is your knife? Great Myojin, you are really scheming. Gu Hai said coldly. Ha 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 ha, Crown Prince Luya, did you hear that? I said that Gu Hai is a scourge. How long has it been? He has already started sowing discord? Crown Prince Luya, please do not tolerate this scoundrel. As he spoke, his finger gently moved the ring. Suddenly, a wave of magic power entered the ring. Just as he was about to inform the Guqin figurine. Ha! Little peacock, you are truly unforgiving. Not to mention that this palace master does not have any attachment to Gu Hai. You keep using Xiaorou's attachment as an excuse to kill Gu Hai time and time again. Are you trying to humiliate this palace master? Suddenly, a loud voice rang out in the surroundings. Boom! A strong aura suddenly descended from the sky. Taiwa. Yanhua's expression changed. Luya also narrowed his eyes and looked up at the sky. Oh no! Kong Xian's expression changed. The next moment he stood up ferociously. He stretched out his hand and hit Gu Hai with his palm. Boom! A five-colored palm struck towards Gu Hai, as if he wanted to kill Gu Hai immediately. How dare you! Taiwa's voice rang out again. The void trembled. Suddenly, a huge snake tail emerged from the void. The snake tail swung out, causing the void to tremble. A vast purple storm instantly appeared in front of Kong Xian's palm. Boom! With a loud bang, a monstrous storm suddenly swept up in the surroundings. The five-colored palm exploded, and the snake tail shook, disappearing into the void. Kong Xian also instantly retreated a distance of 300 meters. Taiwa, weren't you in seclusion? Kong Xian exclaimed with his eyes wide open. Gu Hai looked up and saw countless purple clouds surrounding a purple cloud. On top of the purple cloud stood a woman with a human body and a snake tail. The woman was none other than Taiwa. The instant Gu Hai saw Taiwa, he fell into a daze. Xiao Rou, who had been in the innate realm in Tianyuan Island, and the innate puzzle world, looked exactly like this. At that time, his heart was filled with obsession with Chen Xianer, so he ignored Xiao Rou's love. At that time, Gu Hai's heart was sealed in ice. Because of Xiao Rou, a crack finally appeared in the ice in his heart at the moment of Xiao Rou's death. Because of Xiao Rou, Gu Hai no longer rejected the entry of other feelings. Long Wanqing, Lin Wanner, and even Bingheim. When Gu Hai saw Taiwa, he thought of Xiao Rou. When he thought of Xiao Rou, his heart felt strangely stifled. Xiao Rou's earthly soul was Taiwa's earthly soul. The heavenly soul and the human soul merged with Taiwa's earthly soul. It was not wrong to say that Taiwa was Xiao Rou. However, Xiao Rou was not Taiwa. After all, after Xiao Rou merged with Taiwa, Taiwa dominated her will. Closed-door cultivation? Humph. Kong Xian, this palace master did not care about this Gu Hai at first. However, it is you who keep stirring up trouble again and again. Ha! Since when is it your turn to meddle in my, Taiwa's matters? Taiwa's eyes turned cold as murderous intent surged out. Kong Xian also showed a ferocious expression. Queen Hua, since you do not care about Gu Hai, what's wrong with letting me kill him? Humph. You say that you do not care? However, you and Xiao Rou share the same earthly soul. Your will is superior to hers, but she is you. Your three souls are fusing, and your feelings are fusing. Do you dare to say that Xiao Rou's feelings for Gu Hai did not affect you? If not, how could you carve Xiao Rou's miserable state outside Taiwa Palace that day? Humph. Kong Xian, you are meddling too much. Do you want to die? Taiwa's eyes turned cold as he took a step forward. Ha 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 ha. You want to die? I am meddling too much. However, Queen Hua, do you know why Master allowed you to enter Solar Divine Palace? Do you know why Master gave you authority that is below Master's? In our hearts, you are already Queen Hua, Master's woman. Humph. Are you pretending not to know? Is it useful? In the past, if Master did not plead with the heavens, you would have died 800,000 years ago. No, your body and soul would have been destroyed. It was Master who pleaded with the Immortal of 6 paths that you have today, Kong Xian said with a glare. Impudent? Taiwo glared. Impudent? Humph. Today, even if Queen Hua stops me, this Gu Hai must die, Kong Xian said with a ferocious expression. With a ferocious expression, Kong Xian looked up at the sky and roared. Fiend kings of the 300 fiend stars, this time, Kong Xian invites all of you to work together and lay the heavenly cycle star formation to destroy Luo Gu Hai and restore Queen Hua's heart. Chapter 685. Kong Xian's rallying power was still very strong. With a shout, the 360 demon stars suddenly shone with dazzling light. It was as if Kong Xian had already planned this beforehand. Wang. The starlight was dazzling. In the early hours of the morning, the originally dazzling sunlight suddenly dimmed, and only the demon stars could be seen. They seemed to have connected into a line, forming a super huge net. As soon as the net appeared, a starlight palm suddenly formed. The palm was 10,000 feet long, and it went straight for Gu Hai. Kong Xian? You actually bewitched all the demon kings for Gu Hai. Set up the cosmic cycle star array? Did you get any orders from father? Luya suddenly glared. Crown Prince Luya, this is an emergency. Please forgive me. Later, I will bring a bramble and ask for punishment from Master. Kong Xian said with a ferocious expression. Palm of the stars? Humph. Taiwa's face turned cold. Queen Hua, you better not move. This palm of the stars is the condensation of the cosmic cycle star array. Its power is no weaker than Long Zhongguo's eye of heaven. Kong Xian looked at Taiwo with a cold smile. Boom. As expected, the giant palm of the stars pressed down, and a heavenly aura instantly rushed into the hearts of everyone below. Not far away, a group of angels was immediately suppressed by this aura and knelt down. Even the Black Angel, Yan Hua, and Yi Hua also knelt down in shock. Gu Hai's expression also changed. This aura was too strong. It was so strong that he couldn't resist at all. If it weren't for his huge human soul, he would have been forced to kneel down. Palm of the stars? Don't move. When Fuxi created the cosmic cycle star array, I was right beside him. Don't move. Humph. Taiwa's expression was ferocious as he waved his hand. Wang. A huge bronze cauldron suddenly appeared in Taiwa's palm. On the surface of the cauldron, the Khanate 8 trigrams diagram was engraved, but inside, countless demon beasts were engraved. Taiwa activated it. Boom! The huge cauldron suddenly enlarged, and an extremely thick aura suddenly erupted. The surrounding flying boats were immediately blown away by a wave of qi. Even the flying boat that Luya was suppressing was pushed back. Cauldron of heaven and earth? The third Dharma treasure in history? Luya's eyelids suddenly twitched as excitement flashed across his eyes. Cauldron of heaven and earth? You are really in your hands. Kong Xian's expression changed. Boom! On the surface of the cauldron of heaven and earth, the 8 trigrams instantly emitted a dazzling golden light. The 10,000 fiend diagram inside instantly emitted the roars of billions of fiends as it sucked fiercely. Boom! The astral palm was sucked into the cauldron. Within the cauldron, hundreds of millions of demons were madly gnawing away at the astral palm. It was as if it wanted to completely refine the astral palm. Screech! Kong Xian's figure flashed and soared into the sky. In the starry sky, the cluster of demon stars seemed to form a huge light pillar that rushed towards Kong Xian's body. Kong Xian reached out his right palm and instantly merged it with the astral palm. Astral palm, listen to my command. Chaotic heavenly cycle, tear apart the heavens and earth, break for me. Kong Xian shouted. Boom! Kong Xian merged with the astral palm that was sucked into the cauldron of heaven and earth. The parts that were torn apart by the thousands of demons in the cauldron immediately recovered rapidly. Moreover, with a strong force, it struck the cauldron of heaven and earth, as if it wanted to completely shatter the cauldron. Humph, cosmic cycle star array? I don't have that kind of power. Taiwa said with a ferocious expression. Boom! Taiwa activated the cauldron of heaven and earth again. In an instant, the void where the astral palm merged with the cauldron of heaven and earth was torn apart. Fragments of the void were torn apart, forming a huge black hole that crazily sucked in everything around it. Help! No, elder, save me! The surrounding angels were sucked into the black hole in horror. As soon as they entered the black hole, their physical bodies were instantly shredded into pieces and completely disappeared. The powerful force was not any weaker than when Long Zhonghua fought against the Eye of Heaven. The transparent Fusang tree suddenly shook violently. As it shook, the sea below rose up, and then the endless sea water was quickly sucked into the black hole. Above the stars, there were 361 powerful demon kings controlling the array. Below, Taiwa controlled the cauldron of heaven and earth with all his strength. Fortunately, with Luya in front, the pressure around Gu Hai was reduced by a lot. However, looking at the scene in front of him, Gu Hai was shocked. Back when Long Zhonghua fought the deity of six paths, he thought that it was the most intense battle. No matter how strong Solar Divine Shrine was, it should be within a certain range. However, the scene in front of him subverted Gu Hai's thoughts. The astral palm and the cauldron of heaven and earth. The power of the collision between the two was actually similar to when Long Zhonghua fought the deity of six paths. This was not even the strongest of Solar Divine Shrine, Donghuang Tai. Could Long Zhonghua succeed in attacking Solar Divine Shrine this time? While Gu Hai was anxious, Kong Xian's body expanded as if he was struggling with the powerful astral power. At this moment, Taiwa's forehead was also covered in cold sweat. He looked ferocious. Neither of them gave in. One wanted Gu Hai to die, and the other wanted to protect Gu Hai. The two forces collided, and the black hole in the void became bigger and bigger, just as both sides were about to suffer. Dang! Suddenly, a loud bell rang from the top of the swaying Fusang giant tree. When the bell rang, Gu Hai and everyone in the surroundings suddenly felt their minds buzzing. All that was left was the deep and resounding sound of the bell. Many people seemed to be in a daze and forgot everything. As the bell rang, a yellow ripple rushed down from the void. Hung! The yellow ripple collided, and the astral palm and the cauldron of heaven and earth were suddenly pushed away. Kong Xian and Taiwa instantly retreated 1,000 feet before stopping. Buzz, 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 buzz. Everyone's mind was still buzzing, and it was a blur. After a while they woke up one after another. This bell sound? Gu Hai looked up. It was the bell sound coming from Emperor Dong's palace at the top of the Fusang tree. The bell of chaos? Tai, you didn't enter the heaven realm? Taiwa looked at the sky with a cold expression. The bell of chaos? The second Dharma treasure in the world? Gu Hai's face darkened. Greetings, father. Luya bowed to solemnly in the sky. Greetings, master. Kong Xian and the demon kings on the 360 demon stars bowed respectfully. Rumble. Chapter 685. Kong Xian's rallying power was still very strong. With a shout, the 360 demon stars suddenly shone with dazzling light. It was as if Kong Xian had already planned this beforehand. Wang. The starlight was dazzling. In the early hours of the morning, the originally dazzling sunlight suddenly dimmed, and only the demon stars could be seen. They seemed to have connected into a line, forming a super huge net. As soon as the net appeared, a starlight palm suddenly formed. The palm was 10,000 feet long, and it went straight for Gu Hai. Kongxian? You actually bewitched all the demon kings for Gu Hai? Set up the cosmic cycle star array? Did you get any orders from father? Luya suddenly glared. Crown Prince Luya, this is an emergency. Please forgive me. Later, I will bring a bramble and ask for punishment from master. Kongxian said with a ferocious expression. Palm of the stars? Humph. Taiwa's face turned cold. Queen Hua, you better not move. This palm of the stars is the condensation of the cosmic cycle star array. Its power is no weaker than Long Zhongguo's eye of heaven. Kongxian looked at Taiwa with a cold smile. Boom. As expected, the giant palm of the stars pressed down, and a heavenly aura instantly rushed into the hearts of everyone below. Not far away, a group of angels was immediately suppressed by this aura and knelt down. Even the black angel, Yan Hua, and Yi Hua also knelt down in shock. Gu Hai's expression also changed. This aura was too strong. It was so strong that he couldn't resist at all. If it weren't for his huge human soul, he would have been forced to kneel down. Palm of the stars? Don't move. When Fuxi created the cosmic cycle star array, I was right beside him. Don't move. Humph. Taiwa's expression was ferocious as he waved his hand. Wang. A huge bronze cauldron suddenly appeared in Taiwa's palm. On the surface of the cauldron, the Khanate 8 trigrams diagram was engraved, but inside countless demon beasts were engraved. Taiwa activated it. Boom. The huge cauldron suddenly enlarged, and an extremely thick aura suddenly erupted. The surrounding flying boats were immediately blown away by a wave of qi. Even the flying boat that Luya was suppressing was pushed back. Cauldron of heaven and earth? The third Dharma treasure in history? Luya's eyelids suddenly twitched as excitement flashed across his eyes. Cauldron of heaven and earth? You are really in your hands. Kongxian's expression changed. Boom. On the surface of the cauldron of heaven and earth, the 8 trigrams instantly emitted a dazzling golden light. The 10,000 fiend diagram inside instantly emitted the roars of billions of fiends as it sucked fiercely. Boom. The astral palm was sucked into the cauldron. Within the cauldron, hundreds of millions of demons were madly gnawing away at the astral palm. It was as if it wanted to completely refine the astral palm. Screech! Kongxian's figure flashed and soared into the sky. In the starry sky, the cluster of demon stars seemed to form a huge light pillar that rushed towards Kongxian's body. Kongxian reached out his right palm and instantly merged it with the astral palm. Astral palm, listen to my command. Chaotic heavenly cycle, tear apart the heavens and earth, break for me. Kongxian shouted. Boom! Kongxian merged with the astral palm that was sucked into the cauldron of heaven and earth. The parts that were torn apart by the thousands of demons in the cauldron immediately recovered rapidly. Moreover, with a strong force, it struck the cauldron of heaven and earth, as if it wanted to completely shatter the cauldron. Humph, cosmic cycle star array? I don't have that kind of power. Taiwa said with a ferocious expression. Boom. Taiwa activated the cauldron of heaven and earth again. In an instant, the void where the astral palm merged with the cauldron of heaven and earth was torn apart. Fragments of the void were torn apart, forming a huge black hole that crazily sucked in everything around it. Ah, help! No, elder, save me! The surrounding angels were sucked into the black hole in horror. As soon as they entered the black hole, their physical bodies were instantly shredded into pieces and completely disappeared. The powerful force was not any weaker than when Long Zhongguo fought against the Eye of Heaven. The transparent Fusang tree suddenly shook violently. As it shook, the sea below rose up, and then the endless sea water was quickly sucked into the black hole. Above the stars, there were 361 powerful demon kings controlling the array. Below, Taiwa controlled the cauldron of heaven and earth with all his strength. Fortunately, with Luya in front, the pressure around Gu Hai was reduced by a lot. However, looking at the scene in front of him, Gu Hai was shocked. Back when Long Zhongguo fought the deity of 6 paths, he thought that it was the most intense battle. No matter how strong Solar Divine Shrine was, it should be within a certain range. However, the scene in front of him subverted Gu Hai's thoughts. The astral palm and the cauldron of heaven and earth. The power of the collision between the two was actually similar to when Long Zhonghua fought the deity of six paths. This was not even the strongest of Solar Divine Shrine, Donghuang Tai. Could Long Zhonghua succeed in attacking Solar Divine Shrine this time? While Gu Hai was anxious, Kong Xian's body expanded, as if he was struggling with the powerful astral power. At this moment, Taiwa's forehead was also covered in cold sweat. He looked ferocious. Neither of them gave in. One wanted Gu Hai to die, and the other wanted to protect Gu Hai. The two forces collided, and the black hole in the void became bigger and bigger. Just as both sides were about to suffer. Dang! Suddenly, a loud bell rang from the top of the swaying Fusang giant tree. When the bell rang, Gu Hai and everyone in the surroundings suddenly felt their minds buzzing. All that was left was the deep and resounding sound of the bell. Many people seemed to be in a daze and forgot everything. As the bell rang, a yellow ripple rushed down from the void. The yellow ripple collided, and the astral palm and the cauldron of heaven and earth were suddenly pushed away. Kong Xian and Taiwa instantly retreated 1,000 feet before stopping. Buzz, 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 buzz. Everyone's mind was still buzzing, and it was a blur. After a while, they woke up one after another. This bell sound. Gu Hai looked up. It was the bell sound coming from Emperor Dong's palace at the top of the Fusang tree. The bell of chaos? Tai, you didn't enter the heaven realm? Taiwa looked at the sky with a cold expression. The bell of chaos? The second Dharma treasure in the world? Gu Hai's face darkened. Greetings, father. Luya bowed to solemnly in the sky. Greetings, master. Kong Xian and the demon kings on the 360 demon stars bowed respectfully. Rumble. Chapter 686. Taiwa had gotten the news from Tai that Gu Hai wasn't dead. He had accepted Tai's invitation and gone to the heaven realm. Gu Hai sighed softly. He extended his hand and stopped informing Zhan Long. At this moment, with Tai's help, even if Long Zhonghua came immediately, he wouldn't be able to save him. Secondly, when he was dealing with Luya, Long Zhonghua might come to save him. Now that he was in Tai's hands, it was hard to say whether Long Zhonghua would come or not. Taiwa flew into the sky, and Taichu also flew out of Emperor Dong's palace. Taichu Palace Lord, countless demons, the demon kings on the demon star, and Kong Xian also bowed slightly. Taichu instantly flew in front of Gu Hai. He emitted a holy light as he looked coldly at Gu Hai. Greetings, Taichu Palace Lord. Gu Hai smiled. Ha, Gu Hai, you're really lucky. Taiwa is so desperate for you. Taichu sneered. Thank you for your kindness, Palace Lord Taiwa. Gu Hai nodded. Taichu sneered and turned to look around. All around, monsters heard the commotion and quickly gathered. The Dragon Warring Kingdom has raised an army to attack the Solar Divine Palace. They have overestimated themselves. From today onwards, I will lead the disciples of the Solar Divine Palace to defend against the invasion and destroy the dragon demons. Absolute Beginning shouted coldly. Yes. Countless monster kings answered. Kong Xian looked up at Emperor Dong's palace. Tai seemed to have acquiesced to Taichu's order. Yes. Kong Xian nodded with a trace of reluctance. Crown Prince Luya, let me deal with Gu Hai for now. What do you think? Taichu smiled at Luya. Since it's father's order, I have nothing to say. Luya narrowed his eyes and nodded. Luya wanted to hand Gu Hai over to Taichu, but Gu Hai suddenly looked at Luya. Crown Prince Luya, I obtained your trust and unsealed my seal. I was prepared to kill Kong Xian. However, things have changed. With Taichu watching, I can't kill Kong Xian anymore. I'll have to trouble you to reseal the seal that you unsealed. Gu Hai suddenly said to Luya. Luya. Kong Xian. Taichu. The demon kings, angels, Yin Hua, and Yi Hua all had strange expressions on their faces. If it wasn't for Taiwa saving you, you would have been killed by Kong Xian 100 times. Now you're boasting that you can kill Kong Xian? Are you kidding me? Humph, you overestimate yourself. This is what you asked for. Only this crown prince can undo this crown prince's seal. Luya gave a cold snort. Bam, bam, bam. Just like when he sealed Gu Hai in the past. Luya tapped a few more times on Gu Hai's body. Buzz! It was as if a golden net had locked Gu Hai and entered Gu Hai's body. Humph, if it wasn't for Master, would you still be alive? Kong Xian looked coldly at Gu Hai. Taichu reached out and grabbed Gu Hai. He checked. Buzz! A golden net appeared on Gu Hai's body. Crown Prince Luya, your sealing technique is really unique. Taichu frowned. Luya nodded and rushed into the sky. He rushed to the branches of the Fusang giant tree. There was a floating city there, and Crown Prince Luya flew into it. Yanhua, bring Gu Hai back to Heaven City, Taichu said in a deep voice. Yes. Yanhua immediately stepped forward. Father, I'll do it, I'll do it. Yihua also shouted excitedly. Gu Hai was immediately escorted by a group of angels and flew to a huge city in the sky. There were a total of 49 cities on the branches of the Fusang giant tree. At this moment, there was no first ray of sunlight in the morning, so they couldn't see the Fusang giant tree. Similarly, every city seemed to be covered by a large amount of clouds and mist. Other than the people nearby, they couldn't tell where the city was at all. So, Heaven City isn't a floating city, but a city supported by a branch of the Fusang giant tree? And it's at the bottom of the city? Gu Hai narrowed his eyes. At this moment, there was no first ray of sunlight in the morning, so they couldn't see the Fusang giant tree. Similarly, every city seemed to be covered by a large amount of clouds and mist. Other than the people nearby, they couldn't tell where the city was at all. So, Heaven City isn't a floating city, but a city supported by a branch of the Fusang giant tree? And it's at the bottom of the city? Gu Hai narrowed his eyes. Gu Hai, you've already become a prisoner, and you still have the mind to care about Heaven City? Yanhua sneered. Humph, you also have a day like this. Along the way, you made us wear shackles every day. Today you also have a taste of shackles. Yihua sneered. Immediately, he took out a very heavy shackle and forced Gu Hai to wear it. The shackle was heavy. If his cultivation wasn't sealed, it wouldn't be a big deal. But now, Gu Hai's cultivation was sealed by Crown Prince Luya, and he was like immortal, so the shackle was as heavy as a mountain. Gu Hai put on the shackle and sat aside extremely quietly. He didn't say anything to the two of them, as if he couldn't be bothered to speak to them. Humph, there are many demons here. When we reach Heaven City, we'll teach you a lesson. Yihua said coldly. The Fusang giant tree was too big. With the speed of the flying boat, it would take a long time to reach it. Gu Hai closed his eyes and leaned against the railing of the deck, ignoring everyone. Hall leader, it's all Ao Shun's fault. Ao Shun was imprisoned on the other side, looking guilty. Unfortunately, Gu Hai ignored everyone. Gu Hai's mind sank into his body. Everyone thought that Gu Hai was disheartened, but they didn't know that Gu Hai had found a hope to escape. When Luya first sealed him, he set up a golden net restriction that Gu Hai couldn't undo. But when Luya undid it, a strange unsealing energy instantly undid Gu Hai's golden net restriction. The moment it was undone, there was a slight remnant of the unsealing energy. Gu Hai didn't disperse it. Instead, he forced it into his dantian and into the heaven mending pool. The heaven mending pool instantly repaired it. Soon, Gu Hai had repaired a portion of the unsealing energy. This was also the reason why Gu Hai asked Luya to seal him again. It was because Luya's seal could already be undone by Gu Hai himself. Also, absolute beginning wouldn't make the unnecessary move of sealing it again. Ordinary energy couldn't break Luya's seal, but this unsealing energy could. Gu Hai instantly released it. Bam! A muffled sound came from Gu Hai's body. The seal was undone. However, Gu Hai restrained his aura, so that no one could see that the seal was undone. Gu Hai continued to sit there with his eyes closed. Yihua continued to threaten Gu Hai along the way. Heaven City. Go in. The escorting angel escorted Gu Hai into a rainy valley. This is a prison. Where's Ao Shun? Gu Hai frowned as he looked around. Ao Shun? He's locked up somewhere else. This is where you're locked up. Go in. The escorting angel shouted. Once he entered the valley, Gu Hai immediately felt waves of killing intent coming from all directions. Around the valley, there was a group of prisoners curled up. There were all kinds of demon beasts, and they seemed to have sealed their cultivation. All of them had a large number of wounds on their bodies. They were different from Gu Hai in that they didn't have the shackles on Gu Hai. Chapter 687. Luya flew up the Fusang tree. In a huge city. It was Bingheim's prison. Your Highness, the Taichu Palace Master said that no one is allowed to see Bingheim. Aye aye. A few men who looked like guards stopped Luya. Oh, I won't allow it either. Luya's tone suddenly turned cold. The few guards immediately quivered. Aye. A guard still wanted to argue. Luya glared. It was as if a ray of saber energy shot out from his eyes. Boom! The guard's body suddenly exploded from the saber energy in Luya's eyes. Your Highness, please forgive us. The other guards immediately knelt down. Luya didn't even look at the others, and walked toward the prison. The guards knelt on the ground, trembling. But no one dared to stop him. In the prison, Bingheim sat cross-legged. Luya walked over and Bingheim opened her eyes slightly. Did you hear the sound outside? Luya said in a deep voice. The sound outside was naturally the sound of Taiwa protecting Gu Hai. At that time, the loud sound of the battle shook the entire Fusang tree. How could she not hear it? Bingheim looked at Luya with a gloomy face. But she didn't expect Luya to really capture Gu Hai. Back then, when Luya wanted to kill Gu Hai, Bingheim said that she wanted Luya to capture Gu Hai and follow Luya, because this could remind Gu Hai, and let Gu Hai deal with Luya. But she didn't expect Luya to be so powerful. It's time for you to fulfill your promise. In the future, you will follow me. Now, you can go out with me. Luya said coldly. After a moment of silence, Bingheim shook her head. Huh? Luya's face turned cold. Mother is dead. I don't care anymore. Now there's the Emperor. You captured him, but he ran away. Bingheim said in a deep voice. Run. How? He is imprisoned in Heaven City. Luya said solemnly. That's not because you captured His Majesty. In my heart, as long as His Majesty is fine, I will listen to you. But now, His Majesty's life and death is not up to you to decide. Bingheim looked at Luya coldly. What do you want? Luya asked in a deep voice. Bring His Majesty with me. I can follow you. Bingheim said in a deep voice. Luya stared at Bingheim. After a while Luya sneered. All right, I'll listen to you this time. Bingheim's eyes lit up. Come with me. You don't have to stay in this prison anymore. Luya said solemnly. Leave. Of course. Let's go to Heaven City and pick up Gu Hai. Luya said solemnly. Bingheim's eyes lit up and she nodded. Luya walked in front and Bingheim walked behind. Crown Prince, don't Bingheim can't be taken away. We can't explain it to her. Suddenly, a large number of prison guards ran out in horror. Treasure, please turn around. Luya snorted coldly. From the Immortal slaying gourd, an Immortal slaying flying knife suddenly flew out. As soon as the Immortal slaying flying knife came out, the light suddenly illuminated the entire prison canyon. Swoosh! The Immortal slaying flying knife flew out, and soon flew back into the Immortal slaying gourd. The knife light converged and immediately, nearly 100 heads flew out. The 100 prison guards who came forward to stop all had their heads fall to the ground. When the prison guards who came from all directions saw this scene, they instantly quivered. No one dared to interrupt, and they all knelt down. This Crown Prince doesn't like to talk too much. All right, the road is clear, let's go. Luya said coldly. Bingheim, and Luya stepped on the corpses, and slowly walked out of the prison. Heaven City. Evil Valley Prison. The bone knife slashed out. Bang! Yihua's head flew out in an instant. The Life Ender saber carried with it a black aura. In the black aura, countless small skeletons crazily gnawed at Yihua's flesh. No! Yihua screamed. The Life Ender saber is gone. But I still have the Life Ender saber. Gu Hai smiled coldly, and looked at the other 5 angels. The 5 angels were instantly stunned. Heaven City. Evil Valley Prison. The bone knife slashed out. Bang! Yihua's head flew out in an instant. The Life Ender saber carried with it a black aura. In the black aura, countless small skeletons crazily gnawed at Yihua's flesh. No! Yihua screamed. The Life Ender Saber is gone. But I still have the Life Ender Saber. Gu Hai smiled coldly and looked at the other 5 angels. The 5 angels were instantly stunned. Only when Gu Hai charged at the 5 angels did the 5 angels manage to react. He killed the second young master? No, save the second young master. Someone! All the angels screamed. However, Gu Hai was extremely fast. In an instant, he was in front of 2 angels who were leaning against each other. Screech! The Life Ender Saber slashed through the 2 of them, leaving behind a black aura. Gu Hai immediately rushed toward the remaining 3 angels who were scattered. Screech! When another angel's head was slashed open, the remaining 2 angels realized that something was wrong. Oh no! Let's go and find the second young master. Gu Hai is rebelling. Someone help! The 2 angels fled in fear. However, Gu Hai was faster. He caught up with one of the 2 winged angels in an instant. Boom! With one slash, Gu Hai killed the 2 winged angel. Only 1 angel was left. The angel seemed to know that there was no way to escape. He screamed in fear. Someone help! Gu Hai is escaping! The angel roared with all his strength, but strangely, his voice did not travel out of the room. What's wrong? The angel's expression changed. It's been 1 night. Do you think I haven't done anything? Call for the others. If you could, the prisoners and guards last night would have been able to do the same. What a pity. I've already set up a sound barrier array here, Gu Hai said coldly. Screech! He stabbed the angel between his eyebrows. Buzz! The black aura quickly gnawed at the angels and Yihua's corpses. Very soon, all the angels and Yihua's corpses were eaten until only their bones were left. The black aura returned to the Life Ender Saber. Gu Hai walked to where Yihua's bones were. Crack! Gu Hai broke off one of Yihua's bony little fingers. Then, he gently took out a few peacock feathers and stuck them in the gap between the bony fingers. Bang! Gu Hai instantly crushed the remaining Yihua white bones and the angel white bones into powder. Then, he gently scattered the powder into the surrounding soil. When the rain fell on them, the bone powder merged with the soil and disappeared. It was as if nothing had happened. The only thing that could prove it was Yihua's bony finger, with a few peacock feathers stuck between it. Heh! I don't need you to prove anything. I just need Tai Chu to suspect something. I just need to escape and disappear. Then, Yihua's death will be pointed at Kong Xian, Gu Hai said with a cold smile. As he sneered, he threw the bony finger into the forest. He kept the spiritual stones that were used to set up the array, and was about to leave. Just as Gu Hai was about to leave, beams of holy light came from afar. Eldest young master, it's over there. Prince Luya, Gu Hai is being held in the Evil Valley. A series of hurried voices came from afar. Damn it! Gu Hai's face darkened. He was about to escape when Luya and the others came. While Gu Hai was frustrated, he could only put the shackles on himself again. He activated the heaven mending power. Instantly, the broken shackles were repaired. There's still Luya's golden net seal. Luckily, I have some of the golden net seal. Gu Hai took a deep breath. The heaven mending power repaired the golden net seal. Buzz! Gu Hai immediately used the energy of the golden net to seal his cultivation, and curled up under the big rock. Gu Hai closed his eyes and pretended to be unconscious. Boom! A beam of holy light descended on the Evil Valley. The surrounding dark rain was instantly dispersed by the holy light. A flying boat appeared in midair. Yanhua, Luya, Bingheim, and a group of angels stood on the flying boat. Where's the guardian? Yanhua glared. No, we don't know. A few angels said in fear. Go, call Yihua to see me. If Gu Hai runs away, who's going to be responsible? Yanhua glared. Looking at the valley, Yanhua was completely enraged. Gu Hai was the only one in this huge prison valley. He could have run away so easily. Luya narrowed his eyes. Gu Hai was asleep. What happened here? Your Majesty. Bingheim suddenly cried out with heartache. Gu Hai's current appearance did not have any of his usual aura. His clothes were tattered, his cultivation was sealed, and he was still wearing shackles. Was he curled up in a corner and asleep? Boom! A large number of angels rushed into the valley. At the same time, many angels flew in all directions. Haha Yanhua, father asked Tai Chu to guard Gu Hai. He's really guarding him well. Luya said coldly. Crown Prince Luya. I will definitely investigate thoroughly. Yanhua said anxiously. Everyone was also puzzled at this moment. Why did the prison become like this? Luya was one step faster and went to Gu Hai. He reached out and pinched Gu Hai. Buzz! A golden net appeared on Gu Hai's body. Oh, my seal is still there. Gu Hai is only unconscious. Luya's expression darkened. With a start, Gu Hai suddenly sobered up. What's going on? Gu Hai stared at Luya. Luya also narrowed his eyes and stared at Gu Hai, as if he wanted to see the truth from Gu Hai's eyes. However, it was not so easy to see through Gu Hai's eyes. Gu Hai, what happened here? Where are the prisoners? And where are the guards? Yanhua stared and shouted. Gu Hai stood up blankly and looked around. How would I know? I just came here and a black gas covered the valley. After that, I don't know. Gu Hai shook his head. Black gas? What black gas? Yanhua stared. Gu Hai looked at Yanhua coldly, as if he was unwilling to say. Your Majesty, how are you? Bingheim quickly went forward and looked at Gu Hai worriedly. Bingheim, are you okay? Gu Hai looked happy. Your Majesty, I'm sorry. It's all my fault. Bingheim cried and looked at Gu Hai. Why are you crying? It's not your fault. Gu Hai comforted her. Young master, we can't find second young master. An angel flew over. Look again. I just went to father's place and he's gone. Yanhua glared. Yes. All the angels flew away. Yanhua stared at Gu Hai, as if she wanted to see something in Gu Hai's eyes. Even Luya could not see it, let alone Yanhua. All right, Yanhua. I've already told Tai Chu that Gu Hai will be under my watch for now. Don't worry, I won't kill him. Luya said. Father said so, but what exactly happened here? Only Gu Hai is still here, I think. Yanhua said with a frown. There's nothing for you to think about. Gu Hai was sealed by me. Who can undo his seal? He must have fainted. You can investigate the rest yourself. Luya said coldly. With a wave of his sleeve, Gu Hai and Bingheim were swept up and flew out of Heaven City. Looking at the light that Luya left, Yanhua's expression was dark. Find. Get Yihua to see me. Yes, all the angels answered. Chapter 688. 50 million miles north of the Solar Divine Palace. The 33 cities of the Heavenly Court were flying quickly. In the Lingxiao Palace, Long Zhanghua wore a crown and a white dragon robe. He sat on the dragon throne and tapped his fingers on the armrest as he looked down at the officials. The three princes, the dragon race's supremes and Sima Zongheng, stood at the front of the two rows, while the officials stood respectfully behind them. Long Zhanghua, the Solar Divine Palace sent news that Ao Shun has been captured by Tai Chu. Tai Chu seems to want to use Ao Shun to threaten you? Long Zhanghua looked at the dragon race's supremes, Ao Tianhuang. Ao Tianhuang stepped forward and took a deep breath. His Holiness, Ao Shun's luck is bad. He can't blame others. His Holiness, don't worry. The North Sea Dragon Palace is leading the dragons this time. We've already given up on life and death. We'll share honor and disgrace with the Deqian. Long Zhanghua stared at Ao Tianhuang for a while and nodded. All right. If that's the case, I'll appoint Ao Tianhuang as the vanguard commander. Ao Tianhuang will lead the dragons to attack Tai Chu. Ao Tianhuang, accept the decree. Ao Tianhuang immediately roared. Tai Chu didn't perform well in the Heavenly Court, but this is his home ground after all. He has luck. Moreover, he has the 10th Dharma treasure in the world, 10 Direction Annihilation. Ao Tianhuang, don't let your guard down. Long Zhanghua said. His Holiness, don't worry. Ao Tianhuang replied. Long Zhanghua nodded. Solar Divine Palace's 361 Heavenly Palace Monster Kings are all extraordinary. They're the strongest monster kings that Tai Yi chose to subdue. They're given 361 monster stars and can set up the Heavenly Cycle star formation. They're powerful and are one of Tai Yi's arms. Long Zhanghua said. At this moment, Sima Zongheng stepped out from the crowd. I, Sima Zongheng, request to be the vanguard and lead the Deqian army. Dozhan Heavenly Star Formation, Sima Zongheng said in a deep voice. This subject is willing to follow Grand Preceptor Sima. This subject is willing to be the vanguard to destroy the stars for His Holiness. For a time, a large number of valiant generals in the imperial court asked for battle. Solar Divine Palace had a strong foundation, and the Deqian Celestial Dynasty was not weak either. Although the Deqian Celestial Dynasty had been established for thousands of years, the Deqian Celestial Dynasty was a place where all the strong cultivators in the world could gather. At this moment, all of them were filled with fighting spirit. Appoint Sima Zongheng as the vanguard of the left path, Commander Day 1. He will lead the Heavenly Court's 33rd Army and immediately battle the 361 demon kings of the Solar God Palace. He will break the Heavenly Cycle Star Formation, Long Zhonghua instructed. Yes, we will definitely not disappoint you, Sima Zongheng, and a large number of officials responded, reporting to His Holiness. First Crown Prince Long Shuning stepped forward. Long Zhonghua looked at Long Shining. Eastern Sovereign Tai has two arms besides Taichu and Taiwa. One is the Heavenly Cycle Star Formation, and the other is the 10 Golden Crow Princes. The 10 Golden Crow Princes can set up the 10 Sun Sky Traversing Formation with overwhelming power. This subject, Long Shining, requests to battle the 10 Golden Crow Princes. Long Shining said. This subject, Long Shinwen, requests to battle the 10 Golden Crow Princes. Second Crown Prince Long Shunwen also said. This subject, Takashi Ryushin, requests to battle the 10 Golden Crow Princes. Third Crown Prince also said. Long Shen-ing will be the vanguard of the right path, Commander Day 1. Long Shenwen and Takashi Ryushin will be the vice marshals of the right path. From today onwards, lead your respective troops and kill the Golden Crow Princes. Long Zhonghua said. Yes, the three Crown Princes responded. As they approached Sun God Shrine, Long Zhonghua continued to issue military orders. In an instant, all 33 cities in the Heavenly Court were mobilized. Long Zhonghua had to stay in the Heavenly Court, and Long Zhonghua's target was Eastern Sovereign Tai. The army quickly gathered and prepared to attack Sun God Shrine. Heavenly Stellar City, Longchen Hall. Ao Tianhuang sat in the center of the hall, as a group of Dragon Tribe members respectfully reported the news from Sun God Shrine. Ao Shun, was he accidentally captured? Ao Tianhuang said with an ugly expression. Gu Hai was also captured. Not long ago, there was a huge battle under the Fusang tree. Tai, Crown Prince Ao Shun is being closely guarded. A Dragon Tribe member said worriedly. Sovereign, that's Crown Prince Ao Shun. If we rush in like this, Taichu will definitely kill him. Sovereign, if we go now, what about the Crown Prince? The elders of the Dragon Tribe were anxious. Ao Tianhuang also frowned. Ao Tianhuang had said resolutely in the Lingxiao Treasure Hall. But how could he not care about his son, who he cared about the most? After a moment of silence, Ao Tianhuang sighed. Perhaps this is fate. Shun'er is unlucky. I can only hope that I can find Shun'er's soul in the future. What? Sovereign, you're giving up on Crown Prince Ao Shun? The elders asked anxiously. Remember, don't have any other thoughts this time. If His Holiness succeeds, even if you die in battle, His Holiness can control the reincarnation of heaven and earth and revive you. Ao Shun is dead. He will be revived soon. Ao Tianhuang said with a ferocious expression. Yes, the elders were helpless. Report. A guard rushed into the Longchen Hall. Sovereign, there is the Crown Prince of the Han Dynasty, Guqin outside. He said that he has a way to save Crown Prince Ao Shun. The guard said respectfully. Oh, let him in. Ao Tianhuang's eyes lit up. Soon, Guqin and Montez stepped into the Longchen Hall. The Crown Prince of the Han Dynasty Guqin greets Sovereign Ao Shun. Guqin solemnly bowed to Ao Shun. Meng Tai followed suit and bowed. Guqin, why are you looking for me? Ao Tianhuang asked in a deep voice. Time is of the essence, so I won't beat around the bush with Supremacy Ao. My great Han Dynasty's experts have also come to assist Supremacy Ao in rescuing Crown Prince Ao Shun, and my imperial father. Guqin solemnly declared. Gu Hai. You are well informed. You know about the Solar God Shrine. Ao Tianhuang said in a deep voice. Yes, although the Dahan Dynasty has many experts, They are not as strong as the solar god shrine. Ao Shun and my father are in the heavenly city. I have a plan to save them. I only ask for your cooperation, Guqin solemnly said. Ao Tianhuang squinted his eyes and said, How can I trust you? Sovereign Ao, this is my plan. Please take a look. Chapter 688. 50 million miles north of the Solar Divine Palace. The 33 cities of the Heavenly Court were flying quickly. In the Lingxiao Palace, Long Zhonghua wore a crown and a white dragon robe. He sat on the dragon throne and tapped his fingers on the armrest as he looked down at the officials. The three princes, the dragon race's supremes and Sima Zongheng, stood at the front of the two rows, while the officials stood respectfully behind them. Long Zhonghua, the Solar Divine Palace sent news that Ao Shun has been captured by Tai Chu. Tai Chu seems to want to use Ao Shun to threaten you? Long Zhonghua looked at the dragon race's supremes, Ao Tianhuang. Ao Tianhuang stepped forward and took a deep breath. His Holiness, Ao Shun's luck is bad. He can't blame others. His Holiness, don't worry. The North Sea Dragon Palace is leading the dragons this time. We've already given up on life and death. We'll share honor and disgrace with the Deqian. Long Zhonghua stared at Ao Tianhuang for a while and nodded. All right. If that's the case, I'll appoint Ao Tianhuang as the vanguard commander. Ao Tianhuang will lead the dragons to attack Tai Chu. Ao Tianhuang, accept the decree. Ao Tianhuang immediately roared. Tai Chu didn't perform well in the Heavenly Court, but this is his home ground after all. He has luck. Moreover, he has the 10th Dharma treasure in the world, 10 Direction Annihilation. Ao Tianhuang, don't let your guard down. Long Zhonghua said. His Holiness, don't worry. Ao Tianhuang replied. Long Zhonghua nodded. Solar Divine Palace's 361 Heavenly Palace Monster Kings are all extraordinary. They're the strongest monster kings that Tai Yi chose to subdue. They're given 361 monster stars and can set up the Heavenly Cycle star formation. They're powerful and are one of Tai Yi's arms. Long Zhonghua said. At this moment, Sima Zongheng stepped out from the crowd. I, Sima Zongheng, request to be the vanguard and lead the Deqian army. Dozhan Heavenly Star Formation, Sima Zongheng said in a deep voice. This subject is willing to follow Grand Preceptor Sima. This subject is willing to be the vanguard to destroy the stars for His Holiness. For a time, a large number of valiant generals in the imperial court asked for battle. Solar Divine Palace had a strong foundation, and the Deqian Celestial Dynasty was not weak either. Although the Deqian Celestial Dynasty had been established for thousands of years, the Deqian Celestial Dynasty was a place where all the strong cultivators in the world could gather. At this moment, all of them were filled with fighting spirit. Appoint Sima Zongheng as the vanguard of the left path, Commander Day 1. He will lead the Heavenly Court's 33rd Army and immediately battle the 361 demon kings of the Solar God Palace. He will break the Heavenly Cycle star formation, Long Zhonghua instructed. Yes, we will definitely not disappoint you, Sima Zongheng, and a large number of officials responded. Reporting to His Holiness, First Crown Prince Long Shening stepped forward. Long Zhonghua looked at Long Shening. Eastern Sovereign Tai Yi has two arms besides Tai Chu and Taiwa. One is the Heavenly Cycle Star Formation, and the other is the 10 Golden Crow Princes. The 10 Golden Crow Princes can set up the 10 Sun Sky Traversing Formation with overwhelming power. This subject, Long Shening, requests to battle the 10 Golden Crow Princes. Long Shening said. This subject, Long Shenwen, requests to battle the 10 Golden Crow Princes. Second Crown Prince Long Shenwen also said. This subject, Takeshi Ryushin, requests to battle the 10 Golden Crow Princes. Third Crown Prince also said. Long Shening will be the vanguard of the right path, Commander Day 1. Long Shenwen and Takeshi Ryushin will be the vice-marshals of the right path. From today onwards, lead your respective troops and kill the Golden Crow Princes. Long Zhonghua said. Yes. The 3 Crown Princes responded. As they approached Sun God Shrine, Long Zhonghua continued to issue military orders. In an instant, all 33 cities in the Heavenly Court were mobilized. Long Zhonghua had to stay in the Heavenly Court and Long Zhongguo's target was Eastern Sovereign Tai. The army quickly gathered and prepared to attack Sun God Shrine. Heavenly Stellar City Longchen Hall. Ao Tianhuang sat in the center of the hall, as a group of Dragon Tribe members respectfully reported the news from Sun God Shrine. Ao Shun? Was he accidentally captured? Ao Tianhuang said with an ugly expression. Gu Hai was also captured. Not long ago, there was a huge battle under the Fusang tree. Tai, Crown Prince Ao Shun is being closely guarded. A Dragon Tribe member said worriedly. Sovereign, that's Crown Prince Ao Shun. If we rush in like this, Tai Chu will definitely kill him. Sovereign, if we go now, what about the Crown Prince? The elders of the Dragon Tribe were anxious. Ao Tianhuang also frowned. Ao Tianhuang had said resolutely in the Lingxiao Treasure Hall. But how could he not care about his son, who he cared about the most? After a moment of silence, Ao Tianhuang sighed. Perhaps this is fate. Shun-er is unlucky. I can only hope that I can find Shun-er's soul in the future. What? Sovereign, you're giving up on Crown Prince Ao Shun? The elders asked anxiously. Remember, don't have any other thoughts this time. If His Holiness succeeds, even if you die in battle, His Holiness can control the reincarnation of heaven and earth and revive you. Ao Shun is dead? He will be revived soon. Ao Tianhuang said with a ferocious expression. Yes, the elders were helpless. Report. A guard rushed into the Longchen Hall. Sovereign, there is the Crown Prince of the Han Dynasty, Guqin outside. He said that he has a way to save Crown Prince Ao Shun. The guard said respectfully. Oh, let him in. Ao Tianhuang's eyes lit up. Soon Guqin and Montez stepped into the Longchen Hall. The Crown Prince of the Han Dynasty, Guqin, greets Sovereign Ao Shun. Guqin solemnly bowed to Ao Shun. Meng Tai followed suit and bowed. Guqin, why are you looking for me? Ao Tianhuang asked in a deep voice. Time is of the essence, so I won't beat around the bush with Supremacy Ao. My great Han Dynasty's experts have also come to assist Supremacy Ao in rescuing Crown Prince Ao Shun, and my imperial father. Guqin solemnly declared. Gu Hai. If you are well informed, you know about the Solar God Shrine. Ao Tianhuang said in a deep voice. Yes, although the Dahan Dynasty has many experts, they are not as strong as the Solar God Shrine. Ao Shun and my father are in the Heavenly City. I have a plan to save them. I only ask for your cooperation. Guqin solemnly said. Ao Tianhuang squinted his eyes and said, How can I trust you? Sovereign Ao, this is my plan. Please take a look. Guqin took out a bamboo scroll and handed it to Ao Tianhuang. Ao Tianhuang took it doubtfully and opened it gently. It was filled with small words. Ao Tianhuang's pupil shrank when he saw the words. He then squinted his eyes and thought about the possibility of the words on the bamboo scroll. Sovereign Ao, time is of the essence. Once the two armies fight, there will be no more chance. Guqin said anxiously. Good. Gu Hai's son is not to be trifled with. I have underestimated you. Ao Tianhuang stared at Guqin. You want to save Ao Shun, and we want to save our father. We will each take what we need. Guqin smiled. We will do as you say. Ao Tianhuang said in a deep voice. Heavenly City. Evil Valley. A large number of angels were guarding this place. Holy light soared into the sky. Yanhua was standing respectfully behind Tai Chu. Tai Chu waved his hand, and countless white powder suddenly appeared from the ground. The powder quickly gathered, and gradually, the powder gathered to form 500 skeletons. Skeletons? These skeletons? Father, those prisoners and guards who disappeared were killed? And Yihua? Yanhua's expression changed. Tai Chu's expression was extremely gloomy. He did not refute, but silently agreed with what Yanhua said. Slap. Suddenly, a small finger flew out from the forest and landed on one of the skeletons. Yihua is not inside, right? Father, Yihua is not dead? Yanhua said anxiously. This is Yihua. Tai Chu looked coldly at the skeleton in front of him. This is Yihua. Yanhua gasped and his expression changed. Second young master. Suddenly countless angels knelt down. Yihua. He has been resurrected once. He can't be resurrected again. Is he dead? Yanhua's expression also turned cold. Are you sure that Gu Hai was the only one left in the valley? Tai Chu said coldly. Yes, only Gu Hai was there. It was him. He killed Yihua. Yanhua said angrily. Tai Chu suddenly turned and looked coldly at Yanhua. Ridiculous. What? Yanhua's expression froze. I've checked Luya's seal. Even I can't break it. Gu Hai's cultivation was sealed and shackled. How could he kill so many prisoners and angels? How could he kill Yihua? Tai Chu said coldly. Yanhua's expression froze. Moreover, if Gu Hai killed Yihua, why would he stay in the valley and wait for you? Tai Chu said coldly. I don't know. Yanhua's expression changed. If they came to save Gu Hai, they would naturally take Gu Hai away. But Gu Hai did not leave. Are they trying to frame Gu Hai? Is the person who killed Yihua Gu Hai's enemy? Tai Chu's expression darkened. But how could Gu Hai's enemy enter Heaven City? The 4 directions black angels are always guarding the 4 directions. Yanhua said anxiously. Gu Hai's enemy? Tai Chu looked at Yihua's white bones, and suddenly saw a strand of green hair between the gaps of the bones. The hair was very thin. Tai Chu pinched it gently, and narrowed his eyes at the green hair. Is this a peacock's feather? Yanhua's expression darkened. Peacock? Impossible. The great Myojin would not kill Yihua to frame Gu Hai. It's not Kong Xian, Tai Chu said solemnly. Father, Heaven City is heavily guarded. Other than Kong Xian, who else could sneak in? Yanhua shouted angrily. Allah! I remember that when Gu Hai confronted Kong Xian that day, he said that Kong Xian was the spy of the Longzhonghua. Yes, Allah, I heard it too. The surrounding angels shouted. Shut up. Remember, it's not Kong Xian. It's someone else. Tai Chu shouted coldly. Yes. Yanhua and the rest of the angels replied. Although Tai Chu repeatedly emphasized that it was not Kong Xian, his heart suddenly skipped a beat. Kong Xian was Tai Yi's most trusted person. That was why Tai Yi gave Kong Xian the right to control the cosmic cycle star formation. What if Kong Xian betrayed them? Tai Chu's hair stood on end in an instant. This world also gave him an incarnation? How big was the body and soul? The life-ender saber in his hand also grew bigger. Gu Hai lowered his head and looked at the ferocious pig demon in the valley. Previously, the pig demon was a giant in front of Gu Hai. But now, the pig demon was smaller than one of Gu Hai's feet. Boom! Gu Hai stepped on the pig demon's body. Don't eat me, I'm innocent, I didn't know, great God, I didn't know you were so powerful. The pig demon screamed in fear. Where is this? Gu Hai asked solemnly. I don't know. I only know that in this place, the human soul and divine body decide the size and power. The pig demon said in fear. Human soul? Divine body? Divine body? Gu Hai stared at the pig demon. I'm a pig demon king from the outskirts of the holy land of Mount Spirit Mountain, the pig demon said. I was lucky enough to cultivate a god and subjugate a bunch of pig demons. I ate a small town and was wiped out by the holy land of Mount Spirit Mountain. At first I thought I was dead, but then somehow, my mortal soul and the god I cultivated arrived here. My god and mortal soul fused together, and I became about 5 meters tall. Then some power in heaven and earth remolded my demon body. Oh, how big was your human soul in the past? Gu Hai asked solemnly. My human soul used to be only 5 inches tall. It took me 300 years to grow to 3 feet tall. My pig deity allowed me to grow to 3 feet tall. But why are you so big? Didn't you go to the heavenly palace? The pig demon asked in fear. You eat people. Gu Hai stared at the pig demon. No, it has nothing to do with me. All the demon gods here eat humans. Every once in a while, someone will come into this world for no reason. We can only grow by eating humans and their souls. The pig demon said in horror. Hiss! Gu Hai slashed at the pig demon. The pig demon's skin was still tough. But at this moment, Gu Hai's knife could already cut a hole in it. Ha 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 ha. Suddenly, black gas gushed out from the bone knife, and it opened its mouth to eat the pig demon. Ah! The pig demon was in pain, and in the blink of an eye, It was swallowed by the skeleton in the black gas. However, the bone knife didn't seem to eat anything for a long time. The pig demon's human soul and his negative karma were swallowed by the pool of karma. The bone knife only ate the white spot between the pig demon's eyebrows. The white spot looked like the pig demon, and it wanted to escape in fear. However, it was digested by the bone knife in the blink of an eye. This small white spot had a strange energy, and it was like a great supplement, making the bone knife tremble excitedly. This time, the bone knife slightly refined the energy of the white spot and fed back 1,000th of it to Gu Hai. Buzz! Gu Hai suddenly felt his body shake, and a warm current flowed into his body. Divine power? Divine power? That white spot just now was the pig demon's divine. The monster race cultivates the divine and can command an entire race. There are different kinds of divinities in the divine body. The life ender saber swallowed the divinity and also refined 1,000th of the human soul that was fed back to me. The human soul's power increased again? Gu Hai's eyes flashed with surprise. He walked to the side of a small lake and looked at himself in the lake. His body was blood red, and there was a green halo behind his head. This was the second level of the lower celestial palace that he reached when he killed the Qing emperor. Killing a pig demon just now actually caused a red dot of light to appear behind the green light circle. Killing demons to refine the divine and increase my cultivation? Gu Hai suddenly narrowed his eyes. Roar! Roar! Standing at a high point, Gu Hai looked around. In the distance, there seemed to be countless monster gods killing and killing everywhere. Gu Hai even saw some humans fleeing. In the past, he was a loyal subordinate of the Loach god. Later, he was killed by the Loach god and refined by the Loach god. He also obtained the Yao arts of the Nailhead 7-arrow book, the old witch explained. 50 zhang tall? The bigger the Yao god's body, the stronger they are? Gu Hai asked in a low voice. That's basically the case for Yao gods. But to us humans, we can't compete with them in terms of size. We can only compete with soul power. Unfortunately, it's too difficult to increase soul power. The old witch explained. Increase soul power? Gu Hai narrowed his eyes. The old witch nodded. The tallest soul body in the human race is only 30 zhang tall. The soul power they can store is limited. Senior, your soul body is so big. After a few thousand years, you will definitely be able to store more soul power. You will be comparable to normal Yao gods. Just as the two were talking, a scream came from outside the cave. Look, Yao god Luya is back. Gu Hai quickly walked out of the cave. Outside the cave, the somewhat dim sun in the sky suddenly gave off a dazzling golden light, becoming very bright. Wah! A crow's cry came from the sun. Luya has come out of seclusion. Is he declaring war? Roar! Suddenly, the roars of powerful Yao gods came from all directions. In an instant, a large number of Yao gods rushed into the sky and pounced on the sun. Boom! A beam of light shot down from the sun, revealing the three-legged golden crow. It was 1,000 zhang tall. On the head of the golden crow, Gu Hai saw a white ball of light. Within the ball of light was a white three-legged jackdaw. Bingheim! Gu Hai showed a hint of worry. Roar! 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 Countless Yao gods rushed out. Treasure! Luya's three-legged golden crow roared. Be careful of his immortal slaying flying saber. Spread out. The immortal slaying flying saber won't turn back until you see your head. Spread out. Water-type Yao gods attack. You don't have heads. Go. Wood-type Yao gods attack. You won't die even if your heads are chopped off. Hurry. Suddenly a large number of Yao gods rushed into the sky. At this moment, Luya opened his mouth and spat out 3 gourds. Immortal Slaying Gourd, Vine Realm Gourd and True Fire Gourd. A large number of flying sabers flew out of the Immortal Slaying Gourd. Boom! A large amount of True Samadhi Fire flew out of the True Fire Gourd. Whoosh! Billions of vines suddenly emerged from the Vine World Gourd. My gourd! Gu Hai narrowed his eyes. He saw the Yao gods in the sky suddenly suffer a destructive blow. The 3 gourds were activated by Luya, and their power was even stronger than when Gu Hai used them in the past. Immediately, an overwhelming fire rushed out. destroying all the wood-type and water-type Yao gods. The Yao gods that rushed past the true Samadhi fire were immediately wrapped up by the Vine World Gourd. The Yao gods that broke through the vines were suddenly beheaded by the Immortal slaying gourd. Instantly, the three-legged golden crow opened its mouth and inhaled. Immediately, the gods on the heads of the slaughtered Yao gods were swallowed by the golden crow. The golden crow grew larger, and its body emitted an even stronger heat. Luya, you have a new treasure? How dare you act so presumptuously in my territory? Suddenly a gloomy voice sounded. They saw a giant loach that was 3,000 feet long suddenly soar into the sky. It broke through the true Samadhi fire zone, the vines, and the Immortal slaying flying saber zone to reach Luya. Luya was only 1,000 feet long, but the loach was 3,000 feet long. The loach demon deity opened his mouth and spat out a black hole towards Luya. Old loach, this isn't the last time. The three-legged golden crow shouted coldly and grabbed with its claw. Boom! The huge black hole suddenly wrapped around the three-legged golden crow's huge claw. Loser, your claw was broken by my black hole once. Now it's healed? The loach demon god sneered. Rumble! As expected, Luya's golden crow claw seemed to be unable to hold on. Bingheim, it's your turn. Don't worry, you won't die. Luya said ferociously. Wah! Luya roared and opened his mouth. In the sky above, the white jackdaw hesitated. Luya, if I die, please let His Majesty leave, the white three-legged jackdaw shouted. Sure. Luya shouted. Wah! His mouth opened even wider. Whoosh! The white three-legged jackdaw instantly flew into the three-legged golden crow's mouth, as if it had been swallowed. Bingheim, Gu Hai, who was on the ground, shouted in shock. Eaten? Luya had eaten Bingheim? Released the power of frost. Yin and Yang coexisting technique. Luya roared. Buzz! Suddenly, the flames on the three-legged golden crow's body surged. The three-legged golden crow instantly grew to 3,000 feet long, but most of it was illusory. It was the effect of the flames. Boom! The golden crow clawed and shattered the black hole under its claw. What? Lord Loach's expression changed. The Loach demon god was 3,000 feet long, and the three-legged golden crow was also 3,000 feet long. Immediately, the two demon gods tore at each other. Rumble! For a moment the sky darkened. The two experts were surrounded by storms of energy. The energy wreaked havoc, and the ground trembled. For a moment, no one could see what was inside. Bingheim was eaten by Luya? Gu Hai's expression suddenly twisted. However, at this moment in the sky, it was not something he could interfere with. Boom! 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 After a day and night of fighting, the battle suddenly stopped. Luya couldn't do anything to the Loach demon god, and fled into the sky. Ha 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 ha, old Loach, what do you think? You can't do anything to me, right? I just devoured 368 gods. Just wait until I refine this group of gods and you die. Ha 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 ha. The golden crow laughed heartily as he flew up into the sun. Loach looked at the sky with a cold expression. You swallowed those gods, but the wills of the gods aren't that easy to refine. Forcefully refining them will only make you go crazy. You want to become stronger? It's still early. You can't swallow too much either, right? Let's see who's faster. I have the great yin-yang coexisting technique now. You're not as fast as me. Just wait for your death. Ha 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 ha. Luya's laughter came from the sun. Roar. Loach roared. He suddenly opened his mouth and sucking close to 400 huge demon gods in front of him. Loach demon god, spare us, spare us. The 400 demon gods cried out. Loach demon god opened his mouth and spat out a black hole, crushing the 400 demon gods. Once the demon gods died, their gods were swallowed into Loach demon god's stomach. Humph. Loach demon god snorted coldly and rushed into the mountains, disappearing. The entire world suddenly returned to its calm. Loach demon god has become so strong, the old shaman said in shock. Luya can only eat 300 gods at once. Gu Hai frowned slightly. The old shaman looked at Gu Hai in surprise. Yes, it's a miracle that he can eat so many this time. In the past, he could only eat 30 gods at once. He has become stronger. Wait, if Loch demon god is so strong, he can eat as many gods as he wants. Why did he only eat 400? It's the same for Luya. Why did he only eat 300? Guhai was puzzled. Senior, you don't know? Oh right, you just came. Refining other gods is easy, but every god has their own will. It's easy to swallow divinity, but it's extremely difficult to wear down the will of every god. If you meet a strong god and don't absorb well, your own will be twisted by the other party. Then, you are no longer yourself. The more gods there are, the more will there is. It's not easy to wear down the will. The strongest war god of the human race can only wear down the weakest god at most. There are a few times when he can't wear down the will of a god, and went crazy himself. The old shaman said worriedly. Guhai narrowed his eyes, and immediately thought of the Azura Dao secret realm. Back then, when killing Azuras and obtaining their soul power, one had to digest the will of the Azura. At that time, one had to stop every 3 months to use the Book of Dao to digest. Otherwise, one would become violent, and even become a killing machine. Was the will of devouring gods the same? Needed to be digested? Hard to digest. The Immortal of the Six Paths also wanted this god? Therefore, the demon gods in the Beast Dao mystic realm had to kill each other and slowly refine the strongest demon god. All the Immortal Six Paths had to do was to devour the demon god's soul and refine its will. Others needed to slowly wear down the will of a god, but he didn't. He had the Life Ender Saber. Guhai suddenly narrowed his eyes. After killing a god, the Life Ender Saber could absorb its godly power and refine it. Then it would give him 1,000th of the refined godly power. What was the origin of the Life Ender Saber? Old shaman, I have something to ask of you, Guhai said solemnly. Senior, please tell me. I want Fey gods. I want countless Fey gods. Please contact all the humans and lure the Fey gods to me. I want to kill them. I want to become stronger too. The next time Loch God and Luya fight, I want to be stronger than them. Guhai's eyes flashed with a light. The old shaman said in shock. Chapter 691. In Dragon God Ying's camp. The 3 princes, Dragon God Ying, Long Shenwen, and Takashi Ryushin were all reading a letter. At this moment, the Deqian Celestial Empire shared a common enemy, sharing all news. Guhai has broken through to the lower celestial palace? That's really fast. Takashi Ryushin narrowed his eyes. 490 zhang? Even Sage Father is only 490 zhang, right? Long Shenwen exclaimed. 490 zhang. That's the limit of the lower celestial palace. I thought that only Sage Father could reach it. But who would have thought that this Guhai is so lucky? If I'm not wrong, he must have broken through from the Azura Path's secret realm. Takashi Ryushin narrowed his eyes. Azura Path's secret realm? Guhai is really lucky, haha, his starting point is so high. A trace of jealousy flashed across Long Shenwen's eyes, but Dragon Godding shook his head. No, Guhai is considered a cripple. Oh, big brother, you're saying that Guhai is imprisoned? Will Taichu kill him? Takashi Ryushin asked solemnly. Dragon Godding shook his head. I'm saying that he has broken through to the lower celestial palace, and his human soul has reached 490 zhang. Isn't he a cripple? Why? Takashi Ryushin was puzzled. Long Shenwen, who was at the side, narrowed his eyes and said, That's right. Big brother is right. Guhai is finished. Father did not reach 496 meters in one go. Instead, he slowly matured through his later cultivation. Is there a difference? Takashi Ryushin asked with a frown. Third brother, you're not the main body. This clone is much more foolish. When will your main body return? Dragon Godding asked solemnly. Takashi Ryushin's face stiffened. 3 souls, also known as divine soul. What is the divine soul? How do you cultivate the lower celestial palace? Long Shenwen asked. The soul is the vessel, and the power of divinity is the foundation of cultivation. The bigger the soul, the more divinity it can store. This is a good thing, but it is a bad thing for Guhai. Dragon Shinying said solemnly. For example, when an ordinary person enters the celestial palace, the human soul is like a dried-up pond. As long as the pond is filled with the power of divinity, it will be filled, and one will be able to enter the celestial palace. But Gu Hai was different. Gu Hai's mortal soul was like a dried-up sea. It needed to be filled with the sea of divinity before it could be filled. Tell me, with Gu Hai's current cultivation speed, how long do you think he'll need to fill up this ocean? Long Shumwen sneered. Oh! Takeshi Ryushin's pupils shrank. Sacred Father's mortal soul is also like an ocean. It was not expanded to this size in the lower celestial palace, but in the middle celestial palace, or even the upper celestial palace. With the help of the earth soul and heavenly soul, this ocean will be filled with divinity, and with the help of the immortal dome, Gu Hai will not be able to fill up this ocean in this lifetime. If this ocean is not filled, he will not be able to enter the middle celestial palace. Therefore, I said that he is crippled. He can only stay in the lower celestial palace for the rest of his life. Dragon Shinying sneered. What a pity. Takeshi Ryushin sighed softly. There is no need to feel pity. In 2 days we will reach the Fusang tree. Our people have already sent the battle invitation to the Golden Crow Crown Prince Palace. I believe that the Golden Crow Crown Princes are already waiting for us. Dragon Shinying said solemnly. 10 Golden Crow Crown Princes? Heh. Only that Luya is worth mentioning. The others are nothing. Long Shumwen sneered. Don't underestimate them. Only victory is allowed in this battle. Dragon Shinying said coldly. Yes. The two answered. Beast Path Mystic Realm. With the old shaman in charge of gathering, countless humans were very cooperative. At the very least, Gu Hai had brought a huge hope. He even promised that as long as they succeeded, all humans would return to the divine continent and lure the demon gods. The location was chosen in an extremely deep mountain. The sky was densely covered with dark clouds and miasma. Gu Hai had even set up a large number of sound barriers, in case the sound was too loud. Senior Gu, can you do it? At the peak of a mountain, the old shaman asked worriedly. Don't worry. I only want more, the more the better. Gu Hai said solemnly. Senior, don't worry. I have already informed all the tribes and all the war gods. They are fully responsible for luring the demon gods here. Just as he finished speaking, roar! A loud roar suddenly sounded from afar. A group of humans fled in front, followed by a huge wolf demon god. They are here. The old shaman's eyes lit up. Roar! A loud roar sounded from the other side. Another group of humans had attracted a leopard demon god. Oh no, there are two. What should we do? The old shaman's expression changed. Then, he saw Gu Hai taking a step forward and flying out. When Gu Hai flew out, his human soul came out of his body. As soon as his human soul came out, a boundless blood-colored aura suddenly rolled over. In the blink of an eye, it reformed Gu Hai's human soul into a huge blood-colored body. Ha 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 ha. You human war gods dare to provoke me now. You are courting death. The 5-feet-long wolf demon god sneered. Oh, you even provoked the wolf demon god. You are really courting death. Another 6-feet-long leopard demon god laughed. Boom! The 2 human war gods were instantly knocked to the ground by the demon god's aura. Ah! The war gods fell, and were about to be eaten by the demon gods. Senior! The war gods exclaimed. Senior? No one can save you. Where is the senior? Ha ha ha. The wolf demon god sneered. The wolf demon god opened his mouth, and was about to swallow. Suddenly, a huge shadow shrouded them. The 5-feet-long wolf demon god was slightly stunned. He turned his head to look and suddenly saw a 49-feet-tall giant. I am their senior, Gu Hai said coolly. Shing! The life ender saber suddenly slashed down. Ah! The wolf demon god cried out in shock. A huge wound was immediately cut open. Rumble! Rolling black energy flew out of the life ender saber. A large number of skeletons quickly gnawed at the wolf demon god. No. In the blink of an eye, the wolf demon god was gnawed clean. Perhaps it was too weak, and did not have any bones left. Humans, when did the humans have such a huge human soul? Loch god, something happened. The leopard demon god cried out in shock. Shing! The saber passed, and the leopard demon god's head was instantly cut open. In the blink of an eye, he was shrouded by rolling black energy and gnawed clean by the skeletons. It's useless to shout. There is a soundproof array formation here. Sound can't spread out. Gu Hai said coldly. Chapter 691. In Dragon God Ying's camp. The three princes, Dragon God Ying, Long Shunwen, and Takeshi Ryushin were all reading a letter. At this moment, the Deqian Celestial Empire shared a common enemy, sharing all news. Gu Hai has broken through to the lower celestial palace? That's really fast. Takeshi Ryushin narrowed his eyes. 490 zhang? Even Sage Father is only 490 zhang, right? Long Shunwen exclaimed. 490 zhang. That's the limit of the lower celestial palace. I thought that only Sage Father could reach it. But who would have thought that this Gu Hai is so lucky? If I'm not wrong, he must have broken through from the Azura Path's secret realm. Takeshi Ryushin narrowed his eyes. Azura Path's secret realm? Gu Hai is really lucky, haha. His starting point is so high. A trace of jealousy flashed across Long Shunwen's eyes. But Dragon Goding shook his head. No, Gu Hai is considered a cripple. Oh, big brother, you're saying that Gu Hai is imprisoned? Will Taichu kill him? Takeshi Ryushin asked solemnly. Dragon Goding shook his head. I'm saying that he has broken through to the lower celestial palace, and his human soul has reached 490 zhang. Isn't he a cripple? Why? Takeshi Ryushin was puzzled. Long Shunwen, who was at the side, narrowed his eyes and said, That's right. Big brother is right. Gu Hai is finished. Father did not reach 496 meters in one go. Instead, he slowly matured through his later cultivation. Is there a difference? Takeshi Ryushin asked with a frown. Third brother, you're not the main body. This clone is much more foolish. When will your main body return? Dragon Goding asked solemnly. Takeshi Ryushin's face stiffened. Three souls, also known as divine soul. What is the divine soul? How do you cultivate the lower celestial palace? Long Shunwen asked. The soul is the vessel, and the power of divinity is the foundation of cultivation. The bigger the soul, the more divinity it can store. This is a good thing, but it is a bad thing for Gu Hai. Dragon Shinying said solemnly. For example, when an ordinary person enters the celestial palace, the human soul is like a dried-up pond. As long as the pond is filled with the power of divinity, it will be filled, and one will be able to enter the celestial palace. But Gu Hai was different. Gu Hai's mortal soul was like a dried-up sea. It needed to be filled with the sea of divinity before it could be filled. Tell me, with Gu Hai's current cultivation speed, how long do you think he'll need to fill up this ocean? Long Shunwen sneered. Oh! Takeshi Ryushin's pupil shrank. Sacred Father's mortal soul is also like an ocean. It was not expanded to this size in the lower celestial palace, but in the middle celestial palace, or even the upper celestial palace. With the help of the earth's soul and heavenly soul, this ocean will be filled with divinity, and with the help of the immortal dome, Gu Hai will not be able to fill up this ocean in this lifetime. If this ocean is not filled, he will not be able to enter the middle celestial palace. Therefore, I said that he is crippled. He can only stay in the lower celestial palace for the rest of his life. Dragon Shinying sneered. What a pity. Takeshi Ryushin sighed softly. There is no need to feel pity. In 2 days, we will reach the Fusang tree. Our people have already sent the battle invitation to the Golden Crow Crown Prince Palace. Chapter 692. Wah! The three-legged golden crow suddenly flew down from the sun. When it flew down, it was 600 feet tall, and golden light radiated from its body. Gu Hai understood that the golden light was Luya's divine power. However, there was a white jackdaw above Luya's head. Bingheim, you're still alive? Gu Hai's eyes widened in ecstasy. Bingheim, hurry up and come again. Luya shouted. You said you'd let the emperor go, the white jackdaw said unwillingly. Gu Hai is down there. I don't know where he is. Only by killing Loch God can we find him. Besides, didn't your cultivation increase this time? You've reached the peak of the middle celestial palace in such a short time. Haven't you? Luya said coldly. Ha ha ha, my cultivation did increase, and you gave me a portion of that surging divinity. But why am I still alive? Isn't it because I haven't opened my celestial palace yet? Once I open my celestial palace, it'll be time for you to eat me. The white jackdaw said unwillingly. Oh, you guessed it? Luya said coldly. Great yin and yang coexisting technique. Ha, do you think I can't see through it? You can only get this bit of power from me by force. I haven't opened my celestial palace yet, and you're still unwilling to eat me. Once I open my celestial palace, it'll be my death. Borrowing power from me every time is better than using your own power. Bingheim sneered. What? You still want to resist? Luya said coldly. Resist? I can resist, but if I self-destruct, you'll lose more than you gain. Do you believe me? Bingheim said resolutely. You dare. Luya glared. Bingheim stared at Luya. Don't worry. As long as I find Guhai, I'll definitely let Guhai go. I'll do as I say. Luya compromised in a low voice. Bingheim stared at Luya for a while, then let out a crow's cry and flew toward him. Owa! Luya swallowed Bingheim again. Boom! The flames around Luya's body suddenly soared into the sky. His 600 feet figure instantly grew to 320 feet. Below, Guhai felt as if his heart was being cut by a knife. Bingheim, you don't have to do this. Guhai's eyes were slightly moist as he said bitterly. Old Loach, are you out? Luya roared. Boom! Amidst the rolling blood light, Loach God flew out again. At this moment, Loach Great God had reached a size of 310 feet. Although it was not as big as Luya's, Loach Great God's body was solid. All Yao gods come out! Loach God roared. Rumble! In the blink of an eye, nearly 100,000 demonic deities soared into the sky. They were of varying sizes, some dozens of meters tall, some hundreds of meters tall, and some nearly 600 meters tall. They all followed Grand God Loach into the sky. Demon God, this is not a competition of numbers. Please treasure. Luya shouted. Boom. Suddenly Luya spat out 3 gourds. They were the Immortal Slaying Gourd, the Vine Realm Gourd, and the True Fire Gourd. In an instant, the overwhelming Samadhi True Fire, vines, and Immortal Slaying Flying Daggers rushed toward the demon gods in all directions. Boom. Loach God and Luya also instantly tore at each other. Rumble. The sky was filled with energy storms. The battle was chaotic. Senior Gu, why don't you wait a little longer? We can slowly accumulate in the future. One day, you will become the strongest. The old shaman advised. No today. Guhai's eyes turned cold. He stepped forward and soared into the sky. Senior, be careful. The old shaman and countless human war gods prayed. At the same time, they clenched their fists, waiting for a miracle. With 100,000 demonic deities in the sky, Guhai immediately charged toward the group of demonic deities at the back with the Life-Ender saber. Boom! 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 In an instant 7 or 8 demonic deities' skin were cut open by the Life-Ender saber. The rolling skeletons crazily gnawed at the group of demonic deities. Ah! The group of demonic deities screamed in pain. The demonic deities nearby were shocked by the screams. A human! Bastard! Human, quick, kill him! Since when did the human race have such a powerful war god? Humph, humans are the lowest beings. They are just our food. We eat humans. Humans don't have divinity or the will of gods. Eating them is very nutritious. Immediately, a large number of demonic deities pounced on Guhai. However, the current Guhai was no longer the same person as 10 days ago. The current Guhai could already compete with ordinary demonic deities. Kill, kill, kill. Although Guhai was seriously injured by the demonic deities, the Life-Ender saber would fill his body with surging divinity as long as it devoured a demonic deity. The injury just now healed instantly. Ah, skeleton, save me. Loach God, save me, save me. As Guhai killed, he collected more and more divinity. At first, in the eyes of the demonic deities, Guhai was a great tonic. However, as Guhai killed hundreds of demonic deities, Guhai became a dangerous person. When Guhai killed 2,000 demonic deities at an extremely fast speed, not many demonic deities dared to find trouble with Guhai. A group of top-notch demonic deities were hunting Luya. Screams continued. When Guhai killed 3,000 demonic deities, no demonic deity dared to approach Guhai anymore. Surging blood-red fog surrounded Gu Hai. That was the sin of killing. The powerful sin of killing made the demonic deities flee in fear like a demon. Below, the old witch and the other war gods were so excited that they were trembling all over. He is a human. Senior Gu is a human. That's great, that's great. Senior Gu, nothing must happen to you. The humans prayed excitedly. At that moment, Gu Hai was extremely depressed. Wherever he went, the demonic deities fled. How was he going to kill them? In the distance, Loch God and Luya were fighting when they noticed the abnormality in the distance. However, Gu Hai was shrouded in the bloody fog of killing and couldn't see his figure clearly. Luya couldn't guess that the 49-foot-tall figure was Gu Hai. In Luya's eyes, Gu Hai was already a dead man. Who is this? You are Luya's helper? Loch God suddenly exclaimed. After all, this group of demonic deities was here to kill Luya. Now this humanoid demonic deity shrouded in bloody fog was killing demonic deities? In the distance, Gu Hai's expression changed. He immediately lowered his voice. God Luya, I'm here to help you. Let's work together to kill old Loch. Gu Hai's roar made all the demonic deities' expressions change. Is he really Luya's helper? Loch God's expression changed. Luya was at a loss. Oh, could it be another demonic deity of this world? Has he always been lurking in the past? Ha 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 ha, good, this crown prince will give you a chance to follow. Come kill old Loch with me, Luya said with a big laugh. Luya, I'll stay here. You guys go and tear that blind thing apart for me. Loch God roared. Roar. Immediately, large swathes of demonic deities swarmed toward Gu Hai. Previously, Gu Hai was still fighting some ordinary demonic deities. But now it was powerful demonic deities. Gu Hai was only 49 foot tall, while these great demonic deities were hundreds of feet, even 1,000 feet, or even bigger. They quickly surrounded Gu Hai. Boom! The battle continued. In the blink of an eye, Gu Hai's chest was torn apart by a 1,000-foot demonic deity. However, the Life-Ender Saber quickly killed a group of 300-foot demonic deities. In the blink of an eye, surging divine power filled his body, repairing his human soul and restoring his human soul body. Rumble! Gu Hai was surrounded in the center by countless demonic deities. At this moment, it was a fierce battle for Gu Hai. He was injured again and again, hovering on the edge of life and death. However, it was also a feast. As the Life-Ender Saber continued to kill, Gu Hai obtained 1,000th of the divine power, while the Life-Ender Saber obtained 9,000th of the divine power. With this huge amount of divine power, the cracks on the Life-Ender Saber slowly recovered. The cracks on the Life-Ender Saber recovered, and the Life-Ender Saber also slowly recovered its former glory. It kept getting stronger, and the surrounding black fog became bigger and bigger. There were also more and more skeletons inside. Kill, 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 kill. Gu Hai was already surrounded by countless demonic deities, but Gu Hai seemed to be unkillable. He kept fighting. The humans below could no longer see the battle situation clearly. They could only see the eerie bones of demonic deities falling from the sky. More and more. Wherever Gu Hai went, white bones were everywhere. The demonic deities attacked like moths to a flame, killing countless. Old Witch, there are already 8,000 demonic deity bones falling, a demonic deity said excitedly. Senior Gu, can you take it? 8,000 bones. Those are powerful demonic deities. Ordinary demonic deities don't even have bones. Senior Gu, how many have you killed? The group of demonic deities was excited and worried. There is hope for the human race. Perhaps we can really be saved by Mr. Good and return to the divine continent. The old witch said excitedly. We can go back. A strong longing flashed across the demonic deity's eyes. If we can really go out, and if Senior Gu doesn't mind, I will follow Senior Gu. A demonic deity said excitedly. Me too. The humans below were excited. The killing in the air was also getting more intense. Luya's pressure was lessening, while Gu Hai's pressure was increasing. However, the greater the pressure, the more intense the battle on Gu Hai's side. Gu Hai's human soul was extremely huge. It was like a dry sea. No matter how much water there was, it could hold it. There were no bottlenecks. He constantly absorbed divinity, constantly absorbed and constantly grew stronger. After a day and a night, Gu Hai had already killed more than 40,000 demonic deities. And most of them were great demonic deities. This crazy battle left the distant Loch god, and Luya got astounded. They saw demonic deity bones falling one after another. The demonic deity in the blood mist was growing at a terrifying speed. At first, the 1,000-foot demonic deities had him fleeing. Now he was slaughtering them as if they were pigs. The demonic deities in the blood mist were growing too fast. So fast that even God Loch and God Luya were a little scared. Where did this monster come from? Tens of thousands of demonic deities had surrounded him. In just a day and a night, he had become the one hunting them down. Chapter 693. Heaven City. On a huge square, Yanhua led a large number of angels and looked coldly at the people who were tied up. The people who were tied up were none other than Guqin, Montez, and the 3,000 embroidered uniform guards. A group of Golden Core Realm warriors? Golden Core Realm? Only a dozen from the Yuanying state, and you dare to barge into Heaven City? Yanhua looked coldly at Guqin and the others who were tied up. Young Master Yanhua, please forgive us. We have gone the wrong way. Guqin pleaded. Wrong way? Haha, do you really think I don't know you? Guqin. Yanhua said coldly. Guqin's expression changed as he looked at Yanhua. How would I not know the people from the Han Dynasty? You are Guqin and this is Montez, right? The commander of the Han Dynasty's embroidered uniform guards? These 3,000 people are the Han Dynasty's embroidered uniform guards? Am I right? Yanhua laughed coldly. You, how do you know? Guqin's expression changed. How do I know? Not only do I know who you are, I also know that you went to beg the Dragon Tribe's leader, Ao Tianhuang, to help you save Gu Hai. Ao Tianhuang has no time to help you when the two armies are fighting. You caused a huge ruckus at Ao Tianhuang's Dragon Tribe camp, and then disappeared. Then you sneaked into my territory. Ha 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 ha. Yanhua laughed coldly. You know everything? Guqin's expression changed. The Deqian invasion, the Dahan Gu Hai? How could I not investigate you? But I didn't expect you to be so daring. A group of Golden Core Realm warriors? Oh, you dare to look for Gu Hai? Yanhua said coldly. How is my father? Guqin asked anxiously. Your father? He is in Heaven City. But I won't let you see him. Take them to the prison. Yanhua said coldly. Yes. A group of angels responded and led Guqin and the others away. Eldest young master, why did you keep them? An angel asked in confusion as he watched Guqin being escorted away. A bunch of Golden Core Realm warriors. Killing them will only dirty my hands. Wouldn't it be better to kill them in front of Gu Hai in the future? Yanhua sneered. Eldest young master is wise. That Gu Hai will definitely be in so much pain that he'll wish he was dead. The angel beside him laughed loudly. In the Heavenly City's prison, Guqin, Montez, and the others were imprisoned in an ordinary valley. Everyone's cultivation was sealed, and they were no different from mortals. The group of embroidered uniform guards surrounded Guqin and Montez in the center, making it impossible for the guards to see them clearly. Crown Prince, we're in? Montez revealed a hint of excitement. That's right. Why don't we ask Ao Tianhuang to seal our cultivation and make us look harmless? The Heavenly City is heavily guarded, and it's impossible to sneak in. We let Yanhua capture us. Yanhua is in charge of the Heavenly City. If he wanted to kill us, we could have escaped with the help of the Dragon Tribe's elders. If he didn't kill us, he would have brought us into the Heavenly City. We're in. Montez's eyes flashed with satisfaction. If we're in, then we'll be sealed by the angels again. Montez frowned. It's okay, we're in. Guqin said. Oh, Supreme Elder Ao. We've brought in a strand of your divine consciousness. Shouldn't you unseal our cultivation first? Guqin said. Buzz. A dragon whisker suddenly flew out from Guqin's arms. The dragon whisker condensed into a transparent figure that looked exactly like Ao Tianhuang. A projection? Montez narrowed his eyes. Guqin's Crown Prince, good move. Ao Tianhuang's projection laughed. Whoosh. Ao Tianhuang's projection immediately unsealed the seals on everyone. Boom. Suddenly,
Waves of air surged out from everyone's bodies. Conceal your aura, Guqin shouted. Buzz. The 3,000 embroidered uniform guards concealed their aura, and no one would be able to tell that the seals had been unsealed. Rumble. Dark clouds suddenly gathered in the sky above the heavenly prison. Oh no, Taichu has set up an array in the city to prevent my projection from sneaking in. I can't show myself. Guqin's crown prince, it's up to you now. Ao Tianhuang's projection shouted. Supreme Elder Ao, please follow our agreement and begin. Don't make any mistakes, please. Guqin said solemnly. Don't worry. Ao Tianhuang nodded. Buzz. Ao Tianhuang's projection instantly turned into a dragon whisker and fell to the ground. The dark clouds in the sky also disappeared. Guqin carefully kept the dragon whisker and led to hands 3,000 embroidered uniform guards to the entrance of the heavenly prison. What are you doing? Are you trying to rebel? The guardian angels glared at them. Guqin narrowed his eyes. Pust, 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 pust. The group of embroidered uniform guards exploded and beheaded a large number of angels in an instant. Only 3 of them were left alive. Their mouths were covered and their bodies were restrained. Aren't you in the Golden Core realm? Why A 2-winged angel exclaimed. Where are Gu Hai and Ao Shun locked up? Guqin looked at the angel coldly. The power of the heavenly palace? How is that possible? Aren't you in the Golden Core realm? All of you are in the power of the heavenly palace? The angel looked at the group of people in horror. Speak. Guqin's eyes were cold. I don't know. The angel exclaimed. Pust. Guqin raised his blade and killed one of them instantly. The remaining 2 were still in shock. However, the angels were indeed unaware. Montez also killed the remaining 2 angels. It seems that we have to go out and look for them. Half of the embroidered uniform guards will continue to look for the Emperor and Ao Shun with me. Montez, you will lead the other half of the embroidered uniform guards and be in charge of setting up the array nearby. Let's move quickly, Guqin said in a low voice. Yes. Montez replied. Whoosh. The 3,000 embroidered uniform guards moved quickly. In the secret realm of the Way of Beast, surging blood mist encased Gu Hai's body. After killing 40,000 Fey Immortals, although his figure did not change, remaining 490 meter tall, his divine might was overwhelming. Wherever his saber pointed, the Fey Immortals fled in all directions. Mudfish God and Luya's expressions changed drastically at the sight of the massacre. Where did this monster come from? The more he killed, the stronger he became? Moreover, he could not be killed. The Life-Ender saber only gave Gu Hai 1,000th of its divine power. However, this 1,000th helped Gu Hai to refine the divine power. It was also the purest divine power. Although the other demon deities fought and devoured each other's deities, most of the divine power was wasted. However, Gu Hai did not. The more he killed, the stronger he became. Chapter 693. Heaven City. On a huge square, Yanhua led a large number of angels and looked coldly at the people who were tied up. The people who were tied up were none other than Guqin, Montez, and the 3,000 embroidered uniform guards. A group of Golden Core Realm warriors? Golden Core Realm? Only a dozen from the Yuanying state, and you dare to barge into Heaven City? Yanhua looked coldly at Guqin and the others who were tied up. Young Master Yanhua, please forgive us. We have gone the wrong way. Guqin pleaded. Wrong way. Haha, do you really think I don't know you? Guqin. Yanhua said coldly. Guqin's expression changed as he looked at Yanhua. How would I not know the people from the Han Dynasty? You are Guqin, and this is Montez, right? The commander of the Han Dynasty's embroidered uniform guards? These 3,000 people are the Han Dynasty's embroidered uniform guards? Am I right? Yanhua laughed coldly. How do you know? Guqin's expression changed. How do I know? Not only do I know who you are, I also know that you went to beg the Dragon Tribe's leader, Ao Tianhuang, to help you save Gu Hai. Ao Tianhuang has no time to help you when the 2 armies are fighting. You caused a huge ruckus at Ao Tianhuang's Dragon Tribe camp, and then disappeared. Then you sneaked into my territory. Ha 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 ha.
Yanhua laughed coldly. You know everything? Guqin's expression changed. The Deqian invasion, the Dahan Guhai? How could I not investigate you? But I didn't expect you to be so daring. A group of Golden Core Realm warriors? Oh, you dare to look for Guhai? Yanhua said coldly. How is my father? Guqin asked anxiously. Your father? He is in Heaven City. But I won't let you see him. Take them to the prison. Yanhua said coldly. Yes. A group of angels responded and led Guqin and the others away. Eldest young master, why did you keep them? An angel asked in confusion as he watched Guqin being escorted away. A bunch of Golden Core Realm warriors. Killing them will only dirty my hands. Wouldn't it be better to kill them in front of Guhai in the future? Yanhua sneered. Eldest young master is wise. That Guhai will definitely be in so much pain that he'll wish he was dead. The angel beside him laughed loudly. In the Heavenly City's prison, Guqin, Montez, and the others were imprisoned in an ordinary valley. Everyone's cultivation was sealed, and they were no different from mortals. The group of embroidered uniform guards surrounded Guqin and Montez in the center, making it impossible for the guards to see them clearly. Crown Prince, we're in? Montez revealed a hint of excitement. That's right. Why don't we ask Ao Tianhuang to seal our cultivation and make us look harmless? The Heavenly City is heavily guarded, and it's impossible to sneak in. We let Yanhua capture us. Yanhua is in charge of the Heavenly City. If he wanted to kill us, we could have escaped with the help of the Dragon Tribe's elders. If he didn't kill us, he would have brought us into the Heavenly City. We're in. Montez's eyes flashed with satisfaction. If we're in, then we'll be sealed by the angels again. Montez frowned. It's okay, we're in. Guqin said. Oh, Supreme Elder Ao, we've brought in a strand of your divine consciousness. Shouldn't you unseal our cultivation first? Guqin said. Buzz. A dragon whisker suddenly flew out from Guqin's arms. The dragon whisker condensed into a transparent figure that looked exactly like Ao Tianhuang. Guhai felt that his entire body was filled with power. Below, the old witch and the human race's war god clenched their fists in excitement. The ordinary humans even cupped their fists and prayed that Guhai would be fine. Luya, have you not killed old Mudfish yet? I'll help you. Guhai lowered his voice and shouted. Boom! Guhai, surrounded by blood mist, charged toward Mudfish God. Mudfish God's eyelids twitched wildly. Luya's eyelids also twitched wildly. Is he here to help me? Mudfish God and Luya both felt that the person surrounded by blood mist was getting stronger as he killed. It was as though he was devouring the demon deity's divine power as he killed. This is impossible. Even the Immortal of the Six Paths could not do it. How could he? Has he been hiding his strength? Luya narrowed his eyes. However, it was fortunate that this monster had a grudge against Mudfish God. He could ally with him. Are you all dead? Why aren't you killing him? Mudfish God roared angrily. Patriarch, he's a devil. He's a devil. We're no match for him. The demon deities screamed in terror. The demon deities did not dare to step forward, but if none of them dared to go, would they want them to fight Luya and this monster at the same time? Humph. If none of you go, I'll chant the curse. Mudfish God said coldly. A demon art? A curse? Luya's face fell. I've put a curse on all of you. If you don't want to die, go and kill him. Mudfish God roared. As he roared, Loach God began to mutter to himself, as if he was chanting some sort of bizarre incantation. Yes. At #yen%. And asterisk, as soon as the incantation was uttered. Boom, boom, boom. A dozen demon deities suddenly exploded. The other demon deities also began to swell in pain. Don't. I'll go. Chanting the curse will definitely kill you. If we fight that monster, we won't necessarily die. Kill him. He must be tired after fighting for so long. Kill him. All of the demon deities lunged at Guhai. Guhai revealed a cold smile when he saw the overwhelming number of demon immortals charging at him. If it was before, he might not be a match for this group of ferocious demon immortals. But now, He had already killed 40,000 demon immortals and was incomparably strong. Only now did he come? Courting death. Boom. He swung his saber, and a black mist surged into the air. Countless skulls erupted from the black mist and began to gnaw at the demon deities. Aya! Kill! Don't eat me! God Loach, save me! The chaotic slaughter continued. The bloody mist around Gu Hai grew thicker and thicker, and the slaughter sped up. At this moment, it was not the countless bones that fell. Instead, Gu Hai shattered them in midair, sending them flying in all directions like a rain of bones. Kill! 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 Of the 60,000 demonic immortals, it didn't take long before half were gone. After another 20,000 were killed, there were still several thousand demonic immortals left, and they began to flee in terror. The monster in the bloody mist was even more terrifying than the curse. God Loach and Luya's eyes widened. God Luya, I'll help you. Gu Hai lowered his voice and rushed forward. Luya's eyelids twitched. That was close to 100,000 demon deities. Although he was confident that he was stronger than all of them, he was not so exaggerating that he could kill them all in such a short time. Who was this monster? The Immortal Slaying Gourd, Vine World Gourd, and True Fire Gourd faced Gu Hai. Luya hesitated. God Loach's eyes were bloodshot. How is this possible? I've been in this world for so many years, but I've never seen a demon deity like you. Who are you? God Loach pounced at Gu Hai with a ferocious expression. Luya narrowed his eyes and stopped attacking. He watched as God Loach charged at Gu Hai. Instead, he was more wary of the monster in the bloody mist. Chapter 694. Luya was on guard against the monster in the blood fog, his expression terrifyingly dark. The Immortal Slaying Gourd, Vine Realm Gourd, and True Fire Gourd were all facing the blood fog monster. Although this monster kept saying that it was helping him, for some reason, Luya felt an extremely dangerous aura from the monster. This danger was even more terrifying than the danger from Loach God. Who exactly was he? Roar! Loach God charged straight at Gu Hai. As he charged, streaks of blue light appeared around him, as if forming a huge net, crashing toward Gu Hai in the blood fog. Demonic arts again? Not enough. Gu Hai slashed with his saber with a ferocious expression. With a slash of the saber, countless skeletons rushed into the sky. Boom! The huge net was completely devoured by countless skeletons. Loach God spat out a longsword. Boom! The bone saber and longsword collided. The longsword trembled, and a gap appeared. In the blink of an eye, rolling skeletons gnawed at it. Loach God's tail whipped toward Gu Hai. As it whipped, it seemed to cause the whole void to tremble. Loach God's tail collided with the bone saber. Hung! Gu Hai was thrown 300 meters away by the huge force, but Loach God's tail was unaffected. Ha 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 ha! I thought you were very powerful, but it turns out that you're just something strong on the outside but weak on the inside. Humph, you can't even break my skin, and you want to kill me? Loach God roared with a ferocious expression. Below, the old shaman and countless commoners had already knelt and prayed, chanting. It was unknown what they were saying, but they were all praying that Gu Hai was unharmed. Humph, can't even break the skin? When the skin breaks, it will be the time of your death. Gu Hai said coldly. Boom, boom, boom. Loach God swung his tail again and again, and indeed beat Gu Hai back repeatedly, but the difference was not big. Gu Hai just could not break Loach God's skin. In the distance, Luya narrowed his eyes. Did I see wrongly? In the distance, after Gu Hai was knocked away again, he paused. All right, it's time to end this. End. You're the one who's finished, aren't you? Roar. Loach God opened his mouth and swallowed Gu Hai. Loach God was extremely confident in his own defense. Everything that had happened just now had proven that the blood mist monster in front of him couldn't break through his defense at all. It could only be continuously chased by him. He had to be killed. It opened its mouth and roared, as if it wanted to swallow the monster in front of it. Jotian. Gu Hai raised the life-ender saber again. However, this time, when Gu Hai swung his saber, countless saber beams appeared around him. They arranged themselves like a chessboard, instantly forming a chessboard. As Gu Hai swung his saber, The countless saber beams quickly gathered at the astral saber and headed for Loch deity. What? High in the sky, Luya's expression changed. He seemed to have thought of something. 5. The energy saber gathered, and a surging force shot out. This time, the saber's force was many times stronger than before. When the saber slashed down, a black hole as big as the sky seemed to tear open as it shot toward Loch God. Under the saber force, Loch God couldn't resist at all. All he could do was cry out in shock. No, no. Hong! A huge air current swept out in all directions. All the humans and fey gods who were watching the battle suddenly shuddered. They saw Loch God, who used to be the strongest in this world, being sliced in half. The two halves of Loch God seemed to be alive. He shouted at the top of his lungs, "Who are you?" Boom! The life-ender saber emitted billowing black gas that instantly transformed into billions of skulls. They charged at the two halves of Loch God's body and started gnawing at them. They saw Loch God, who used to be the strongest in this world, being sliced in half. The two halves of Loch God seemed to be alive. He shouted at the top of his lungs, "Who are you?" Boom! The life-ender saber emitted billowing black gas that instantly transformed into billions of skulls. They charged at the two halves of Loch God's body and started gnawing at them. The powerful air current formed by the huge explosion dispersed some of the blood mist around Gu Hai, revealing a face in the blood mist. "Gu Hai!" Luya suddenly cried out. When Gu Hai slashed out with Cycle 5, Luya had a bad feeling. He seemed to have heard of Gu Hai's move, the Cycle Saber technique, but he didn't think much of it. Even when Gu Hai slashed out, Luya didn't believe that it was Gu Hai. After all, how could the extremely weak Gu Hai be so strong? Furthermore, Gu Hai's cultivation had been sealed by him. He was basically doomed after entering this world. How could it be? How could it be him? Luya couldn't believe it until he saw Gu Hai's face. Luya had no choice but to believe it. Was it really him? Was it really him? A sense of grievance flashed through Luya's heart. "It's me, Crown Prince Luya. It's my turn now." Gu Hai sneered. Luya suddenly realized that Gu Hai had been forced back by Loch God time and time again, not because he was weaker than Loch God, but because he was finding excuses to get closer to him. Now Gu Hai and Luya were very close. 5 heavenly cycles. Gu Hai slashed down again. "Treasure, please turn around," Luya suddenly exclaimed. Boom! 108 white Immortal slaying flying sabers suddenly flew out of the Immortal slaying gourd. They instantly shot towards Gu Hai. Immortal slaying flying sabers? Hee. In the Beast Dao mystic realm, the body that I condensed is different from the outside world. Gu Hai said coldly. Under the Cycle 5 saber technique, Gu Hai's saber aura domain surrounded him. Immediately, 108 saber auras collided with the Immortal slaying flying sabers. Boom! The 108 white Immortal slaying flying sabers were instantly sliced in half. What? Luya's face sank. At that moment, another golden flying saber suddenly appeared from the Immortal slaying gourd. In front of the golden flying saber, there seemed to be a pair of sharp eyes as it charged towards Gu Hai. Boom! After breaking into Gu Hai's saber aura domain, it immediately shattered a large number of saber auras and charged towards Gu Hai. Its power was several times stronger than the previous white Immortal slaying flying saber. Slash! Gu Hai glared. Boom! The life ender saber slashed down, and the golden Immortal slaying flying saber was instantly knocked back. A crack even appeared on the golden Immortal slaying flying saber. In an instant, rolling skeletons wrapped around it. Buzz! The golden Immortal slaying flying saber turned around and fled in pain. However, the little skeleton stared at it and kept gnawing at it. Swish! Instantly, the Immortal slaying flying saber flew back into the Immortal slaying gourd. Everything was over. Slash! Gu Hai's attack that broke the golden Immortal slaying flying saber did not weaken. He continued slashing towards Luya. A large number of vines rushed out of the Vine World gourd. Boom! It was instantly slashed into pieces by the Heavenly Cycle 5 saber force. A large amount of true Samadhi fire rushed out of the True Fire gourd. Boom! The Heavenly Cycle 5 saber force broke through the fire and charged towards Luya. Wah! Luya's expression changed. He opened his mouth and spat out Guhai's Life Ender Saber. When the Life Ender Saber appeared, purple light shot into the sky. A huge explosive force charged towards the Life Ender Saber. Hung! With a loud sound, Luya was instantly thrown back 1,000 feet. The Life Ender Saber was also blasted away. Luya was in a sorry state. Guhai took a step forward and approached him again. No, impossible. How are you so strong? How can you have such a saber? Luya exclaimed. You took my Life Ender Saber. Unfortunately, you don't know my saber technique. If you don't know how to use it, what's the use of a powerful treasure? Guhai sneered. Rumble. The black energy that had just devoured Loch God quickly returned to the Life Ender Saber. Waves of energy entered Guhai's body, and he became even stronger. The Life Ender Saber flew far away, and the 3 bottle gourds exploded. However, Guhai did not care. He only had one target in his eyes, Luya. Guhai stepped forward and slashed again. Wah! Luya let out a ferocious roar, and a myriad of flames immediately burst out from his body. In an instant, he was like a sun, enveloping the surrounding sky like a large furnace. Then he opened his mouth and charged at Guhai. A powerful aura surged over like a long river. Heavenly Cycle 5 Saber Force. Guhai slashed again. Surging saber chi went against the flow, and charged at Luya. Boom! The surrounding flames exploded. The saber force landed on Luya's body, forming a spherical shield that looked like the sun. Blazing sun in the sky. 10 suns crossing the sky. Luya roared. Luya seemed to have circulated all the divine energy in his body, and infused it into this spherical shield. When the surrounding Fey Immortals accidentally approached and touched this shield, they were instantly incinerated, not even leaving behind ashes. Chop! Guhai glared. The Life Ender Saber force actually failed to break Luya's secret technique. Luya showed a ferocious expression as he charged at Guhai. Heavenly Cycle 6. Guhai shouted. When Luya swung his saber, his heart trembled. He had a bad feeling. Boom! Indeed, when Luya swung his saber, that blazing sun shield exploded. Blarg! Luya vomited a mouthful of blood as he went flying back 3 kilometers. Die! Guhai slashed with a ferocious expression. At this moment, Luya looked like he was severely injured. He could not resist at all. When Luya saw Guhai's saber slash at him, his expression changed. Ha 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 ha! Kill me! Kill me! If you kill me, Bingheim will die as well. Luya shouted with a ferocious expression. Boom! The Life Ender Saber force stopped before Luya, kicking up a strong wind. However, Guhai's saber could not continue. Ha 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 ha! You don't dare to kill me, right? In that case, you will never have the chance. Luya sneered. As Luya spoke, he flapped his wings. Whoosh! Luya instantly flew into the distance. Humph! You are strong, but you might not be as fast as me. Guhai, I hate that I did not kill you back then. Luya showed a ferocious expression as he fled. Guhai looked at the fleeing Luya, but did not give chase. Instead, he stepped forward and soared into the sky. Whoosh! Guhai quickly flew towards the sun, the fixed star in the sky. From afar, Guhai already saw a large hall in the sky above the fixed star. Deity's Palace. Deity's Palace. Once I cross this deity's palace, I will be able to leave, right? Anticipation flashed in Guhai's eyes. When Luya, who was fleeing earlier, saw that Guhai was not chasing after him, he was slightly stunned. Guhai is not chasing after me? Luya turned his head, and happened to see Guhai charging towards the deity's palace. When Luya saw that Guhai was about to enter the deity's palace, his face lit up with joy. Then, he showed a ferocious expression. Chapter 695. South of the Fusang Tree. Above a vast ocean, a large number of overlords were flying in the sky, separated into 2 rows. On one side were angels enveloped in sacred light. Some flapped their wings and flew in the sky. Some stood on flying boats, holding weapons as they looked at the other side coldly. On the other side were countless dragons and lesser dragons. They looked ferocious as they bared their fangs at the angels, as if they would pounce at any moment. The battle between the two sides was about to start, but it stopped there. Under a great pressure, the entire ocean was as quiet as a mirror. The angels and dragons were staring at a small island in the middle. On the island, Tai Chu and Ao Tianhuang were sitting together. They didn't look at each other angrily. Instead, they were drinking wine. To the east of the Fusang tree, Sima Zongheng is leading the Deqian 33rd Army against the Cosmic Stars formation. To the north of the Fusang tree, the three Deqian princes are fighting against the Ten Sun Sky Crossing formation. Heh, Ao Tianhuang. Is the Deqian really going to die with the Solar Divine Palace? Tai Chu drank wine and looked at Ao Tianhuang coldly. It's too noisy over there, so I moved the battle here. Tai Chu, you and I are old friends, right? Ao Tianhuang took a sip of wine and said in a deep voice. Yes, we are. I knew that we would fight one day, but I didn't expect it to come so soon. Tai Chu said in a deep voice. Soon? Not soon. It will be over soon. Ao Tianhuang said coldly. Heh, you invited me to this island before the battle just to have a drink with me? Tai Chu said coldly. What? I can't invite you? Ao Tianhuang smiled. Invite? You did invite me. If you can invite me here, it means that we still have room to talk, right? Tai Chu said in a deep voice. What do you think? Ao Tianhuang smiled. Ao Tianhuang, Long Zhonghua is courting death. You dragons should know more about the strength of the deity of six paths. Can Long Zhonghua defeat the deity of six paths? Besides, Long Zhonghua can't compare to Tai Yi's strength. Tai Chu said in a deep voice. Tai Yi's strength? 800,000 years ago, you were nothing in front of my dragon clan. Ao Tianhuang said coldly. Hee, you are really arrogant. Dragon clan? Do you think it's still the same? Ao Tianhuang. Since you took the initiative to show goodwill, I will give you a chance. From now on, lead your dragon clan to abandon the darkness and join the light. We can plead with the Immortal of the Six Paths to let bygones be bygones. Tai Chu said solemnly. Forget about the past. Ha 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 ha, should I thank you? Ao Tianhuang sneered. What? Can you still resist? If you're not abandoning the darkness for the light, could it be that you want your son? Ha 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 ha. Grand Primordium laughed loudly. Ao Tianhuang's face darkened. Ao Shun, this is the pride of your life. Although you removed the crown prince, do you think I don't know? You just wanted him to avoid this battle, that's all. Heh, now he's in my hands. If you're so stubborn, I'll make him accompany you in hell. How about it? Absolute Beginning said coldly. Tai Chu, do you only know how to use my son to threaten me? Ao Tianhuang said coldly. So what? The Deqian Celestial Empire and Solar God Shrine are in a battle of life and death. Do you really think we can sit down and talk at this time? Long Zhonghua has already gone too far. It's either the Deqian Empire or Solar God Shrine. Humph, do you still expect us to be friendly to you at this time? Tai Chu said coldly. When you went to the Deqian Celestial Empire to participate in the Thousand Saints Conference, His Holiness had already started to defy the heavens. However, he didn't pester you and let you go. The two armies are in a battle, and it's up to fate. Yet you use my son to threaten me? Ao Tianhuang said coldly. That's because he's stupid. However, Ao Tianhuang kept pestering him. Humph, Ao Tianhuang. Do you really think I don't have a way? 10 Direction Annihilation. Transform into my form and guard for me. Tai Chu shouted. In the sky, the 10 Direction Annihilation that was shining with billions of holy light suddenly transformed into Tai Chu's appearance. However, Tai Chu transformed from the 10 Direction Annihilation had 12 wings. 6 pairs of huge white wings, and he suddenly pounced. Rolling holy light lit up the sky. 10 Direction Annihilation? It can transform? Ao Tianhuang's expression changed. The 12-winged angel charged at Ao Tianhuang. Break for me. Ao Tianhuang punched with all his might. Boom! The 12-winged angel's punch collided with Ao Tianhuang's punch. Surprisingly, it was a tie. The huge impact caused countless dragons and angels to be knocked over. 10 Direction Annihilation, you stop Ao Tianhuang. I'll be back soon. Tai Chu said with a ferocious expression. Whoosh! Tai Chu turned around and flew towards the Fusang tree in the distance, towards Tai Chu City. Stop! Ao Tianhuang's expression changed. However, at that moment, the 12-winged angel blocked Ao Tianhuang's path. Ao Tianhuang's face was filled with anxiety. Heavenly City. Tai Chu only took a short while to rush back. Boom! Tai Chu paused, and a storm instantly blew away the clouds above Heavenly City. How dare you! Tai Chu suddenly roared. The true Lord is back, the true Lord! The true Lord, save the eldest young master! In Heavenly City, countless angels exclaimed. At this moment, Heavenly City was also in chaos. Ao Tianhuang's projection appeared, with rolling dark clouds above his head and lightning striking down. There were 6 black angels surrounding Ao Tianhuang's projection, but they still could not do anything to Ao Tianhuang. The other angels did not come to help, because there was a terrifying scene not far away. The eldest young master, Yan Hua, was being choked by a man. At this moment, his limbs were broken, and he was on the verge of death. The man was none other than Guqin. You. Yan Hua looked at Guqin in despair. Guqin was choking Yan Hua, but he looked at the embroidered uniform guards beside him. At this moment, Meng Tai was supporting the injured and dying Ao Shun. Crown Prince Ao Shun, are you feeling better? Guqin shouted. Thank you, Crown Prince Guqin. I was almost killed by Yan Hua just now. Thank you, Ao Shun said weakly. You don't have to thank me. It's a pity that father was taken away by Luya, otherwise. Guqin was depressed. He cooperated with Ao Tianhuang this time to save his father, Gu Hai, but his father was not here? The Guqin Emperor is blessed. Crown Prince Guqin, don't worry too much, Ao Shun said weakly. Alright, let's not worry about this for now. We must leave immediately. I have Yan Hua, all angels move away, or I will crush his head. Guqin roared. Just as the angels were at a loss, a strong gust of wind suddenly swept over. Boom! A loud roar came from the sky as the wind blew. How dare you! Tai Chu's eyes widened as he looked down. Oh no, Tai Chu is back. Montez supported Ao Shun, and his expression changed. Guqin's expression also darkened. Sovereign Ao, what happened? Guqin stared at Ao Tianhuang's projection, who was fighting with a group of black angels not far away. Crown Prince Guqin, I'm sorry. My main body is trapped by the 10-direction annihilation. Ao Tianhuang said bitterly. Ao Tianhuang? It's just a projection. You're really good at scheming. Tai Chu's figure flashed as he slammed his palm over. Oh no. Ao Tianhuang's projection's expression changed as he hurriedly countered with his palm. Boom! A loud sound rang out as Tai Chu used a huge amount of strength. Ao Tianhuang's projection was instantly shattered into pieces. Sovereign Ao? Montez's expression changed. At this moment, there were angels everywhere. Chapter 696. Tai Chu smashed Ao Tianhuang's projection and stared coldly at Guqin. Fa father, save me. Yan Hua was on the verge of death. Tai Chu didn't say anything and slowly approached Guqin. A powerful aura was released from him. If it was in the past, this aura would have suppressed everyone to the point that they couldn't move. Unfortunately, Guqin and the embroidered uniform guards had entered the Azura secret realm, and their soul power was extremely strong. A large number of angels knelt down, but Guqin and the embroidered uniform guards were still standing. Don't come over. Guqin glared and tightened his grip. Crack! His finger stabbed into Yan Hua's head. You have nowhere to run. You're courting death by coming to Heaven City. You're Gu Hai's son. Guqin? Humph, none of Gu Hai's men are good people. Tai Chu said coldly. Tai Chu, I have the soul-destroying powder that Ao Tianhuang gave me. If you take another step forward, I'll destroy Yan Hua. Guqin said coldly. Buzz! Tai Chu paused and his face twisted. Open the Heaven Palace? Great. I didn't know that so many of Gu Hai's subordinates had opened the Heaven Palace. Although he was surprised, Tai Chu still cared about his son. Yi Hua was dead, and he only had one son left. Montez, take Crown Prince Ao Shun and leave. Guqin took a deep breath and said. Yes, what? Crown Prince, I'll take Crown Prince Ao Shun and leave? What about you? You're not coming with me? Montez's expression changed. Tai Chu won't let me go. Guqin laughed coldly. Oh, you're smart. Humph. Let go of Yanhua and I'll spare your life. Tai Chu said coldly. Ha, Tai Chu, do you think I believe you? Guqin laughed coldly. What do you mean? Tai Chu's expression turned cold. Guqin said, let them go, I'll stay. Crown Prince, you can't. You should come with us. Montez exclaimed. Go together? Things are different now. If I take Yanhua away, Tai Chu would rather not have Yanhua, or even kill Yanhua. None of us can leave, Guqin said in a low voice. How could this be? Montez's expression changed. Just like how Ao Tianhuang didn't want Ao Shun to be a hindrance to him, Tai Chu didn't want Yanhua to be a hindrance to his soul. In this life and death battle, we can't have any psychological hindrances. He would rather kill Yanhua with his own hands than let Yanhua be held hostage by Ao Tianhuang to threaten him. Listen to me and leave. You can only leave if I'm here. Guqin said coldly. No, let me hold Yanhua hostage. Crown Prince, you go first. Montez said anxiously. Guqin pinched Yanhua and stared at Tai Chu, shaking his head. Change. The moment someone else takes Yanhua hostage, Tai Chu will be able to destroy both of us in an instant. Let's go. Crown Prince. Montez said anxiously. This is an order. Montez, take the order and take Crown Prince Ao Shun away. Guqin shouted. Yes. Montez said with red eyes. Ao Shun, who was being held by Montez, looked at Guqin's resolute expression and was shocked. Tai Chu, one person for one person. You can ignore Yanhua, but Ao Shun and Ao Tianhuang can ignore Ao Shun as well. How about using his son to exchange for yours? You can fight with your own abilities, Guqin shouted. What if I'm not willing? Tai Chu said with a cold expression. If you're not willing, then let's die together. I killed Yanhua and Montez killed Ao Shun. No one can hold anyone hostage. Montez killed Ao Shun, and let Ao Tianhuang die together with you. Guqin said coldly. Tai Chu's eyelids twitched. Ha 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 ha, good good good. Gu Hai's son is as ruthless as Gu Hai. We have already disregarded our lives this time. Tai Chu, what do you think of my suggestion? Guqin said again. Tai Chu's eyes were cold. Haha, good good. Let them go. Yes. The four angels moved aside. Crown Prince. Montez and the embroidered uniform guard's eyes turned red. If Imperial Father returns, Meng Tai, help me tell Imperial Father that this child is incompetent and can no longer be filial to Imperial Father. Guqin revealed a trace of sadness. Montez and the embroidered uniform guards suddenly knelt down in front of Guqin, with tears in their eyes. Crown Prince, we deserve to die. Go, this is an order. Guqin shouted. Go. Montez wiped his tears and led the embroidered uniform guards to take out a flying boat and left quickly. Whoosh! The flying boat carried Montez, the embroidered uniform guards and Ao Shun, and shot into the distance. Tai Chu stared coldly at Guqin, until Montez and the rest disappeared into the sky. Tai Chu then said, All right, they're gone. Now you should let Yanhua go. After confirming that Montez and the rest had left, Guqin stared at Tai Chu again. Tai Chu, what will you do to me if I let Yanhua go? Guqin said with a smile. I'll spare your life. Tai Chu said coldly. As he spoke, Guqin saw a trace of viciousness in Tai Chu's eyes. Father, give him to me. Yanhua trembled, and his voice was filled with hatred. Spare his life. Guqin believed that as long as he let Yanhua go, he would die immediately. It was very likely that Yanhua would kill him instead. Ha, there's no need. I'm Gu Hai's son, and Yanhua is your son. How can Gu Hai's son die because of Tai Chu's son? Doesn't that mean that Gu Hai's son is not as good as Tai Chu's son? My father has always been the most powerful, and the son he taught will definitely be the most powerful. You, Tai Chu, aren't even fit to carry my father's shoes. Guqin's face was ferocious. What did you say? Tai Chu's expression changed. Explode! Guqin shouted. No. Yanhua screamed. Boom! Yanhua's head exploded, and the soul-vanquishing powder in his hand instantly shattered Yanhua's 3 spiritual souls. You're courting death! Tai Chu suddenly shouted in anger. Tai Chu flew into a rage out of humiliation, and slammed his palm toward Guqin. "Father, I didn't embarrass you, did I?" Guqin gave a bleak smile. Before he died, for some reason, memories of his childhood suddenly appeared in his mind. "Guqin, you're the eldest. You have to set an example for your 3 younger brothers in the future. Big brother, father praised you again today. You're amazing. Qin, come, this is the rice cake I made for you. Your father wants to eat it, but I won't give it to him. Hee hee." Boom. A palm slammed out. With a loud boom, Guqin was blasted to pieces, turned to ashes. Roar. On a flying boat in the distance, Montez and the other embroidered uniform guards knelt on the deck with tears in their eyes in the direction of Heaven City. After killing Guqin, Taichu still could not vent the depression in his heart and roared angrily. Boom. Suddenly, Ao Tianhuang arrived at Heaven City. "You killed the crown prince of Guqin?" Ao Tianhuang's expression changed. Behind Ao Tianhuang, the 12-winged angel also chased after him. Taichu's eyelids twitched. Ha 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 ha, good. Gu Hai's son is as ruthless as Gu Hai. We have already disregarded our lives this time. Taichu, what do you think of my suggestion? Guqin said again. Taichu's eyes were cold. Haha, good. Let them go. Yes. The 4 angels moved aside. Crown Prince. Montez and the embroidered uniform guard's eyes turned red. If Imperial Father returns, Meng Tai, help me tell Imperial Father that this child is incompetent and can no longer be filial to Imperial Father. Guqin revealed a trace of sadness. Montez and the embroidered uniform guards suddenly knelt down in front of Guqin with tears in their eyes. Crown Prince, we deserve to die. Go, this is an order. Guqin shouted. Go. Montez wiped his tears and led the embroidered uniform guards to take out a flying boat and left quickly. Whoosh. The flying boat carried Montez, the embroidered uniform guards and Ao Shun, and shot into the distance. Taichu stared coldly at Guqin until Montez and the rest disappeared into the sky. Taichu then said, All right, they're gone. Now you should let Yanhua go. After confirming that Montez and the rest had left, Guqin stared at Taichu again. Taichu, what will you do to me if I let Yanhua go? Guqin said with a smile. I'll spare your life. Taichu said coldly. As he spoke, Guqin saw a trace of viciousness in Taichu's eyes. Father, give him to me. Yanhua trembled, and his voice was filled with hatred. Spare his life. Guqin believed that as long as he let Yanhua go, he would die immediately. It was very likely that Yanhua would kill him instead. There's no need. I'm Gu Hai's son, and Yanhua is your son. How can Gu Hai's son die because of Taichu's son? Doesn't that mean that Gu Hai's son is not as good as Taichu's son? My father has always been the most powerful, and the son he taught will definitely be the most powerful. You, Taichu, aren't even fit to carry my father's shoes. Guqin's face was ferocious. What did you say? Taichu's expression changed. Explode. Guqin shouted. No. Yanhua screamed. Boom. Yanhua's head exploded, and the soul-vanquishing powder in his hand instantly shattered Yanhua's 3 spiritual souls. You're courting death. Taichu suddenly shouted in anger. Taichu flew into a rage out of humiliation and slammed his palm toward Guqin. Father, I didn't embarrass you, did I? Guqin gave a bleak smile. Before he died, for some reason, memories of his childhood suddenly appeared in his mind. Guqin, you're the eldest. You have to set an example for your 3 younger brothers in the future. Big brother, father praised you again today. You're amazing. Qin, come, this is the rice cake I made for you. Your father wants to eat it, but I won't give it to him. Hee hee. Boom. A palm slammed out. With a loud boom, Guqin was blasted to pieces, turned to ashes. Roar. On a flying boat in the distance, Montez and the other embroidered uniform guards knelt on the deck with tears in their eyes in the direction of Heaven City. After killing Guqin, Taichu still could not vent the depression in his heart and roared angrily. Boom. Suddenly, Ao Tianhuang arrived at Heaven City. You killed the crown prince of Guqin? Ao Tianhuang's expression changed. Behind Ao Tianhuang, the 12-winged angel also chased after him. The 12-winged angel could not stop Ao Tianhuang. Taichu was extremely depressed as he stared at Ao Tianhuang. Ao Shun was saved. Ao Tianhuang's son was safe. But his son was dead. Another son was dead. Everyone was dead. All angels, listen up. Recite the Taichu scripture and lend me your strength. Roar. Taichu roared as the Taichu scripture appeared in his hand. Wang. The Taichu scripture vibrated and transmitted its voice to the ears of all the angels. Apart from Heaven City, all the angels heard the voice and started reciting the Taichu scripture. In an instant, streaks of light rushed over from all directions. The angels were channeling their strength into the Taichu scripture. The Taichu scripture seemed to have melted and entered Taichu's body. Wang. Absolute Beginning's body instantly released a monstrous aura. This aura was even stronger than the 12-winged angel formed by 10-direction apocalypse. All the angels' strength? Ao Tianhuang's expression darkened. At this moment, Taichu was in a tough spot. Ao Tianhuang, go to hell! Taichu roared. He instantly appeared in front of Ao Tianhuang and punched him. Boom! When the two fists collided, the surrounding space suddenly rippled out, and at the place where the two fists collided, there were even cracks in the void. This time, Taichu did not retreat. Ao Tianhuang's full-powered attack was on par with Taichu. The two of them were evenly matched. However, Absolute Beginning still had Apocalypse and the 12-winged angel. Roar! The 12-winged angel attacked Taichu from behind. Boom! In an instant, the entire heavenly city was in chaos. It was chaos outside the Fusang tree. North of the Fusang tree, Heaven City was still flying quickly. In the Lingxiao Palace, some officials were standing respectfully in the palace, reporting the battle at the Fusang tree. His Holiness, Tai has not appeared yet. Yi Shenzhen reported respectfully. How's the battle? Long Zhonghua asked calmly from his throne. Long Zhonggua's target was only Tai. He left the other battles to his subordinates. Tai had not appeared, and Long Zhonghua had not moved. Sima Zongheng is leading the 33rd Army and fighting the massive Heavenly Cycle Stars formation. The massive Heavenly Cycle Stars formation led by Kong Xian is extremely stubborn. Both sides have suffered heavy casualties, and it is difficult to determine the victor. Yi Shenzhen reported respectfully. As expected. Long Zhonghua said solemnly. Ao Shun is leading the dragon tribe to Heaven City. The crown prince of Dahan and Guqin sacrificed themselves to save Ao Shun. Ao Tianhuang has nothing to hold him back, so he can fight to his heart's content. Yi Shenzhen explained. Guqin. Long Zhonghua raised an eyebrow. Yes. In the end, the 3 crown princes fought the Golden Crow Prince. 9 Golden Crow Princes appeared, and Luya was missing. The 3 crown princes had a difficult battle. Among them, the 3rd crown prince, Takeshi Ryushin, sacrificed himself. Yi Shenzhen explained. Takeshi Ryushin? Long Zhonghua snorted. His Holiness Jinmu of Silla is a doppelganger, right? Why hasn't his real body appeared yet? This is the end of the battle. Yi Shenzhen said worriedly. Takeshi Ryushin? Forget it. He didn't want to interfere in my battle with the Immortal of 6 Paths, so he deliberately hid from the beginning. That's fine, it's fine if he doesn't come. Long Zhonghua said coldly. Yi Shenzhen nodded, not daring to say more. The 10 Sun Sky Traversing formation is indeed powerful. The 9 Golden Crow Princes already made it difficult for the 2 Crown Princes. If Leah also appeared, I wonder what would happen. However, it seems that the Golden Crow Princes kept urging Luya, but Luya never appeared. Yi Shenzhen said with a frown. Long Zhonghua narrowed his eyes. Luya captured Guhai. Yes, we just received the news. 12 days ago, Luya took Guhai away. His Holiness, do you want to inform the 2 Crown Princes to save Guhai when the time is right? Yi Shenzhen asked. Long Zhonghua fell silent for a while, then took a deep breath. The final battle is near, and I can't spare any time. If something happens to Guhai, I'll find his soul after I defeat the Immortal of 6 Paths. Moreover, he didn't ask me for help. Yes. Yi Shenzhen lowered his head and answered. Long Zhonghua didn't plan to save Guhai, and this time, he couldn't relax. Reporting to Daqiansheng. Suddenly, a man rushed into the hall. Qin Zibai. Yi Shenjin frowned. Mo Yike left the heavenly court, and after returning to the Han dynasty to take back the territory, he left Qin Zibai behind to pass a message. Did Qin Zibai come to ask for help from Daqianxing? Mr. Qin, if Gu Hai asks for help, let's not talk about it. We can't afford to lose this battle, Yi Shenjin immediately said. Some words didn't need to be said by His Holiness. As an official, he had to say it first. No, it's a message from the Emperor, and he hopes that Daqianxing will hear it. Qin Zibai immediately said. Long Zhanghua frowned. Yi Shenjin's face also sank. Qin Zibai, why are you so insensible? I already said, don't disturb us when we're dealing with Solar Divine Palace. Qin Zibai flipped his hand and took out the Qin figurine. The Qin figurine repeated a sentence in Gu Hai's tone. Daqianxing, Long Zhanghua, I am Gu Hai, and I found the Beast Path's secret realm. It's in Luya City's All Deities Palace. Come quickly, come quickly. After the Qin figurine finished repeating, the frowning Long Zhanghua's expression suddenly changed. Chapter 697. Daqianxing to Long Zhanghua, I am Gu Hai. I have found the secret realm of Beast. It is at the Divine Palace in Luya City. Come quickly, come quickly. After the Guqin figurine finished repeating, the frowning Long Zhanghua's expression suddenly changed. Yi Shenjin, who was at the side, also felt his eyelids twitching. Gu Hai said that on purpose? Your Majesty, Gu Hai only wishes to ask you to save him. He knows that you are currently preoccupied, so he can only resort to such a despicable method. Yi Shenjin's expression changed as he cried out. Bimingshou, let's go. Long Zhanghua suddenly stood up. His Holiness, Gu Hai is lying. Yi Shenjin shouted. His Holiness, maybe Luya forced Gu Hai and Tai Yi to set a trap. His Holiness, we can't ignore the lives of our Daqian soldiers just because of Gu Hai's words. At this moment we can't be careless. A group of officials called out anxiously. Long Zhanghua pulled Bimingshou. His figure flickered and rushed out in an instant. Boom! Long Zhanghua and Bimingshou disappeared from the Lingxiao Palace. In the Lingxiao Palace, the officials' faces froze. What they did not understand was that for Long Zhanghua, as long as there was a possibility of the secret realm of Beast, he had to give it his all. He already had the Human Path secret realm and the Azura Path secret realm. Now if he got the secret realm of Beast, he would have 3 reincarnations. How could he just ignore it? Phew! Long Zhanghua was extremely fast. In just a short while he arrived at the Fusang giant tree. In the western sky, the stars were shining. Sima Zongheng led the 33 troops to fight the enemy. In the northern sky, 9 suns were in the sky. Dragon God Ying and Long Shunwen led the troops to fight. In the south, the dragon race and the angel race were fighting desperately. Ao Tianhuang was fighting Tai Chu and the 12-winged angel alone. Long Zhanghua did not even look and rushed to a city on the Fusang giant tree. Before the war, Long Zhanghua had already known the Fusang giant tree like the back of his hand. He was also very clear about the cities in it. Luya City, Long Zhanghua saw it in an instant. Boom! Long Zhanghua immediately rushed to Luya City. Outside Luya City, fog filled the air. Long Zhanghua entered in an instant, bringing with him a gust of wind. He stopped at the entrance of the various divine halls in the center. In the distance, the expressions of Tai Chu Kong Xian and the Golden Crow princes changed drastically. Who? Did he just enter the Fusang tree? Absolute Beginning's expression changed as he turned to look. I am your opponent now, Ao Tianhuang said with a ferocious expression. The intense battle continued. Even though someone noticed Long Zhanghua, they were too busy to deal with him. However, Emperor Dong's palace did not move at all at the top of the Fusang giant tree. Inside the Beast Path secret realm, Luya was happy to see Gu Hai step out of the deity palace. He had 10,000 ways to kill Gu Hai. However, in the next moment Gu Hai stepped back. You are not playing by the rules. Wow! Luya flew to the sun and looked at Gu Hai coldly. Gu Hai also looked at Luya with a cold smile. Come Luya, what other tricks do you have? Use them. Luya looked at Gu Hai coldly and opened his mouth to spit. Wow! He suddenly spat out an ice ball. A three-legged jackdaw was trapped in the ice ball. Gu Hai, is this your woman? Luya sneered. Gu Hai looked at Bingheim and narrowed his eyes. Originally, I wanted to eat her. However, she has not reached the heavenly palace. It would be a waste to eat her. But now I can eat her. If I eat her, I can become stronger. Perhaps you will not be my opponent then. Luya sneered. How dare you? Gu Hai glared. Ha ha ha, let's see if I dare. Either you get out now, or I will eat Bingheim now. Luya stared at Gu Hai with red eyes. Gu Hai was strong, but he could not save Bingheim instantly. Chapter 697. Daqiansheng to Long Zhanggua, I am Gu Hai. I have found the secret realm of beast. It is at the divine palace in Luya City. Come quickly, come quickly. After the Guqin figurine finished repeating, the frowning Long Zhanggua's expression suddenly changed. Yi Shenzhen, who was at the side, also felt his eyelids twitching. Gu Hai said that on purpose? Your Majesty, Gu Hai only wishes to ask you to save him. He knows that you are currently preoccupied, so he can only resort to such a despicable method. Yi Shenzhen's expression changed as he cried out. Biming Shou, let's go. Long Zhanggua suddenly stood up. His Holiness, Gu Hai is lying. Yi Shenzhen shouted. His Holiness, maybe Luya forced Gu Hai and Tai Yi to set a trap. His Holiness, we can't ignore the lives of our Daqian soldiers just because of Gu Hai's words. At this moment we can't be careless. A group of officials called out anxiously. Long Zhanggua pulled Biming Shou. His figure flickered and rushed out in an instant. Boom! Long Zhanggua and Biming Shou disappeared from the Lingxiao Palace. In the Lingxiao Palace, the officials' faces froze. What they did not understand was that for Long Zhanggua, as long as there was a possibility of the secret realm of beast, he had to give it his all. He already had the human path secret realm, and the Azura path secret realm. Now if he got the secret realm of beast, he would have 3 reincarnations. How could he just ignore it? Phew! Long Zhanggua was extremely fast. In just a short while, he arrived at the Fusang giant tree. In the western sky the stars were shining. Sima Zongheng led the 33 troops to fight the enemy. In the northern sky, 9 suns were in the sky. Dragon God Ying and Long Shumwen led the troops to fight. In the south, the dragon race and the angel race were fighting desperately. Ao Tianhuang was fighting Tai Chu and the 12-winged angel alone. Long Zhanggua did not even look, and rushed to a city on the Fusang giant tree. Before the war, Long Zhanggua had already known the Fusang giant tree like the back of his hand. He was also very clear about the cities in it. Luya City, Long Zhanggua saw it in an instant. Boom! Long Zhanggua immediately rushed to Luya City. Outside Luya City, fog filled the air. Long Zhanggua entered in an instant, bringing with him a gust of wind. He stopped at the entrance of the various divine halls in the center. In the distance, the expressions of Tai Chu Kong Xian and the Golden Crow princes changed drastically. Who? Did he just enter the Fusang tree? Absolute Beginning's expression changed as he turned to look. I am your opponent now. Ao Tianhuang said with a ferocious expression. The intense battle continued. Even though someone noticed Long Zhanggua, they were too busy to deal with him. However, Emperor Dong's palace did not move at all at the top of the Fusang giant tree. Inside the Beast Path secret realm, Luya was happy to see Gu Hai step out of the deity palace. He had 10,000 ways to kill Gu Hai. However, in the next moment Gu Hai stepped back. You are not playing by the rules. Wow! Luya flew to the sun and looked at Gu Hai coldly. Gu Hai also looked at Luya with a cold smile. Come Luya. What other tricks do you have? Use them. Luya looked at Gu Hai coldly and opened his mouth to spit. Wow! He suddenly spat out an ice ball. A 3-legged jackdaw was trapped in the ice ball. Gu Hai, is this your woman? Luya sneered. Gu Hai looked at Bingheim and narrowed his eyes. Originally, I wanted to eat her. However, she has not reached the heavenly palace. It would be a waste to eat her. But now I can eat her. If I eat her, I can become stronger. Perhaps you will not be my opponent then. Luya sneered. How dare you? Gu Hai glared. Ha ha ha, let's see if I dare. Either you get out now, or I will eat Bingheim now. Luya stared at Gu Hai with red eyes. Gu Hai was strong, but he could not save Bingheim instantly. If he was not careful, Bingheim could be killed by Luya. Your Majesty, don't worry about me, Bingheim said anxiously. Bingheim felt that she was a burden. She was used to threaten the emperor every time. Bingheim's eyes were filled with tears of sadness. Should I eat her, or should you go out? Luya roared again. Gu Hai shook his head and smiled bitterly. It's useless for me to go out. You are dead meat. What? Luya raised his eyebrows. What do you mean it's useless for you to go out? If you go out, I can kill you. What do you mean by I am dead meat? Boom! Suddenly, a figure stepped into the entrance of the divine palace. Before Luya could see who it was, the huge figure suddenly grew. Rumble! The person who had come had released his human soul. As soon as the human soul was released, it suddenly grew to 490 feet tall, the same height as Gu Hai. However, its aura was several times stronger, or even hundreds of times stronger. Long Zhonghua, Luya suddenly exclaimed. The person who just stepped in was Long Zhonghua. Long Zhonghua's human soul condensed. Behind him, millions of rays of light suddenly appeared. The rays of light covered the sky and earth like a vast ocean. Behind Gu Hai, there were only 6 light circles. Long Zhonghua's light filled the sky. It was so bright that the sun under his feet was overshadowed. In the distance on the ground below, the old witch rubbed her eyes. Did you see wrongly? What did you see? Another human. Another powerful human. The gods of war exclaimed excitedly. That figure that had suddenly appeared seemed to be even stronger than Senior Gu. Long Zhonghua stepped in. Suddenly, a trace of shock flashed in his eyes. At the same time, he turned to look at Gu Hai. Did you really find her again? Daqianshin go. Please help me save Bingheim first. Gu Hai pointed at Bingheim, who was in the ice ball. Not good. Humph. Gu Hai, how did you do it? Luya suddenly exclaimed. Luya opened his mouth and swallowed Bingheim. Luya was very strong. However, no matter how strong he was, he couldn't be stronger than Long Zhonghua. How could Gu Hai summon Long Zhonghua when he went out? Long Zhonghua would be in trouble if he came. Luya couldn't care about anything else. He opened his mouth and swallowed Bingheim. Long Zhonghua narrowed his eyes. His figure flashed, and a ray of light suddenly enveloped Luya. Long Zhonghua instantly appeared at Luya's mouth. His right hand grabbed Luya's upper mouth, and his left hand grabbed Luya's lower mouth. The Bingheim that was about to be swallowed was stuck in his throat. Luya, so you have the entrance to the Beast Dao mystic realm. No wonder you have so many demonic arts. Humph. Long Zhonghua snorted coldly and pulled with his hand. Rip. Luya's mouth was instantly ripped open by Long Zhonghua. That enormous strength didn't just rip open the golden crow's mouth. It even tore from the mouth all the way to the abdomen. The golden crow's enormous body was almost ripped in half. However, even so, the golden crow did not die. It was just heavily injured to the point of being on the verge of death. Why is he so strong? The divinity of a human soul is so much more than Gu Hai's? Luya, who was on the verge of death, broke down. This was a world of divinity. The stronger one's divinity, the stronger they were in this world. Loch Great God used to be the strongest in this world. Not long ago, Gu Hai strangely surpassed Loch Great God and himself. Originally, he was even more invincible in this world. However, now the divinity that Long Zhonghua displayed was hundreds or thousands of times more than Gu Hai's. How could he be so insignificant in front of him? Your Majesty. Bingheim immediately flew out and flew towards Gu Hai. She turned into her human form with tears in her eyes and excitement. Gu Hai also withdrew his enormous human soul body. He hugged Bingheim and gently stroked her hair. It's all right now. It's all right. Long Zhonghua lifted the dying Luya and turned to look at Gu Hai. Do you still want this, Luya? Long Zhonghua looked at Gu Hai with a complicated gaze. Just now Long Zhonghua had almost given up on Gu Hai. After all, his own battle was more important. In fact, Long Zhonghua didn't know if he should tell Gu Hai that his son, Guqin, was already dead. If he had come to save Gu Hai earlier, perhaps Guqin wouldn't have died. He had almost given up on Gu Hai, but Gu Hai was still helping him find the secret realm of samsara. Long Zhonghua felt a sense of guilt. Gu Hai didn't know what Long Zhonghua was thinking. He looked at Bingheim. Bingheim, Liu wants to devour your 3 souls? What cultivation technique are you cultivating? The Tao of Yin-Yang? Can you cultivate it too? Gu Hai looked at Bingheim. The great yin-yang coexisting technique? These days, Liu has also passed it to me. I can cultivate it too. I can also devour him and refine him. Bingheim nodded. Daqianshin go. Leave Liu to Bingheim. Gu Hai shouted. Alright, I'll help you cripple him first. Erase his intelligence to prevent him from devouring Bingheim. Long Zhonghua nodded. No, don't. Liu screamed. However, at this moment, Long Zhonghua felt a sense of guilt towards Gu Hai. Everything was perfect for Gu Hai. Buzz! A ray of light surged towards Liu. Immediately Liu trembled. His intelligence was completely destroyed, and his eyes became hollow. Wah! Bingheim turned into a huge 3-legged jackdaw. She opened her mouth and swallowed the 3-legged golden crow. Boom! A strange blue flame appeared on the jackdaw's body. Your Majesty, I want to go out and refine it. Bingheim shouted. All the demon guards outside have been killed by me. It's safe outside. Long Zhonghua nodded. Gu Hai nodded. Gu Hai, I'm about to take this secret realm of the way of the beast. Do you have anything to say? Long Zhonghua looked at Gu Hai. Gu Hai also realized that Long Zhonghua was acting strangely today. However, there was no time to think about it. There are humans in this realm. I'll have to trouble Daqianshin to release them back to the divine continent. I can do it too, Gu Hai said. Long Zhonghua looked at the countless civilians below. Sure. Once I take this secret realm of reincarnation, I can do it immediately. Long Zhonghua nodded. Also, I want to kill all the demon immortals in this realm, Gu Hai said solemnly. Kill all. Long Zhonghua narrowed his eyes. Yes, kill all. After you take the secret realm of the way of the beast, bring all the demon immortals to me for me to kill. That will do. Gu Hai said solemnly. Long Zhonghua looked at Gu Hai doubtfully. This request was not difficult. However, Long Zhonghua did not understand. However, when he took the secret realm of the Azura path, he had promised Gu Hai that the next time he found the secret realm of reincarnation, he would not rush to take the items inside. He would inform him first in case anything happened. He promised that all the treasures inside would belong to Gu Hai. Alright, I promise you, Long Zhonghua replied. You're tuning in to the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support. And don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.